What is this foolishness?
How many dreams can you shape in a minute, an hour?
The kind of clean you like best.
Lost 3 of my teeth, too. All right, sir, you lost. Next time you win.
Steamy, hot, hearty, delicious, invigorating.
Hey, everybody. Folks at home. This is Saturday. We got a brand new Ike Live. And this is our Christmas special. Listen to me. If you're watching right now, thank you for tuning in. We got a good show for you tonight. We have an amazing show for you tonight. I want to be the first to tell you, if you didn't watch it on social media, Uncle Larry guys are in the house tonight. So excited to have these guys in studio. Yes! It's going to be a great show. All right, let me intro the room real quick. Starting to my right, the one and only Dean of Bash University, Pete Glusick. How you doing tonight, Pete?
Doing good.
Happy holidays. Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays. We had a Christmas party.
We did.
And a lot of fun last night.
Very successful.
Can't wait to talk to these. Can't wait to talk to this guy, man. We haven't seen him forever.
Yes.
He's helped us start this show.
Oh, dude. This really honestly feels like a homecoming, a reunion, especially not just to have you, but to have all three of you guys in here. So stoked, man. And I always said this, Pete. You know, having guests in studio is way better. It's way better. It's cool talking to you guys on the internet machine, but this is nice.
No, this is like a real full circle moment. The only thing that's kind of bothering me is I'm not on the IM board right now with Brian barking orders at me.
Well, there's a rumor that in the third segment we might have a special appearance by you on the IMs. Is that true?
Oh, man, it might be, but the problem with that is I really never knew what I was doing on there, so I don't know how that'll go, but I'm excited for it.
You remember the look? Like, I'll never forget the look, like when things would go south, which was every minute of the show.
Yeah.
And Brian and Eric would look at each other, like, because they could nobody knew what the frick to do.
Oh yeah.
Because something wasn't working right.
Something was not working, and we had it through glass. So in the old studio, there was a pane of glass that Pete and I would look through. Yeah. And we would look back there, and you just see looks of confusion. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like
it was like that Spider-Man meme when the two Spider-Mans are pointing at each other. No one knows what to do.
Yeah.
Dude.
Dave was protected from it because he had his back to him.
Right.
But you and I would have to carry conversation,
knowing the show was messed up.
Are we even live? are we even having a show?
We didn't know. Yeah, we never knew half the time. But it's funny. All these years later, we're still here. So I don't know how that works. Let me finish intro in the room. Johnny, so good to have you. Dude,
you too, man.
I'm so glad. So this is amazing to have you here. We were trout fishing the last time we spent any real time together. Yeah. So this is warmer in here.
In here. And last time I saw you, I was grinding from New York City. Fun fact, too, when that day we were going trout fishing, I call Eric like 7 in the morning. I'm like, dude, my car got impounded. I'm like, I'm going to miss this. And I'm running all over Brooklyn. Someone somehow like moved my car somewhere illegally. They towed it away, put it somewhere else, got the boot off. I was booking it like 1:20. I'm like, I can't miss this day out with Ike. Dude, it was cool. It was cool fishing with you, seeing you on TV, but like fishing with you in that like local environment, that trout environment.
It was epic.
It was an awesome day.
It was epic because it was Jersey trout fishing.
It really was.
It was one of the things we all grew up doing. Mm-hmm. So it was cool to be back in that environment.
And that spot where we ended up finishing the day, the craziest thing was the first day Eric and I ever went trout fishing. We were guided by one of our local friends, Kurt Hofig, who shout out Kurt. He's a guide up in the Finger Lakes now. Best guide out there for sure. Kurt showed us that spot years ago, and that was the first time we ever got into trout fishing. And then we ended the day with you there, and honestly didn't even know that that's where we were in the state. So it was just a full circle moment. It was
crazy.
Cool.
A lot of full circle stuff going on tonight. We're going to talk more about that.
This really feels like a full circle moment right here.
It does. And here's a great thing. Brian the Carpenter, we have a new seating area set up today for Kai and Power Bait Paul.
We got bleachers.
This is the bleacher section. This is a new segment on Like Live, folks.
Yes.
The bleacher segment. Guys, how you doing? Kai, so stoked to have you in studio here with us.
Yeah, I got no words, man. This is
Kai, move that
Mike.
microphone closer.
Eat that mic.
I'm trying to keep Power Bait Paul in here.
All right, try it again.
Yeah, this is amazing, man.
Dude, it's
This
so
is
great. So great to have you in the studio. It's
I
awesome.
appreciate it.
It's awesome. Paul, it's good to have you. Answering IMs tonight, we're digging deep, and we've got Dave Brodzik, a.k.a. Fathead, a.k.a. Worf, in the house answering IMs for us tonight. Dave, how you doing?
Excellent.
And now listen to me. We love Jake. Jake's great for us. We love Jake, and Jake's our IM guy. Not here tonight, but put IMs through tonight. I want you to put a lot through, because if you're watching right now, this gives you motivation. We want to hear from you.
That's right.
Please send your comments, your questions, anything. If it's stupid, send it through.
Yes.
If Dave puts it through, we're going to send you a MTB Mystery Tackle Box.
Wait.
Well, hold on now.
Well, hold on a
We
second.
put them all
That's
through.
ridiculous.
Look at that cabinet over there. They all got to go. This is the Christmas special.
Yeah, I heard different orders. What we're going to do – hold on, let me mute your microphone. What we're actually going to do is we're going to send one person like 12 months worth of mystery tackle boxes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
But comment anyway.
And, Peter, do you have the bag?
No. Power Bait Paul, hook me up over there.
All right. And we have some
great.
other gifts. What are we
So
doing?
in addition to the 12 months of mystery tackle box content that, we may have
Thanks, buddy.
ran through a little bit, but
That's all right.
we also have this new – Peter?
Custom
new
custom
colors.
missile bait D-bomb colors, crafted by our own BTC.
Oh, Brian Carver.
Yes.
He's got a bait.
Looks like you made it.
This is color only available at Tackle Direct
Wow.
right now.
Exclusive.
What's it called, Pete? Give me a color name.
It's
on it.
Rusty Craw.
Rusty Crawl. Okay.
Now, Brian, you put it. Describe this bait because it's really cool. It's a green pumpkin, brown tomato. Describe it. How you put it together.
Tomato.
Did you just say tomato?
I did.
See, I would have just
The
like
hell's
said
a
red. That's why, Pete, that's why you do what you do. And
Dude, it's tomato.
It
Look
is
at that.
tomato. It
Look
is
at that.
Tomato in there.
It's
Yeah.
a rotten tomato.
I don't know. Google a rusty crawl, which is an invasive crawfish species that's taken over the universe.
You think that's tomato?
I don't know. It doesn't look tomato to me.
And
It's kind of earned.
That's tomato.
That look like barbecue sauce.
It does. Looks like Sweet Baby Ray's.
Come on, man.
I'm going to call it an exact sauce.
What's barbecue without a little
I
tomato?
might have just called it skid. I don't know if I would have called it tomato, dude.
Skid.
It's a dope color.
It is
Green
dope
pumpkin
color.
on one
Really-
side,
really
like
sweet.
a more like brown pumpkin on the other,
Yeah.
and then it's got a red like bloodline through it.
Okay. It's pretty sick color. And we're giving those away tonight as well.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
One bait every hour.
Sounds good. And last but not least, producing the show, Brian Carpenter. It's great to have you.
Thank you.
you for coming in tonight and
Doing stuff.
making all this stuff work. We want to thank our sponsors real quick, E.
Yes,
these
of
guys
course.
make it happen. So shout out to Ike Foundation, Tackle Warehouse. The 12 days of savings still going on. Head over to Tackle Warehouse and 10% off everything.
Ike Foundation sponsors us now,
Yeah, they do.
so they go send some trout.
They're going to say,
Send us some trout.
we need fish in South Jersey. Man,
I know.
Paul, it's brutal here.
You imagine if they became trout eaters out there, bro?
Dude, maybe we'll have to do a little stocking
Brent
program.
Ayler had some enlightened me a little bit about the trout stocking and the giant swim bait craze in California,
Yeah.
which has tailed off
It has.
because they've eliminated trout stocking.
What?
They've
Why did they do
Sounds
that?
like a very California thing.
trout are an invasive species. And
Well, so
and-
are we.
Well, the
So are we.
I mean,
the governmental
we are. agencies
agencies in California have opted out of continuing
under
any trout
Satan's
stocking.
direction, yes.
So all those glory days
That's
of the
ridiculous.
giant trout, geared
Yeah.
swim baits, it's a thing of the past.
I
In
heard
California.
weighted trebles though are a good replacement.
They are. Yeah, especially if we're bedding fish.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
they get them good. They get them good. Also brought to you by Founders Beer, and tonight you're going to see a hodgepodge of different Founders going around the room. I'm in love with this one, Pete. You saw me drinking it last night at the party. The all-day haze. I like this one. It's like an all-day IPA, but a little bit hazier. A little bit lighter.
Do we
I
still
like
have
lighter.
them? We have them in the fridge?
We do. We have about a half dozen in there. Or no, about a dozen in there. So
Really?
we're going to be drinking Founders all night. If you're interested in finding Founders beer near you, go to founders.com or download the Founders app. put in your zip code, and you can find out where it's at, right near where you live. That's kind of a cool feature. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just type it in.
Oh, yeah.
Find out where the founder's at.
The future.
Go get it.
Yeah, it is. And last but not least, Pete, talk to me about this one. Mr. Tackle Box, it's the holidays. A lot of people watching and listening right now are still saying, oh, shit, I'm panicking. I only got a few days left to get something.
What a gift.
Dude, this is a great gift because
Yeah.
you can just give the subscription card. You can print it out and say, here's your gift. It's a subscription.
Yep.
Dude, this is a great Christmas gift.
And it comes every month, right? So
does.
you're giving this gift to somebody every single month. They get this cool surprise. If you're a fish head like us, it's awesome. You just get out to that mailbox. I have to wrestle Jake for mine, but we always wrestle over it. But it's so cool. You open it up, all these baits that you haven't seen before, colors you haven't seen before.
Super cool,
It's a really, really cool gift, and it's a gift that you can give last minute right now. If you got to fish
Right
them,
now.
you got to fish, and we talk about this. You always get us the wrong stuff. We don't want the Billy Bass.
We don't want the socks
on the wall. We
got
don't.
enough socks.
We got enough socks. We
Yeah.
got everything that has a fish
Yeah.
on it.
Yeah.
This is something that every single fisherman will want.
Give us some baits.
Baits.
Come on.
Cool baits.
What lures? And here's the
Yep.
good news, Pete. If you go on there right now and use the promo code IkeLive, 30% off
Oh, 30?
their first Elite box.
Nice.
Or 50% off the first Pro box. That's half
That's
off.
half.
That's
50's
half
half.
off, E. All right, so if you're watching, go do that. By the way, we're going to open up a box in the third segment. We are the only live fishing podcast that opens a box live, so we're going to be doing that later. Real quick, before we get the show started, I want to give a thank you to our military, men and women, active veterans. Thank you guys for what you do. It's a freaking crazy world. This world's insane right now. It's
Mike,
nuts, so thank you.
I got to tell you something. I want to because we always thank the emergency responders.
Yes.
And we had an incident at the Glusack house. Mom and Dad. Mom had to get rushed to the hospital. Her heart rate went down.
Yep.
Into the 30s, 30 beats per minute, 40. 60 is on the low side. So we had a little. It turned out to be a medication thing, which we got worked out. Here's the amazing thing. I want to give a big shout out to the Franklin Township Police Department because one of the police officers, my dad is elderly.
Yeah.
And he was very upset, somewhat confused about what was taking place.
Yeah.
Now I got woke up. It takes me an hour to get to my mom's house. And that police officer sat with my father for an hour.
Oh, that's awesome.
Until I got there.
That's awesome.
And that's
Yeah, love
amazing
that.
work. Thank you,
Yes,
guys.
thank
Thanks
you
for
guys.
everything you do.
Yeah. Dude, it's amazing. It's I could never do any of that stuff. EMT, police, military, I couldn't do it. I don't have the stamina to do that stuff. So those guys are great. Dude, this is a great show. We are going to have Byron Carpenter. Becky will stop in a little later. We're going to talk about some of the cool stuff the Ike Foundation's doing. But I want to get the show started. I don't even want
Get
to
in
wait.
there.
Let's get into the meat.
I want to get
Come on.
right into it. I want to get right into
Right
it.
into it. What you
And
got for me?
I want to start. I want to go right for the heart.
Yeah.
This has come full circle. So this has come full circle. This is interesting, and I want to reiterate this. If you're a true hardcore Ike Live fan, you know the story. But how the hell did we meet? Tell the story how we met. Because this is kind of cool. You were going to JMU, which is a school that Becky went to, graduated from. Then you ended up back here, and then somehow we hooked up. Before I even really knew you, we ended up in a boat together fishing a tournament.
Dude, it's funny because, there's certain events in your life that really, if they happen to you, you're never the same since.
Yeah.
Right? And how all of this happened, I would really put in that category. I don't think people fully understand. Like, I was going to JMU for film. I had no inclination or real desire to get back into the fishing stuff, which I'd kind of put down because I'm like, okay, I got to get a normal job. I got to do this. I got to do that because that's what everyone in my high school did. You know, it was like just the norm.
Fall in the line.
And
do
then
the norm.
there was this one specific moment that I just had an epiphany in my dorm room, and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
I got a tracker back home. I got connections in the fishing world back home. This is what I love to do. This is what I'm about. So that was when I made the decision to send a random email out to a random fishing YouTuber by the name of One Rod, One Reel Fishing, Mike Sal.
Mike.
I got to give a shout out to him because
shout out to Mike.
if it wasn't for Mike, none of this would have happened because we ended up fishing together. I ended up getting contacted through that video by someone that went to Rowan University, the school that you graduated from.
Yep.
And that person, John Horvat, told me that you had just went to the school. You were talking about, wanting to get a bass team at Rowan. So here I am thinking, man, I don't really want to go through the whole process of transferring, but this really might be a special opportunity to actually get involved in the college fishing scene and do it back in a place that I'm familiar with. So this was the moment where it really hit me that this shit isn't normal because it's now August, I'm a king procrastinator.
Yeah.
That's just part of my nature sometimes. And we hadn't picked a place to live yet. And John's like, yo, dude, we start school in like 2 weeks. We kind of got to find somewhere to live.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, just, first place you find, I'm in. I don't care. I literally didn't care. And he pulls up this random little blue house in Glassboro. And I'm like, done deal, man. We move
blue
in.
house.
We move in there. Yeah, it's a off shade of blue, too. Not like a nice blue, like an uninviting blue, And
hospital blue.
We move into this inhospitable blue.
Hospital blue.
Then, lo and behold, 2 months later, our other roommate, Dan, comes home one day. And keep in mind, Dan didn't fish at all.
Yeah.
And he comes home. He's like, so our neighbor just, stopped me when I was walking home. He's like, yo, who's this motherfucker with the tracker? Because I started bringing my tracker down.
Yeah.
So, lo and behold, I moved next door to Mr. Brian.
Wow.
My first name for him on my phone was Brian, the neighbor carpenter Stockel.
Is that right?
It still is to this day. It still is to this day.
The neighbor.
Moved next door to him.
Crazy.
Completely by chance. So then, I'm getting to know Brian
Where
a little
was
bit.
it?
We're starting the rowing fishing team together, John and I. He was the president. I was the vice president.
Yeah.
And then the unthinkable happens. I get a direct message from this guy right here.
What? Just out of the blue like that?
Out of the blue. He responded to, I think he commented on one of my 2-pounders, I'm like, I'm a stud, like, oh, yeah, look at this one. And
Jersey Giant.
Comments on it, I'm like, oh, my God, my heart stopped. Because, listen, Mike, you got to understand something. And this is, so I run into a lot of people that aren't really involved in this fishing stuff.
Yeah.
And I try to explain to them, who you are to us. And the best way I could describe it is you're growing up in the New England area and you want to be a quarterback.
Yeah.
And it's 2005.
Yeah.
Tom Brady.
Wow.
Like, that's really who you were to us and
Wow,
are.
that's crazy.
So
Yeah.
for you to message me like that, man, it was
if
like,
I was Tom Brady, I wouldn't have fucked up the Giselle thing, though. I'm just
you keep that on the wraps. Yeah.
that was a mistake.
Lose
I
all,
wouldn't have fucked that up.
or lose all your money in crypto.
Right. Or lose all my money
You
in
got-
crypto.
So,
05 was Brady?
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Isn't that crazy? But anyway.
But it was Bledsoe before him, right?
Yeah, it was in like 01, though. This is-
01.
oh, yeah. He's been going for 20 years. But anyway.
That's who Brady replaced was Bledsoe.
So Brady hits me up, right? Brady hits me up. I'm like, I'm having a heart attack. And then Brady tells me, yo, you trying to go throw a football on the field? AKA, do you want to go fish a winter league out the tracker?
That was the great thing. That's the thing I remember because I wanted to fish with you, and I'm like, I want to fish with this kid Eric, and I jumped in your boat. We didn't take. We didn't take my boat.
Oh, man.
I grabbed some rods in the backpack and I jumped in with Eric, and I kind of let Eric do his thing, and it was interesting because you were doing a lot of things I wouldn't have done, but I appreciated
What's
it.
that?
I'm
Talk
like,
to people during the tournament?
Talk people during the tournament, throwing an inline spinner, which Paul,
Did he?
we know that's a secret deal.
Oh, that's
so,
dope.
but at the time, it was different stuff. But I thought it was really cool, and it was really it felt right for me to get in your boat at that point. It
Yeah.
felt really right.
I
wanted
crazy?
to do it that
You know
way.
what really was crazy though? Like, of course, before meeting you, it was like, holy shit, like what's happening? But the second you stepped on my boat,
Oh yeah.
it was just like I was fishing with Johnny.
Oh yeah.
It was no different.
Yeah.
It really was just like an
cool.
instant kind of
That is a
mesh
cool
of
thing.
vibes.
That's a cool thing about fishing.
Did
Pete.
you
We've-
just compare Ike to Johnny?
no, but
I did.
yeah, but we but would you agree with that, Pete? We've talked about that before. Fish heads, the fishing community, there is a very natural connection. Like we're putting the
Absolutely.
boat with co-anglers all the time and
Yeah.
delivering seminars but fish heads gel. Like, even the first time we fished together, we did that little trout trip.
Yeah.
It was like instant, like you just felt the bond of fish heads getting together. I love
Yeah.
that about
No,
the sport.
I
man.
haven't felt anything in life as strong as the connection when you meet another fisherman.
Oh, yeah.
It's really that moment where you're like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
you get it.
Yeah.
You get that
Yep.
thing that
That's-
I get.
It's
But
special 'cause you don't
I-
have that in other sports. I don't think.
But I get that, and you felt comfortable. But come on, Ike's in the back of the boat. Is my motor gonna work? My back.
time.
I got college kid
50-50.
batteries
Yeah,
back there
50-50.
that are
Oh,
5
no.
years old.
12 volts. 12 volts.
12 volts.
Oh, yeah, 112 volt.
Oh God, I hope my floorboards hold up. It's got to be going through your head.
There's no way Eric was thinking about any of that.
He's just rolling with it.
No, man. We used to charge his batteries with Christmas lights in my front yard. My mom refused to let him park the boat in the driveway. We're going to leave early, so we parked it on the streets. We'd string Christmas lights all the way down.
Oh, my God.
Nothing false about that.
That's so good. That's
So,
good.
Mike, what struck you? Like, why did you DM Eric? Like, you're like, hey, man, I want to fish a tournament with you.
I mean, I think, it's like
Brian the
thing with-
Carpenter.
maybe Brian the Carpenter, but it's the thing like with Paul. I think when you meet somebody or you see somebody from afar, you can tell pretty, like I can see through, I know pretty quick, and you can draw those instant connections. And I think it was like that with Eric and I,
Cool.
with Eric and everybody in our group, It was pretty
well,
instant connection.
Yeah, Eric connects with a lot of people. I don't want to credit you for that. I mean, you're an easy guy to know. You're
Easy
big, easy E, big smile, easy get. But what's funny is because we're talking about this tracker and all these memories come back with you fishing with Brian, all these disastrous stories and
Sounds about right. Yeah. Motors catching on fire.
Oh, it all came back. I forgot about all that stuff.
yeah.
It's all come back to me.
Me too. Trust me. I tried to. Yeah.
Yeah, but
block that
what
out.
you said is I honestly do believe, we've mentioned it probably no less than 1,000 times on the show, that meant to be, like, that thing where you say something's like destined to happen. However you want to look at it, you can look at it religiously or philosophically or however you want to look at it. But I believe in that shit.
How can you explain it otherwise?
I believe in that
I have
shit.
no other way of explaining it to people. Like, there is quite literally a 0% chance that I move next door to Brian in that specific circumstance. Completely, it's a coincidence.
Yeah.
All right.
Coincidence don't exist.
Yeah.
Synchronicities.
Synchronicities.
A cosmic coincidence.
Yeah. And it is nice. You did adopt Brian as your second father.
He's my second legitimate father.
your second
Yes,
legitimate
not even
father.
illegitimate. Legitimate.
Right, legitimate
Yes,
father.
Correct.
Which
right.
is nice.
Yep.
Brian, did you anticipate having another child, a third child?
I you know what? I probably, yeah.
You know what? You know what was the line too? It was like, "I'm the child that you deserve."
Yes. Yo, this is a dude that said that. because
That one right
because
there.
I got two really, really outstanding kids, and it makes no sense. You know what I mean?
I specifically said Eric is the son you've always earned.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, now I'm glad.
Hold on, we got a good one. We got.
Oh yeah, what do you got, Dave?
Let me get it because I can't. My glasses don't. I
Getting
thought
old as hell,
Hold
guys.
on. Anthony, guys, I thought there were 2 chicks in for tonight's show. Very disappointed to listen to hyped millennials.
Geis is a savage, dude.
Oh my God, that is so good.
Guys, get me your address. You're getting some
Wait, that's
D-bombs.
what I mean. Let's just give shit away. We can give
Yeah.
anything. Give Becky's plates away. Give it all away. Just find stuff and send it to people.
Yeah. How about these ruffled grouse?
That's Uncle Don's stuff. Give
Oh.
Uncle Don's stuff away. All right. So I'm glad you went back over that because I know, like I said, our hardcore fans know the story, but there's people watching tonight that didn't know that story. But there's a lot of people tonight that don't know the story
Correct.
of how you three guys met.
Yes.
And I want to hear that. Johnny, give it to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny you talk about things going full circle.
Yeah.
Like you said, because I believe in what you believe in with that.
Big time.
And not to fanboy here on the show, but it is still got to shout out how crazy this is for me because before I even had caught a 1-pounder, I was in Eric's basement at 8, 9, 10 years old watching your show. Is it City Limits? Is that the name?
Yeah.
Dude. And my whole thing with fishing is I was never a bass tournament guy. My whole thing is I like fishing because it's a medium for me to go out and explore the world.
Yeah.
And I thought the concept of that show was so cool growing up in New Jersey in an urban community, in a more urban environment. And seeing what you were able to see and explore in a place where it's almost hidden gems and just going around the country, that was so inspiring
It was
to
an
us.
awesome show. I loved it.
And so that's how, Eric and I, we went from kindergarten on together. And I was a baseball guy. I'd never even really fished, and we would just get out when we can. Started with that, and I kind of played out my baseball career, and I was in New York City working, and we had always gone fishing on the tracker, had a good time. And eventually it just turned into something where we wanted to kind of take it a step further. I had looked into what Eric was doing with the filming stuff. I'm like, dude, let's try and just, let's see if we can meet people, make connections, use the social media stuff to our advantage. So we started this Uncle Larry Outdoors page and just kind of worked through it with that. And next thing you knew, like something about what we were doing was just resonating with people.
Yeah.
It might not have been like the biggest reach, but it's something about the message where people were really connecting with us and inviting us to do cooler and cooler things and just opening up doors for us.
Yeah.
So next thing you know, like we're learning about brown trout fishing an hour away, steelhead and up in Niagara, and all of these just things that are within reach that we had never tried before. But I was living in Manhattan trying to start this, working for Ernst & Young and all these like big corporate companies and like big hours and stuff. So I really only had like, Friday night through Sunday afternoon to get this stuff done, running Uncle Larry Outdoors. So, I mean, we were doing stuff early on, like I would have a holiday Christmas party, big like suit and tie event, and I'm walking in with a duffel bag and 3 rods and all my gear, getting smacked at the holiday party at some like 5-star Hilton thing. And then next thing you know, I'm like, I got to bounce 11:30, take the train to Summit. Eric's meeting me there. We drive to Niagara.
Straight through, 6 hours.
Fishing, -6 degrees,
cool.
2 days, skunked. Drive back.
Definitely skunked.
Wow.
Every time. And then I just drive, like, get back Monday morning straight to work. And that's how Uncle Larry Outdoors was really starting for a long time.
You think the early days of Uncle Larry's, you got to think of an image of Johnny walking through the streets of Manhattan, disheveled, skunked, wet, cold, with a fishing rod.
Oh, yeah.
Sticking out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
Like
I was on the subway with wet waiters more times than you can imagine.
Oh, it's so great.
That's the one beautiful thing about New York, though, is like I was like easily the 100th craziest person. Didn't even stand out. But then Kai met Eric. I mean, I think Eric's probably the better one to introduce how like Kai started out. But long story short, you should probably tell this story.
I think we got to chime in with Kai here.
I think it was the pandemic. And where was I fishing? Speedwell Lake?
Yeah, a lake that I grew up fishing. This is like Alway or, Alcyon. How do you pronounce that one? Alcyon.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. Pandemic and, like, everything's getting crazy. And, like, I was working for this solar company doing inspections. So I had to, like, get in people's attic and on their roof and stuff. And people were getting real weird about, letting people in their house during this time. So all my jobs had canceled for this day. And I used to keep rods in my work van, and I just Googled like the nearest body of water to wherever I was, like in my jobs, and pulled up the Speedwell Lake. And I'm out there throwing like a crankbait or something, like because the place looked kind of good.
Yeah,
a lot of wood,
Yeah,
I'm trying to get dialed, and this guy comes up to me with like his girl, and he's like, "Yo, man, what's up? You know what you're doing out here?" I'm like, yeah, I guess we get to talking and whatnot. And he's like, yo, you should follow my son's fishing page on Instagram. And at first I'm like, this old head trying to get me to follow his 7-year-old son's fishing page or something. And I go and look it up. And I'm like, oh, they're doing some cool stuff. And I follow him. And I think later that week, I had realized, I'm like, yo, this kid looks familiar. I was watching Eric's pickerel video on YouTube the week before.
Whoa.
And then I run into his dad, and his dad's like, yo.
Dude.
And mind you, listen.
You should link up with my son and fish.
No, the craziest part to me about that, too, is, and I'm sure my dad would admit this, my dad's not the type of dude to just walk up to random people like that and be like, hey, you know what you're doing.
There was
Johnny
something
can testify
there
that.
going on.
Man, it was just, listen. You could believe in coincidences if you want, or you could believe in divine intervention. And there was definitely a little bit of that going on when you talk about the origins of Uncle Larry Outdoors.
Yeah. Well, that's cool, because here's the thing I want to say. So I didn't know this story. This is the first time I'm hearing it, Kai. But when I watched the videos of you guys, it feels like you guys have known each other and fished together since you were like 5 years old. That's how it feels when you watch it. So hearing this is crazy.
That's what they say all the time.
Because I just assumed you guys knew each other since you were like that big.
Oh yeah, people can't even believe that we haven't
That's how
known
it
each
felt,
other
man.
for-
Like
Yeah.
I think you guys hit me up randomly. They were going. Johnny was up in Long Island. They were doing the Long Island stuff, and they hit me up randomly after conversing on IG. And we're like, "Yo, come send it with us up in Long Island."
Was Orient the first time?
It was Orient.
Yeah.
Yes, it
And
was.
we went out there, and like you said, it was just like we all just
Very
like,
natural.
Very natural. It's like we knew each other already.
Yeah.
We just happened to get out there and get
And what's different than that? And then what we're talking about when me and you fished that tournament together, it's just this common bond of fishing.
common
Like I said,
bond.
I've never found anything else in life that connects people in that way.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Here's the cool thing, and Brian and Dave, I want to call you out on this. This connection we had at a very early age, and it's funny. Like when I look back, I look at pictures of us when we're young fishing. we have this energy and glow these guys still have right now. You can see it. But now looking at you guys, man, we all look washed up now. We're like tired,
like
dirty,
melted candle wax. You know what I mean? Just like slumped.
Yeah, but
all over the
inside
table.
we still feel like this. We just don't exude it.
It's like when you were in high school and you walked by like a principal's meeting. You know what I mean? You looked in there, they just were like looked dead all over. You know what I mean? Like the ties were half undone. Like that's us now, dude.
I definitely saw Johnny in a principal meeting or two. Walking by. Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
I feel like it's one of those things, though. That you talk about. You kind of do know each other almost on a deeper level. Is if somebody, especially the way we're fishing, like I feel like when you're doing trips like this, that really take a lot of years of experience and a lot of like. Honestly, like balls and effort to go, whether early
a lot of
on,
trespassing.
Theoretically, you might be trespassing.
Yeah.
I do. That's how we grew up fishing. Let's be
Big
real.
time.
When you're doing stuff like that, it's like someone on a soul deep level when you meet them. Like, yo, you do that too? It's like, okay, all right, we've both been in the trenches, so it's almost like you're like, you're both doing that same thing. And I feel like I know people when I fish with them the first time who are able to do that stuff with us, and they're able to keep their cool. And they're able to find some success on the water. I know them better than people that I've spent time with from the time I was 4 years old, but we're just bullshitting and then conversing about nothing. Like when we're out there grinding like that and going through it together, that's like you said, like you really do know someone on that level.
Yeah, it's funny. I saw an Instagram post recently. Someone was doing like the 12 days of what makes someone a successful fisherman. Yeah. And the one that I saw
not going to work and going to fishing.
Put in the hours.
That was me from 22 to 25. Anyway, it was keeping a small circle.
Right.
It's picking your squad closely.
Yeah.
Because when you're on the level that we're on, trying to do the things that we're trying to do,
the burn is real.
You can't take anyone out.
Yeah.
Believe me. It's the list becomes smaller and smaller the deeper you get into this sport. Right. And then like Johnny said, when you meet those people that you can, it's like a lifelong bond. You're not breaking that.
I want Pete's input on that particular topic, the circle and the information sharing, because me and Dave still haven't gotten any juice on the Delaware River. We asked him like 8 years ago, 8 years ago. But no, I get it. But no, I get it, Pete. Like at the time, it's like that dick. But no,
Juice on the Delaware.
But I absolutely get it, and
he's
it's
like,
real.
go try the Schuylkill.
Because it's really the reason for that, and the reason I'm protective is that Brian tries to infiltrate everybody's circle, and nothing never comes back.
No, that's not true.
It's like you got to get your red flag up.
Well,
Pete, when you're being punked.
You're right.
You're like, wait
know
a
what?
minute.
Are you kidding me?
Pete's right. Look at your hat. BTC. Brian's the circle.
Biden should have traded Stockwell for Pete. Biden should have gave Brian for Brittany Griner.
We gotta send Dave a prize.
Dave, you're going home with a mystery tackle box today.
And you have to use it.
Dude,
that's not true.
That's not true. I talked to you at length. I took you out. We fished a tournament on the river.
And you gave me your B spots, and I had to put us on the fish.
Well, you.
Pete would rather lose than give up his juice, man.
But there's something to that, Pete. Don't be defensive. It's real. It's real.
Dude,
it's okay.
Fishing is real. Not every. I took you to my grade A spots. They just weren't happening.
I understand.
And you had the juice that day.
Well,
and you tried to kill us both getting there.
Well,
but
we had a good day.
We had a great day.
Nobody died.
And nobody died. And we did well in the tournament. But I'm I've been open with you about that stuff.
But
but
on the real, Mike blows some shit up. But you, Bob Soley, like you guys get it, And when Eric first came up here, like everything was out there, and I think that's just a learning curve as a fisherman. You learn. The burn is real, man.
You know what my nickname was? Thanos.
Thanos, yeah.
Thanos.
Yeah.
Thanos. Why was that your nickname?
Oh, because I burn everything to the ground.
Apparently.
And now Garbarini's got your back.
It's my fault that dudes look at one rock in my video, and then the next day I go to a spot that I ain't seen a soul at. I ain't seen a soul there for a month and a half. And then I go there the next day after posting the video. Oh, there he is. That's my fault.
You see Milliken dealing with it right now.
Hey, listen, I got. Listen, fiends are always going to fiend.
Yeah.
That's just at the end. You got to just stay 2 steps
You got to
ahead.
bait your own hook, man. That isn't really any.
You could also just fish without a camera pointing at you the whole time.
That's true. Listen, that's true. Dave, if you were in my position, you'd be trying to make it too. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, we got to. There's no like.
Yeah, but you know what? Let me say this though. We always had cameras. Like if we would have had that technology when we were young, we would have utilized it. Yeah. We always had cameras, dude. This is how old we are.
The wind up ones.
We had the wind up, the disposable ones.
Wow.
We had Polaroid cameras.
Yeah.
We always had cameras because I don't think that ever gets old. The need, part of the sport is the want to say. The documentation.
Listen,
right?
Look back on it.
I'm gonna put the fiends to rest right here. Okay, this is the end all be all to this.
Oh.
If you're a fiend, if that's your mentality, try going out, looking on Google Maps, finding a spot that you don't know if there's fish in there or not. You haven't seen a YouTube video of me catching 6-pounders out of there, and you go by yourself, not knowing. And you actually catch a 6-pounder, you will not be able to replace that feeling.
It's so much more rewarding.
Believe me.
It's like
go
figuring
try
something out on the Delaware
Go
River.
try it one time, and then get back to me and tell me if you still want to fiend. Okay, that's it. I'm done with that. That's my whole piece.
That's good.
I want to make an interesting comment about the tournament guys. And Swindle made this comment, and it's a pretty bold comment. He goes, "You want to fear or watch out for the guy that's going fishing without the GoPros running, right? That guy that's just fishing to develop his skill set. That's the tournament guy to be watchful for.
Yeah,
you know."
Hey, Eric Anthony Geis said, sounds like he burns shit to the ground because he smashes a blunt and forgets he's reheating McDonald's.
Who said that?
Wait a minute. We got to dissect that a little bit, though. We got to dissect that.
To dissect. That was spot on.
What's that? Secret intel? What's going on here?
We need interpretation.
It's not McDonald's. It's a Taylor ham, egg and cheese from Hot Bagels. All right. That's
all right.
Shout them out. Clinton, Hot Bagels.
Apparently,
that was so good.
John. Apparently, someone you played baseball with in Sweden, seven with a C, like Cevin.
Sven?
Keeps. I don't know.
Sven?
Is that how? Oh, don't look at me like I'm supposed to know how to say Sven.
Someone from Sweden's watching this right now.
From the
I don't know.
movie.
He said he played ball with you for years. I don't
Ryan,
know.
Ryan
the
Arena?
cartoon movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, what'd he say? What'd he say?
I don't know the name. I know
Hold
what
on.
you're talking about, though.
The Ice
Elsa
Princess.
and Anna.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sven.
All right.
Yeah.
Back to the message board.
I don't think that's how you pronounce. I don't think it's pronounced that way. Cevin.
One more time.
Cevin. That's not Sven.
Kevin?
No.
Let it go.
Dude, what did
and he's spelling his name with a fucking C and not a K.
It's Kevin. It's Kevin. What did Kevin say? I need to know.
He just keeps saying hi. I wish I didn't even mention his name. He keeps saying hi. I'm already bored with this.
Dude, Kevin is
Don't say nothing no more, Kevin. Go
No,
watch
come
something
on. I
else.
want to send more
This
shit.
is hilarious.
Kevin had the best splitter in Sweden.
Really?
Kevin, no offense, you couldn't throw a strike to save your life, but you had the best splitter I'd ever seen.
Hey, shout out to the mosquitoes.
What are you
Shout
doing?
out
What
to
are you
the
doing?
Swedish Ball mosquitoes.
What are you doing in Sweden with Sven?
With
Kevin
Sven? Well,
Sveven.
pretty much what happened was I had those New York jobs, right? And then like mid 2021 or something, I lost track of time because I was living with Eric. So like your mind gets hazy. Sometime in that period of time, I stopped working remote because they wanted me to come back to New York, and I was like, I'm not leaving Florida, so I'm staying down there. But I'm like, oh wait, I don't have any
I'm not
money.
washing my hair.
So, yeah, fair enough.
Soap.
Right
It's all
around
good, Dave.
our lease ends, I was like, I either got to get a job or like figure something out. And my buddy Ryan, who we played college ball together, he's been playing international ball for years, and we played 1 year pro together in Santa Fe, New Mexico. He calls me up and he's like, listen, man, I had like the time of my life playing in Sweden. He came to visit us in Florida right when he got back. We did the Mike Iaconelli River. Kai and I did an unbelievable hiking trip with him. But I could just see it in his eyes, like he saw something different over there. And he was like, I want you to come. He's like, if you want to come play baseball again, you can come play in Sweden. So the timing for me was like really good. Needed kind of like that reset. So I went out to Sweden just on a whim, came out of retirement, tore my rotator cuff. First start out. First start. I was supposed to be there for 4 months. So I just managed the team. They were super cool about having me. If anyone wants to go play Sunsvall Mosquitoes, like help save the club. They deserve it. But they showed me the best time. And when I wasn't playing baseball, we had a little car, so we got out there. We did some salmon fishing. We did pike fishing. We did some brown trout fishing, and just got to like explore the whole country. Just it was an unbelievable experience.
Cool. Are you a pitcher?
I was a pitcher. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was a pitcher in college, and then like I said, we played in New Mexico, and then I was a pitcher internationally for a day.
That's
you get to say that.
Yeah, you could say that.
It's resume stuff.
But it was like one of those things, though. Like I felt like that experience just made me like see the world. Like there are so many fish to catch. There's so many cool places to see, and like there's 300 countries in the world, and I've seen 2 of them. Right. And I was like, it got me back here wanting to like really work hard. And like I feel like the last few months try and make this something a little bit more professional, a little bit more mature from what we were doing, and also just work harder on the side beyond Uncle Larry's, because like the dreams got bigger, like not smaller from doing that. And like that was the biggest takeaway for me. And what I want to do from a fishing perspective, and what I think we all want to do collectively, is like bring this out into something where we can really like see the world, meet all new people, and just like this bond you're talking about. How many people can we make this with, and how many countries? It transcends language, transcends everything.
It does. It really does.
Hey, Pete, someone says you look very uncomfortable. Seems like you need to crack a dad joke to break the ice.
Do you have one?
I don't have one handy.
Okay. It's my replacement, Anthony Geis. Does he live close by?
I don't think so. But, yeah.
All right, I've got a good one. I'm checking our Instagram here, and this one's from Hayden. And this is a great question. Hayden, thank you for this message. Basically, his question is, what is the meaning of Uncle Larry's Outdoors? What does it mean? It's a great question. And by the way, we had Bud Cipoletti in here, and we asked him the meaning of featherwick, and he never gave us a straight answer. So we'd like a straight answer from you guys.
You're going to get one. No, this is cut and dry right now.
This is pretty simple.
Okay.
Like I had an Uncle Larry, and he was one of those guys who just loved fishing so much. But I actually only fished with him once in my entire life. And when I fished with him, I was right around like 13, 14, and he's my great uncle, and he had like boxing gloves for hands because he had like really bad arthritis at that point.
Yeah.
But he used to be a fly fishing guy. And the one time I went out with him, I had just learned how to drive the boat. My grandma had this like 80s Pursuit in her backyard, and all I wanted to do was go rip this thing out, try and catch some fluke, go a few miles offshore. I was all about that. And he just couldn't do it. Like, he couldn't get on the boat. So we go out on the dock, and we're just throwing little live shiners for snapper. And at the time, I was, like, pissed. You know, I was like, I want to be out in the water. Like, we got to go. But I was seeing just, like, how much fun he was having bringing in these little snappers, reeling in like this, like could barely move his hands. And he's just having the time of his life. And that kind of that hit me because it brought me back to earth a little bit.
Yeah.
And then years later, he passed away, and his wife, Phyllis, called me up, and she was like, hey, why don't you come over and just see if there's any of the stuff he wants. So I'm going through all of his old trout stuff, and he had this journal of all of these spots in Long Island that he would trout fish at from like the 70s. He had the flies that he was catching them on. He had these hand-drawn maps, and I was like, wow, this is how I want to figure out how to fish. Like, this is like I want to get deep in where I live and just explore things that I didn't know were there.
Yeah.
Long Island's so densely populated, and here are all these little streams he's talking about that I've never heard of. So we end up fishing some of the streams that he had written about in the 70s.
Actual streams.
The actual streams. We had never heard of them before.
Absolutely.
And we get them out of his journal, and we go there. And, I mean, you can't make this up. Like, we had 200 native brookie days on Long Island. Like, in urban Long Island, just some of the best trout water I've ever fished to this day. And that was kind of the spirit behind the name, was like, I want to fish like Uncle Larry. I want to always have that enjoyment for the sport. Yeah. That no matter where I'm at physically, that mentally I'm always going to be there. Spiritually, I'm always going to want to be out there doing this and just doing it with people like this and sharing those experiences. So I feel like that name's kind of taken on a bit of a personal meaning for anyone who kind of knows the story, because we all sort of have that Uncle Larry maybe introduced us to the sport, or maybe lit that fire under us, you know?
We do.
So that's what it's about. In honor Uncle Larry, but also like whoever your Uncle Larry is, you know?
So freaking cool.
Yeah.
What if Uncle Larry's looking down at this very moment, and he just heard that, think he's proud of you for doing
I think
this?
he's proud. You know, my mom's a little bit upset with some of the trespassing and the rule breaking, and she's always told me, like, Uncle Larry wouldn't like that. But, you know, I'm like, I still think he kind of would.
He would like that.
Yeah, Uncle Larry did.
It's cool. It's cool that, you know, the spirit of the name is something that you guys are actually daily doing it every day. Yeah. So cool that it translates to what you guys do, your life,
Right.
Like every time I'm looking at this thing, and I'm like, what are these guys up to now? Oh my God, get me there.
so
That's
cool.
so cool, man. That's
Yeah.
so cool.
And it's cool too when you really think about it, because how many people do you know that found fishing completely on their own?
Oh yeah.
Like, there's always some sort of sphere of influence that leads you down that
We
path,
all have
whether
it.
it's an actual individual or in the modern day a YouTube channel,
Yeah.
whatever it may
you guys. I want to give you guys credit because I'm seeing this all the time. That guys that don't have an Uncle Larry or don't have a grandpop are seeing your channel.
Yeah.
And they're getting influenced. Then they're
Influenced
like,
to
this looks so cool.
Right.
Content,
I want to
digital
try
media.
this.
And that's
That is
another
Uncle Larry's.
that's another aspect of it, right? Because even when we grew up, and I know that you guys can relate to this because we've talked about it before,
Yeah.
but when we grew up at Summit High School, man, like I said, he was one of 2 people in a class of 1,200 that I knew that fished. We kept
That's
fishing on the
North
low.
Jersey.
It was not.
Yeah.
Believe me, we were not the cool kids in high school for fishing,
Yeah.
especially me.
Well,
And
then
it's
why
like,
does all the freaking money from fishing licenses go to North Jersey? If nobody fishes there.
I don't want to have this debate. Your lakes are 2 feet deep, ours are 200. What do you want to talk about?
No, they do have good lakes.
It's
but
like,
yeah,
what are we even talking about?
We need
here?
the
You got
resources.
a 1 to 3 foot ledge. You know what I'm saying?
I understand.
and it's money.
But anyway, that is the thing with Uncle Larry's that a lot of especially younger kids will tell us that I really do appreciate is that there's this whole other side of the youth that is getting into fishing nowadays, and they're looking at it actually as something that's quote unquote cool. They're looking at this like, oh, it doesn't have to be sitting back in a lawn chair with beer, playing some country music, and
That's
it
true.
It doesn't have to be
it's
that.
Definitely, Pete. In our lifetime, we've seen it.
Yeah.
We've seen it change
Yeah.
to something that was, especially for guys in the Northeast, that was this weird fringe, Southern redneck thing to this thing that's cool. That people are doing it.
Yeah.
A lot-
Well, think about you.
Yeah.
I'm sitting next to like one of the main catalysts of that.
It's cool.
Soul
It's cool
from
to see it.
Brooklyn, Soul, he runs Solifornia, he's friends with Bud, but he described it really well on his site. He kind of compared what's going on with fishing to like skateboarding in the 90s almost, like that kind of like underground culture of like going places you're not necessarily supposed to, finding things that you didn't know were there, and just taking figuring out what's really going on behind the scenes. And I just thought that was a really cool analogy. Now it's almost becoming mainstream again.
Yeah.
It's interesting that it's now cool.
Well, that is cool. And what is uncool is, what do you call a cat running through the desert?
A lion?
Sandy Claus. Merry Christmas.
It's the Christmas show, ladies and gentlemen. Watch like live. Never in the send.
Wow.
Exclusive.
I didn't pick
Pete
up
with
on
the
the
dad
direction.
joke. Damn it.
A little slow in the draw, but we got it done.
Where did you find that? Where did you find that? Was that in your pocket or
It just popped
a
in
little
there. It
piece
just-
in your mind?
It popped in there somewhere.
Wow.
I have a funny side story real quick about the way Uncle Larry's is perceived these days that I do appreciate. And I talk to a lot of people that are outside of the fishing world completely. So they have no idea what I'm talking about when I say I'm going on a fishing podcast with Mike Iaconelli. But I was in my Uber this morning at 4 a.m, and I opened the trunk and there's a Eagles football sitting right there. So I'm like, oh, this is my kind of guy right here. So I get into the car and we're talking, and all of a sudden, it comes up like, where are you going, and what are you doing up there? And I try to explain it to him. And I'm starting to explain the fishing thing to him, and I can tell this guy is a total vibe of, oh, yeah, it's fishing, bro. You mean like, sitting down in the lawn chair with a couple brews, a couple sunfish? And, then I'm telling him, like, no. We're actually, with the dude we're going on the podcast with, we're going up into the mountains, like the Catskill Mountains. He goes, oh, are you in a boat, bro? And I'm like, no, dude, we're hiking. And he goes, oh, that's like some real dog shit, huh? Like, you're fucking dog. And I'm like, yes, absolutely. And that's the thing that people that don't fish never even understand, that you can kind of take it to that level, and that's I'm glad that Uncle Larry's is starting to bridge that gap a little bit to show people that it's not just their preconceived notion of what fishing can be.
Yeah,
It's cool.
It's amazing. Very
fun.
cool. It's cool. It's amazing. All right, listen, we're going to take a break. Brian Carpenter, I want to take a little bit of break. Let's take like a 5-minute break. I want to take a pee break. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned, 'cause we got 2 more segments. We've got the guys from Uncle Larry's Outdoors. We've got E, Johnny, and Kai with us tonight. Powerbait Paul also in the house. Hang in there, because when we come back, we're going to talk more, and I want to know why Florida, how's Tampa? We want to know about all that stuff. Seeing some magic go on down there. Want to hear a little bit about that. So hang in there with us. When we come back, more Ike Live. I gotta piss. You know, right now where we're standing, we're in Camden, New Jersey.
Yeah.
Philadelphia is right there. This is the concrete jungle. And, you know, a lot of those kids, as they grow up, they don't fish. It's interesting because they're surrounded by water. You know, the Delaware River, the Schuylkill, ponds, city park lakes. But they don't have the influence to cast, to fish, to have a rod and reel. And that became our focus, you know, is to target kids in what we call non-traditional areas, you know, urban areas, city centers, where the population's high, and let these kids have the experience. You know, it's amazing. I mean, some of the experiences we've had, whether it's Central Park in New York City, here in Camden, other parts of the country, even just casting.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable to see it, isn't it?
Yes.
It's unbelievable.
Yes.
And you know, you see these kids have this experience they've never had, and they light up, you know? The big thing, I think, for the Ike Foundation is we're not saying we want all these kids to become professional anglers.
Yeah.
It'd be great if some of them did, but we want them to have that fishing experience because it ties them to so many other positive things. The outdoors, nature, conservation. Ecology, you know, all these amazing things in life that maybe they wouldn't have been exposed to any other way. We're trying to help with that. So it's important. It's important for us.
Yeah.
We're proud of it.
Four and a half inch drop shot worm, Bama bug. Finesse jig, PB&J, give me something hard. Hey, KVD here. Now, I didn't always know this much about fishing. 4-aught EWG worm hook. In fact, there was a time when I couldn't tell the difference between a jerkbait and a stickbait. But then I signed up for Mystery Tackle Box, the original monthly tackle subscription. And now I know more about fishing than I do about calculus.
And he knows a lot about calculus.
Plus, I get amazing extras like free fishing magazines. October 2016. Featured article, 4 places to throw a frog. Exclusive decals. Zombie bass. And how-to videos for all the great baits I receive. How to tune a crankbait. Is that underwater footage I smell?
I got goosebumps.
So if you're looking to develop enhanced fishing abilities like me, or you just like getting new tackle every month, go to mysterytacklebox.com and get your box today. Ooh, live minnows. Is it lunchtime already? Nature's candy. Oh.
At Founders Brewing, we asked ourselves, what if we brewed a beer perfect for any occasion? A beer that makes a weekday feel more like the weekend, and the weekend feel more like an adventure. What if we brewed a beer that brought us together and allowed us to be ourselves? A beer that is just as much of a companion as it is a reward at the end of the journey. What if we explored the unknown together and found a new way? What if we celebrated taste and flavor and life's simple pleasures? And what if we brewed a beer that could go where you go without slowing you down? What if? Founders All Day IPA. Low ABV and full flavor that goes where you go. Chase your what if.
All right, Brian, Torquedo today. We've got the Ike Live Tiny Boat out. I want to tell you, this is not just for electric-only reservoirs. It's for other things as well. Today is a great example. Where are we? What are we going to take this thing through today?
The Upper Susquehanna.
Upper Susquehanna River.
That's right.
Current, rock,
Lots
nasty bottom,
Yep.
and we're going to use Torquedo.
Everybody else running jet drives. We've got the rock guard on the Torquedo. We're going to some small spots. We're
Yep.
gonna get in there. We're going to make it happen.
There you go.
Let's go.
Shallow water, speed, strength, power. Come on, let's
Consistency.
go.
Lord.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Hope you're having a wonderful Saturday. You're watching a brand new Ike Live show tonight, and we've got the Uncle Larry guys on tonight. So happy to have them in studio. Real quick, I know you look to my right like, man, Eric just got hot. But
Eric's hair just got shorter.
Eric's hair
shorter.
got shorter.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
E's hair is longer than mine.
E's hair is longer than yours. Yeah, it's long and luscious.
It is thicker.
It
than
is
mine.
thicker.
I'm
Dude, it's got-
jealous.
Well, the key to Eric's hair, and I'm just, I don't even know this for a fact, but
Don't wash
the key to don't wash it. Never shower. Showering's overrated. Don't wash the hair.
You strip the nutrients.
Strip the nutrients off of it. Look at that. Look at and Johnny's hair. Beautiful. Never wash.
Johnny's hair's longer than mine too.
I know. That's what I mean. Showering's overrated.
It's the new America. Everything's backwards.
Everything's backwards. Right. The hydro
Brian
collider.
Brian
Everything's
secretly
backwards.
is like, I knew this about Becky. Her big balls. Now her hair's getting shorter.
What?
Big balls.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I never saw the foyer finished.
Oh, tonight's the first night you saw it. Yeah.
When we do that, in like July?
It looks
Yeah,
amazing.
So
Looks amazing.
everyone
Yeah.
knows we have one of these ridiculous 2-story foyers because Mike had to have a 2-story
I'm a
foyer.
Dago. If you're a Dago, you have to have a 2-story
It
foyer.
is. It is.
Come on.
Been this thorn in my side since we built this home. I hate 2-story foyers.
Why do you hate them?
Okay,
I love
so
'em.
because what do you do with it? And
Nothing.
if anyone,
I hate
It's
this
a
long
grand
driveway.
entrance.
so take a
This
look at me.
damn walk-in closet.
Damn it.
Roz, where you at with this?
So
All
like,
this square footage.
I know
Yeah.
it's
Yo,
so
what do you
much
think
wasted.
Jeeves-
You
I've
don't
got
have a
all this
bedroom.
decorating
Dave,
space.
what is Jeeves saying right now?
I-
Jeeves is at home listening to this.
So anyways, I hate wide open white spaces. I mean, think about the way I dress. Our home looks like that. There's color, there's layers, there's wallpaper, and to me
Gold
it's just
lame.
this huge, yes, everywhere. And
Leather.
it's this huge
Leather.
white space and it echoes and it's not warm, it's not whatever. So Brian and I have been talking about this for 10 years. We finally did wainscoting, or Brian
Wainscoting.
did it. I say the royal we, but I didn't do it. And so it's like all over, and there's this whole arched area. It's so cool. And so I came to Brian and his
Radiuses.
guys one day, and I said, listen, I don't think we should paint this white. I think this needs to be like dark, like almost black, like so dark, a saturated color. And his guys, of course, are like, oh, yeah. And I tell Mike and everybody else, they're like, okay, you're crazy. Why are you going to do that? Well, I did it. And it turned out amazing.
looks-
Yeah, it's a dark
Looks super
blue.
good.
Yeah,
What's
it's
the
like
color? What's it called?
There's actually some green in it. I can't remember what it is
Oh,
because
really?
it's actually called green something.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But
Well, it's a
in there.
deep dark blue.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
And
dark blue.
as soon as I mean, that popped. Wow.
It's dope.
So anyways,
So I told Becky she had big balls for going for it.
yeah,
Got big balls.
hence the reference.
Oh,
All right,
okay.
back to you, Michael.
All right, back to me. We wanted to have you. I'm glad you came up
your
because just recently, like this is cool when things happen, and then we can come on the show a day or two later talk about them. But Ike Foundation, big moment a few days ago with a new program. Talk a little bit about that because I think before you say this, I think everybody assumes the Ike Foundation is just like we're only doing stuff here,
Right,
in
right.
this little piece of New Jersey. But the Ike Foundation's a national foundation, right?
Yeah, yeah. So we're
all right.
nationwide. Clearly, we're based out of here. All of our events take place here because we can do them, host them, what have you. But we do donate product all over the country to groups that meet our mission. So we're sending rods, reels, tackle boxes all over the country to these groups. But this year we decided to take on something new, and we've stocked a handful of lakes in this area for our kids' events. But we wanted to start stocking lakes across the country. So in different waterways and lakes that, could assist kids in fishing urban areas. So our first one, we've got a bunch planned for the spring because we can't stock a lot right now. But our first one was in Tulsa, Oklahoma, that was outside of our general Northeast. And we worked with some really awesome folks between Gene over at Bass, who connected us with a lot of the Oklahoma wildlife folks, and then Alan McGuckin, who works with them as well.
Yeah.
We got so much press and news coverage. It was
Yeah.
pretty
It was a
awesome
success.
how receptive
Yeah.
they were,
Yeah.
and it was
Yeah.
it was great.
It sounds complicated, like to be able to stock, right? It's not that easy.
It's
right?
not that
A lot
easy.
of the fish and game folks don't want to stock, or that had to be a hard process.
You have to have biologists involved,
Right.
and then they have to, within the state, then say, okay, you can have the permitting, and then you have to use this stocker because that's whoever's allowed to stock within that state. So
Right.
there's a lot.
Yeah,
that
this
you have
is a
to
cool
do.
concept though, Pete, because we're not talking about these like remote trout streams or remote reservoirs that we're stocking. These are urban fisheries. Dude, these are places that are in cities, in big suburbs, in places that have water
where a lot of people can access
where a
them.
lot of people can access them, and
Yeah.
where people that don't normally fish can then go and actually catch something. That's key to
Right.
this thing, and I love it. I think it's a program that's going to keep growing. So I'm excited about it.
Yeah. So, and then before the year is out, which is only a few weeks away, we actually have a handful of high schools that we've selected to support. So they're going to be getting rods and reels, Bass University subscriptions because that's what they've asked for, which is pretty exciting.
Yeah, that is cool.
And then some money to help them with some other supplies and getting the kids the transportation they need to get to the waterways next year. So pretty excited to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So Tulsa's the first one. What's in the queue? Where else are you looking?
So Delaware is actually next. We've been in communication with them because we took one of our kids' events to Delaware last year at Lumps Pond.
Right.
So we've been talking to the folks there, and in the spring they do want us.
And
to
they've got
help with
some
stocking.
fisheries in Wilmington. They've got some city ponds, and of course the Christiana River runs right through Wilmington. So they got some great urban fisheries that could use help. So it's cool. Very cool. Good job, Beck.
Yeah.
I love that.
Congrats.
There is, real quick though, if people are watching and listening and saying, "Oh, this is cool. I want to help." There is a way to support Ike Foundation in this program, right? How do they do it?
Yep. So you can head to the IkeFoundation.org. There's places there where you can donate. You can make it specific because we have a scholarship for graduating high school students. You can make it specifically for the scholarship fund. You can make it for just our general fund, which goes towards the stocking or sending the product out to all these different organizations. But check that out. See what we're doing. The scholarship dinner is happening this year. So a month from now,
Glad
we
to have
will
that
all
back.
be
Yeah.
gathered and having fun, and we are able to have gaming tables this year.
We're gambling.
No, it's not.
You can't use that word?
No, there's gaming tables.
Oh, gaming. We're gaming. It's gambling. We're gambling. Can't say that.
Because you can't really gamble, so you get you win more tickets to be able to try to win prizes.
It's like skee ball.
Skee ball.
Yeah, you get the tickets and then you go cash them in for some.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like skee ball, except
but these are good prizes.
This is
Texas Hold'em.
Yeah, we're actually
Cool.
Oh my God, Hold'em goes on for hours.
It can.
Well, I don't think it's Texas. No, I think we just have blackjack and.
Shout out to Mark Jeffries, by the way. I don't know, it just came to mind.
Yeah, shout out to Mark Jeffries. Yeah, Mark Jeffries is.
Merry Christmas, Mark.
Yeah, Merry
He
Christmas.
brought us all together.
He did.
10
he
years
did.
ago.
He did.
Here's the thing: that to go back on it a little bit, and this makes us feel old, but it's good to remember how it all happened. It has been 10 years, man.
Yeah, this
That's
February.
a crazy amount of time. It's been 10 years, and I vividly remember before we started this, Jeffries for a year, maybe more, saying you guys have to do a podcast. I'm saying, what the hell? Why? Like, what is a? What's a? I don't even really know. Like, what is this? Like, why would you have one for fishing? Like, and he had to sell us on this concept.
And he was right.
He was right.
He was so far ahead.
He was
of
right.
everybody.
Yeah, he was right.
Do you remember some of the dumb things we did at the beginning, though?
Oh,
It was
God.
Like, we're just going to play this video and everyone's going to talk about
Pretend
it.
to watch it for the first time.
Our commentary
and we're
was
so bad.
horrible.
Like,
bad,
oh
yeah.
God,
We're
yeah.
not good at that.
Like, all right, that didn't work.
Things worked and things didn't. So. But in general, they work because we're still here.
I always had a baby monitor in my hand.
That's
so if
right.
I had to like
Infants.
run upstairs
Yeah.
to sleeping children.
We replaced Dave for one show.
No, it was like 2 shows.
Was it 2 shows?
I was out of town too, and then I'm getting calls from Anna. Anna was me. Bob was you.
Oh man! Wow, that's bad. That's bad.
There were several characters. There
Yeah.
have been many.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eric was actually the second intern.
Yeah.
What? Dave. Shout out Dave.
Oh,
Dave.
Intern.
Dave,
Yes.
but what was his AKA?
Tom.
Tom. Dave, AKA Tom.
I was doing good because they actually called me by my real name. Good about myself.
Oh, it's great. It's
You're
great.
notorious for that.
Oh yeah, I butcher people's names, but once I get to know you, I get it right. You know.
It was good. Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a long time. It's been
Yeah,
fun.
very interesting.
right.
All right. So that's the Ike Foundation update.
Okay. Thank you,
Eric
Beck.
can come back
Yeah.
now.
Well, thank you, Beck.
I'll go.
I feel uncomfortable over here. I'm not gonna lie.
Really?
I still don't know what I'm doing.
Don't
All
matter.
these years.
It don't matter.
Oh my gosh.
Hook 'em early. That's your tag phrase.
It is.
And that's key. And I love what you guys are doing with your program, because what we learned, especially this year, is when somebody gets introduced to fishing before the age of 13, they're going to be fishermen for life.
Wow.
And that's a huge deal.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
You know
Yeah.
what we're all doing through the social media and exposing kids to this awesome sport is just a great thing. It's a great thing for our sport.
Yeah.
So I love that.
And one big thing that we always try to reiterate with Uncle Larry's is it doesn't matter where you're from. I mean, I had a job 2 years ago where I was teaching kids how to fish in the middle of Manhattan.
That's
and we
dope.
were catching
that
20-pound carp.
I remember.
Oh,
Yeah, I
was
remember
doing
that
for, like,
event.
These kids are looking at me. These city kids are looking at me like I got 6 heads when I'm taking them into the middle of Central Park. And I'm like, yo, we're about to catch this here. Watch. No one's paying attention. Kids want to throw the football. They want to play Frisbee. They want to go run around. There was this one kid. His name was Isaac. I'll never forget him. And Isaac, while everyone else was just messing around, doing whatever they wanted to do, he was sitting in that corner with that rod at attention, ready.
Yeah.
And then guess what? Guess who caught the first 20-pound carp?
Yeah.
Isaac,
Cat
baby.
20-pounder.
Yeah.
Isaac did.
Isaac.
And guess what? You want to know how many kids were throwing a football after they saw Isaac catch
They
that
saw
carp?
that shit go down.
Zero.
Yeah.
Zero. They were asking me questions. They were asking Isaac questions because Isaac's the resident, local legend now.
Yeah. Isaac now.
He instantly became
Isaac,
a
give me the
legend.
juice.
Yeah. Isaac's posting on Instagram. The spot's getting burned. But it doesn't matter, man. It really, it's like you could have an adventure anywhere you're from.
Anywhere.
Anywhere.
That's true. It's true. Anywhere you're from. And Pete, the thing you said about getting started early, I agree with that. And Brian, jump back to what you said when we were off camera.
Yes.
Which is very, very true.
Off the record.
On the record.
Okay.
Is we were the early version.
I mean, same thing. What
of
their
Uncle
movement
Larry's.
is, yeah.
Brian and Dave and I and a couple of our other cronies were the early version of Uncle Larry. We were less handsome and less technically sophisticated than you guys are, but we were the early
Just
version
as willing
of that.
to trespass.
Just as willing to
hypothetically.
Yeah, but
in theory.
Courtroom.
Yeah.
When you're that age, it's fine.
Yeah, but that spirit was the same. Like, honestly, Brian said that to me when the camera was off, and I'm like, you're right. Because, like, I can remember our mindset was exactly the same. It was like, no, we didn't have the Google Earth. We had literally, like, paper maps. Like, this is so embarrassing.
How did you
like,
survive?
old school paper maps. Like,
Dude, you just rolled up your sleeves and figured something out,
but
man.
but the walking, the hiking.
You driving past something, you know.
Yeah. It's all new. It's this thing. But
Right.
then when you get to it, it's like the glory, like the and then that time before it actually happens, right? You're looking at it,
Anticipation.
you're like, and we've had days where, like you've had, bullshit.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know,
Oh,
and
yeah.
you come back dejected, and all that work.
I
for
remember when you
nothing.
first got your license and had the Toyota, we went like road tripping everywhere all the time. Yeah,
So
you had
Mike, with the new technology in the game now, like one thing I want to ask you to talk about this is like everyone's using live scope and everything like that, but you were growing up fishing like this.
Yeah.
Like intuition is such a key element to
Big
that.
time.
And so when you're growing up without that tech, like now that we have it available, how much do those skills and like just using that innate ability play into tournament fishing for you now?
I mean, I think that's important. I think having it is a lot better than not having it. I think if you have that and then you could put technology to it, that's the magic formula.
Yeah.
You know. But we didn't have that technology back then. But
we had a color selector.
We had colors. Yeah, we had that thing back there. It's somewhere back there. But the feeling was the same for what you guys are doing. The feeling was the same for us, and it's really cool to see it years later. See you guys doing this.
It's funny too because people see on Instagram the big fish.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, especially recently, because we've been fishing an area where we've been getting a lot of good bites.
Yeah.
But I think back to Kai and I, about a month before we found this spot, we were going through it. I mean, 8-hour journeys for no bites.
For nothing.
I mean, all the spots that we had lined up that first year that were like, okay, these fish are going to be back here in this spot, and they're just not.
Right.
I remember we were sitting out back one night, and there's a video, and I'm looking at Kai. I'm like, yo, bro, we ever going to catch fish again?
Yeah.
I really didn't know. And then the next day is when we found that spot. But it took us about 4 hours or so to get in there. And that's the part that I think, maybe through the videos sometimes people don't always necessarily get the sense of right away.
Right.
But there's a lot of failure. Fishing, I think we'd maybe talked about it in Nike Live before, but fishing teaches you to lose way more than you win.
Oh, big
which
time.
I think is an important life skill in general.
Oh, big time.
You got to – and what would the wins be without the losses?
I agree. So I think, there's a lot of similarities between what we did when we were young and what you guys are doing. And there's differences. And this is a great segue. And one of the differences, Dave, I'll corner you on it, is, I think when we got to your guys' age, before you made that move, before you guys decided to go to Florida, we would have never took that risk. Like, I think we were a way more conservative version of what you guys are. But you guys decided, I want to hear the story from the beginning. You guys decided to take this leap of faith to leave this little tiny state of New Jersey and do this major change, this major exploration.
Well, there was a major world happening going on, too.
Yeah. Well, there was. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you want to start it, definitely – you can't tell the story of Uncle Larry Outdoors without telling the story of the pandemic.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it was something that affected all of us.
Yeah.
And, us personally – we'd already been thinking about, hey, we want to go somewhere that we could catch fish all year and we can really pursue this, blah, blah, blah. But then, of course, that all came around, and it was this added element of, hey, we're only going to be in our mid-20s one time.
Yeah.
We have a lot of colleagues that, for better or worse, are spending 2 years of their lives inside.
Right.
Just
trapped.
giving it all up, basically.
Yeah.
And we just refused to do that.
Right.
And it was funny because I didn't know we were moving to Florida days before it happened, hours. I was just randomly staying at Johnny's place in Brooklyn. This is December of 2020.
Wait a minute. You did? It was that quick?
Oh yeah. Oh, so listen.
I went down to the duffel bag. I didn't think I was staying.
Oh yeah. So I'm staying at Johnny's place in Brooklyn, and one random night I get a text at about 3 a.m. from this man right here, and I'll let him take over at this point. But I get this 3 a.m. text, this epiphany moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. So backtrack it just a bit. What is March 2020 when this whole thing started? We were at the Classic.
Yeah.
I got sick with COVID, and I took a week off of work. It was my first week I took off of my job in Manhattan, and I was like, I'm gonna enjoy this week, and we're gonna hit all of these spots on the way back home, and we're gonna have a great time. We're gonna hit Tennessee, we're gonna hit Virginia.
Yeah.
I had some family there.
I remember this. Yeah.
So I get what I think was probably COVID. I was very, very sick on my way up, and I had the family that I was staying with in Virginia had some at-risk people at the time, older people staying at the house. I'm like, guys, we got to skip this. Let's book it straight home. We'll go to Long Island. We'll spend the week out. My family lives by the beach. We'll fish there, and then we'll go back to our lives. So we go out there, and I get a call hey, don't come to work Monday. Hey, don't come to work Tuesday. Hey, don't come at all. So I'm like, okay, this is strange. So next thing you know, I'm in Long Island at my parents' place for March, April, May. I'm like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
So I can't be 24 years old living at home. But nothing's going on in the city. There was a lot of, social unrest going on in the city as well, and that was happening where I lived in Brooklyn. So I wasn't even able to go to my apartment because they had damaged the street. So there was a couple of months where I wasn't able to actually access my building. So finally, it gets to the point I'm allowed to go back. So I'm back there. Eric's over, and I had set up this Spotify playlist. It was Uncle Larry Outdoors Songs of the Send, and I just opened it up to anyone who wanted to add music to it. I'm like, add the music that you would play on the way to fishing. So anyways, I'm out 3 a.m. just having one of those listening to Dust in the Wind, contemplating your whole life moments. What am I doing here? and this song, Son of It All by Don McCloskey comes on. Shout out Don McCloskey.
Dave, you know that one? Dave Brodzik?
It's the
no. I was asking about the song, but
and I'm like, you know what? I gotta make a move. So I'm like, I call Eric. I'm like, dude, I'm going to get in the car in about an hour, and I'm gonna drive to Florida.
Go.
And you can come, or you could stay, but I'm gonna get in the car and drive to Florida. I'm done.
Yeah.
And he's like,
well, I'm not letting
all
you
right.
go by yourself.
So we hit up this guy, Steve Finch, who we had met a couple of months before at the Classic.
Yeah.
And shout out Steve Finch, not to plug anyone like an ad, but like if you need some like real media work done in outdoors, Steve Finch is one of the greatest souls on the planet. So just shout out to Steve Finch. None of this is possible without you. So we call up Steve Finch, who knows us from nothing outside of he was one of the first people who saw us doing the interviews at the first Classic we went to.
Yeah.
And this guy bought into us and believed in us right away. Like, he believed in us so much that it made me believe in Uncle Larry Outdoors because I was doing this as a joke and just for fun.
Yeah.
And call up Steve. I'm like, hey, man, like, on our way to Florida, don't really have a plan.
We're escaping from New York.
Right. Yeah. And he's like, come on down. So we go to Steve's. Guy has us over for a week or two, just lets us crash in his house, just join his life, just as hostess as best as this guy absolutely can. And we're at Steve's for a while. And
in Tampa.
And it's kind of where I got to like, dude, I don't want to leave this area. Like something's really going on here that's really positive. I really like this.
Steve, we're never leaving.
Never leaving. But that's kind of what it was. It was like, I don't really want to go home, but I can't stay with Steve for free.
Yeah.
So we booked it to
Airbnb.
An Airbnb.
A $30 a night Airbnb.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Listen.
John, when you were escaping New York, did you have Snake Plissken's hair yet from Escape from New York, or that came later?
Straight like one on the sides, two on the top kind of guy. You know, like very much like the Hammers marching in the Pink Floyd videos. That was one of those, like on the way in and out of work every day.
Oh, man.
Yeah, no, Florida has changed me, man. I'll tell you that.
Dude, I got the call from you guys.
Yeah.
Like that morning or something.
The morning they were driving down?
Yeah.
What'd I tell you? Was I just like,
You
yo,
just
Brian,
told me what you were doing. You're
moving
like,
to Florida, dude.
Yeah.
It's over.
But that's one of those things, though, man. Like this pandemic whole thing, like could have been the worst or the best moment of your life, like really. And like you know, at the time, a lot of things seemed tough for a long time, but in hindsight, it's like really, really did try and take that and make that a catalyst for a positive change in our life. And here we are sitting here talking to you guys. It's such a blessing. Like, and it would probably never happens without that. So
we're gonna go a little deeper into that in the third segment when we go Dave After Dark. but there was, you know, for as much negative that came in that time period, I saw a lot of positive myself and a lot of other people.
So then I want to know from Kai too, because you know Johnny and I had driven down there.
Yeah, so it was you and Johnny first. So Kai,
we
you weren't here yet.
No,
you weren't there yet.
So we needed a third because we were trying to get a good situation going. Like we need 3 people to be a part of this.
Yeah.
And it was funny because I think it was like just we instantly both were like, yeah, we gotta go Kai. You know, it was like there was never really any hesitation.
Yeah.
But what did you think when you got the text from us like, yo, dude, you trying to just like come down to Florida and pursue this?
It was crazy because like obviously as was said, we are all living in pretty tumultuous times during this period.
Yeah.
Pandemic is going on. My whole world is like unraveling. I'm in my first apartment with my girlfriend. Like just moved out of my parents' house, and first place I get is with a girl. That was my first mistake. So, like, I'm going through like the end of that. Like that's falling apart between my fingers, and like trying to figure out like what I'm doing next. My lease is about to be up. I'm in this like loft apartment in Bloomfield, paying like way more than I need to.
Yeah.
She's on her way out, so now I got this place to myself.
Oh, man.
And it's like, all right, what's happening? No job, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Pandemic's on, and they hit me up and was like, yeah, bro, you want to come to Florida? And I'm like, fuck, well, I've always wanted to live in Florida. Like me and my dad used to, we still do, because that's where they're trying to get to now. But it was just like the perfect storm. It's like, in my brain, I just sat there and I'm like, yo, if I don't do this, this is probably going to be one of those things that I regret for like, the rest of my life kind of thing. So I was like, by any means necessary, I got to figure this out. Like, I don't care what I got to do. Somebody's got to get this apartment. I'm going to figure out my car situation. I got my dad's truck from 04. It's still barely running, but it's running.
Yeah.
He means by any means.
By any means. I found somebody to take over my apartment. to just take over the lease. And Eric, I think you came back up to get your tracker.
I did. So we decided that it was crazy actually because we were staying in that Airbnb and we started applying for houses, and we kind of actually hit this wave right before like everyone moved down to Florida.
Yeah.
So we got the second house that we applied for.
Wow.
You know, Johnny just stuck in there with that corporate job title. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like he just hit the application.
Oh, yeah.
up with that.
You,
It's like,
you
oh,
mean
yeah,
like applied to rent a house?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Pete, we were living in a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom, like straight up spot. You know, family
On a
neighborhood.
golf course.
No,
Yeah.
We had a golf course as our backyard.
Holy
you know,
smokes.
things were going well, but so we got this house.
Everyone else is masked up.
Capitalized
Yeah, and so we're doing it right, but like now I gotta get back to Jersey to get my Jeep and my tracker. You know, the tools of the trade.
Yeah.
Right? So I fly back up to Jersey. It's like 20 degrees. Kai picks me up. I'm like, oh my god, this place has never looked more terrible in my life. And then, man, Kai and I sent it 18 hours through the night to get to Florida in two vehicles that had no right even driving into the city.
They shouldn't have made it down the street.
They should have made it to New York, let alone Florida.
us and the people driving them. We were just as messed up as the vehicles.
For example, just so you people know that this is real, you know, Kai's car every about 20 minutes or so, this is through the middle of the night, it's like midnight, we're going through Virginia on 81. And every 20 minutes or so, I see that right blinker. And I'm like, oh, I know what time it is. That means Kai's car is in low power mode.
Reduced engine mode.
Reduced engine mode.
Whoa.
And we got to pull over to the side of the road.
Oh my
while
God.
18-wheelers are just going by us, right? And Kai's, he's stopping the car. He's starting it again. He's got the
It'd go into this mode where it wouldn't go over 25 miles per hour. So like I
you
have
gotta
to pull
trick
over,
it.
turn it off, turn it back on.
You had to lie to it.
Maybe it'll go back to normal. You had to do that a few
you had
times.
to
to get
lie
it
to
back.
the truck.
Mind you, it is 25 degrees in the Virginia mountains, and we are going up and down. I mean, legitimate. You know, down by Blacksburg,
Oh,
where
yeah.
it really gets mountainous.
Oh, yeah.
So we had chosen to take an alternate route, you see, because it was also the inauguration day. So we were fearing that there was something that was going to happen in Washington D.C. So we're like, we got to go as far away from Washington D.C. as possible. So if any of you know the route down to Florida from Jersey, we took the 81 route, which
That's
is like
much longer.
through the mountains, right? And then we're here. It's us and 18-wheelers.
Yeah,
and Kai
I know that highway well.
And Kai going into low power
With a
mode
U-Haul
every
trailer.
Oh my God.
filled with stuff and your tracker on the Jeep.
Crazy.
Well, wait a minute. What about your parents?
Oh, yeah.
Are they freaking like?
My mom's still scared. Yeah. She's like,
They're tweaking out. They're tweaking out.
They were like, "Don't go," you know.
You know what though? It was nice because like my parents, like I guess they saw how serious I was about this.
Yeah.
Like and where I was at in life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're like, yo, maybe he needs this. Maybe he needs to like go and really kind of figure it out himself without us being around the corner an hour away. Or, you know what I mean? So.
This is a great. I mean, this is like a leap of faith. You know, in something. Kai, you said it. It's a once in a lifetime thing, right? And it's like. We never did it. I never did, you know, in that stage of my life, I was too scared to do anything like that. But the similarity is anglers that take the leap of faith in tournament fishing. And that happens all the time. And Pete, you and I both did that. You know, that stage where you qualify for the elites. You have this huge bill sitting in front of you.
What do you do?
You know, but it's one of those chances. You got to take it. You got to do it or you're going to look back. And regret not taking the opportunity.
No, literally.
You know? Yeah.
I remember sitting in that apartment and just like, if I don't do this, what am I going to be doing?
Yeah, Kai.
You know what I mean?
Kai,
Like,
I remember sitting in that apartment being like, yo, are we going to make it? Are we going to get the
If I don't do this, what happens next?
I see myself on the phone trying to sell this to my dad.
Yeah.
And that's a tough sell.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to Florida. There's no job prospect. It's like a total risk, total gamble, you know?
that's why I didn't tell him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time, like Eric called me the day they went down, and you know I'm his dad, And right, we agreed upon that.
What were your words? Oh, what were your words of wisdom?
Yo, dude, he was literally like,
I was pumped.
No, he was like, man, I remember this, Brian. He was
Okay.
like, man, if I was in your shoes, I wouldn't be doing anything different. he had nothing negative to say.
No, but I remember the feeling that I got, and I know Eric, after leaving us and just going through a time just trying to figure things out.
Yeah.
And he went through a lot of tough times on his own too, and I just felt like this was the move. Like there was nothing bad about it. I just felt everything just felt to me like this is right.
You said you're home.
Yeah, I did say that. Yeah.
You saw me. I was barefoot out in the parking lot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he was like, "Yo, you're home."
Well, it's interesting though, because Dave, you and Brian did a Florida adventure when you were young.
I
remember this story.
I've been moving to Florida for like 30 years.
You're still moving to Florida right
I've made
now.
offers on houses. Like it's never worked out for us. Like just never did, man.
Shout out to the Black Nitro, right?
Oh yeah, I mean she was seaworthy.
Yeah.
Yo,
What year was that
tell
boat?
us. Wait,
95.
real quick. You have to go over the story of anchoring up on a coral reef in the Keys with
Allegedly.
Black
Preserved
Nitro.
reef.
Allegedly.
We can talk statute of limitations.
right.
Now
we were set up.
We were played by a guy at a tackle shop, a guy that owned the tackle shop. He sold us a couple topo maps, and we're like, where can we go get some? We just wanted to catch barracuda. We didn't even want anything. So he we don't know that he's sending us out to the Key Largo
John
National
Pennycamp Park.
John Pennycamp National Reef Park. We don't know where we're going.
Yeah.
We go out there, man.
In a 17-foot 95 Black Nitro with a 75 horse on the back.
Yeah, we're a couple miles offshore and
in Florida.
We're like, you can see the reef. We're like, oh, this must be where it is.
Dude, I just remember like on the front deck
anchor.
of the boat, like launching this anchor out there.
A claw anchor, giant claw, literally scooping up all the
and there were
historical coral that's been there for centuries.
Millions.
There were Coast Guard guys like working on some
buoy. Guys working on buoys, right?
Yeah, they were working on something. I remember them looking at us like
there was a radio tower.
Yeah.
But there was a glass bottom tour boat. Now, I hooked a barracuda. Brian jumped in the water with his goggles and an underwater camera to take a picture of the fight.
Underwater
You gotta
disposable.
understand. Guys, we had disposable wind. That's all we had. That was the technology. Disposable wind-up camera. Yeah, but it was waterproof. So I'm fighting this fish, and Brian's underwater the whole time. The captain on the tour boat. The whole time, the captain on the tour boat's got me on the intercom, like telling me yelling at me, basically telling me it's a national park. We're not allowed to be fishing here. And he was why you're fighting happening. While I'm fighting the fish, and all these people are like just hanging. They weren't even. I felt like such an asshole. You know what I mean? Like I felt so stupid. Man.
The Black Nitro anchored up
with the New Jersey NJ on the side of the number.
We probably had black T-shirts on. You know, like that's what we wear up here, dude.
Every single boat in Florida is a white boat.
Yeah. You had leather jackets on.
Nah, but we got played. I'm really glad you guys you're able to have the courage to make the move. But you're young.
Yeah.
You're not anchored in.
You know what I really say the difference is though? I'm not gonna lie. Google Maps the difference maker. Just the fact alone that we could look in the palm of our hand and click, okay, 18 hours away.
Yeah.
This is how we get there. Boom.
Yeah.
I swear to God that just that
but we
factor
didn't
alone
need that.
is a big catalyst.
What are you talking about? All we did was just drive on the
did the
road
same
to
thing.
the south.
I don't know if we'd be able to figure that out.
You would have done it.
We're pretty useless without Google Maps.
You would have figured it out.
Still would have figured it out. But
Okay, can I just go back real quick?
Yeah.
A couple people asked about I can't switch over.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
There was a park in Brooklyn, Elmwood Park.
Okay.
Switch over.
Does that make sense or no?
Is that where
There's
that's
Prospect.
What we did? Prospect is
Prospect Park. That's it.
Yeah.
Did you guys do a lot of fishing in Prospect Park?
Check out our video, Brooklyn Catfish Adventure, and you'll see what we did in Prospect Park.
Oh, yeah.
We had a good time in Prospect Park. Prospect Park's a cool place, man. Like that was the one spot, like summer of 2020, when things were really going crazy in the city.
Yes.
There was like two cultures. There was the don't leave your house, don't do anything. And then there was whatever the hell was going on in Prospect Park, which was just like, that was like the area where they didn't bother you. They let you go in and do your thing. So one day Eric and I decided, it was 100 degrees, and we decided, like, yo, we haven't caught a fish in like 2 or 3 months. Like, let's go check out Prospect Park.
Yeah.
So we go and buy, that is awesome.
There you go. You look better with a patch, though.
I think I need a patch.
Yeah.
Like,
A patch and a bogey.
Yeah.
We go to Prospect Park with a pack of hot dogs and
cheese hot dogs.
Cheese hot dogs
Yes.
and
Nice.
like a hook, a weight, and
That's awesome.
Eric probably brought a couple other things too. And like we're having a great time over in Prospect Park. And we're just like, we're the only people there who didn't speak Spanish, and there's just like a million people there, and they're feeding us steaks. Like, we're literally walking around
Carne
with rods,
asada.
and there's kids coming up to us, like asking us where we're fishing. People are feeding us carne asada, and we just sat in Prospect Park for probably 5 hours till it was dark.
Maybe more.
5 months
With no bites, with this piece of cheese hot dog, and we caught a bullhead about this big as it was getting dark at like midnight. Like a little before midnight, and we pull this thing in. I promise you, that was like more exciting than any tarpon or snook or anything that we thought. We were so hyped.
To see that when we got the rod out there, to see it get bit, like, you know,
yeah.
Oh, it was so exciting.
And then one of the picnickers looked in the back seat of a Toyota Corolla, and he's passed out in the back sleeping.
I got barbed by this thing. It was so painful. I was like,
listen, I thought I was gonna have to take Johnny to the ER.
How'd you get it out?
Oh, I do. I just, yank it. And, like, dude, this thing, like, I was like, bro, I got AIDS. Like, we got to get tested, man. Like, this is bad. This is bad.
Yeah,
but
Brooklyn catfish. But, Central Park, the Harlem Mirror. Dude, there's 6-pound bass in there.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
Those
so
NYC fishing kids
serious.
will tell you.
We know the kids that catch them. Shout out to the NYC Bassmaster
NYC
kids. It's a whole
Lunkers and the
culture.
boys, man.
Oh, yeah.
They're really good.
Japanese
really good
bass,
kids.
man, all them boys.
Let's get them on.
I went out one day and, like, didn't really know about, like, the culture, like the bass fishing culture. I met those kids for the first time, and I was in Central Park. Everything was iced over. It was, like, January, super cold. And there's actually a pond that has smallmouth in Central Park.
What?
And, a really cool little pond of smallmouth. And there was one patch where there wasn't ice, the deepest part. And I'm out there with my buddy. I'm like, yo, let's go drop shot at this little patch, see if we can pull out a smallmouth. Like, how cool would that be? So we go there. Sure enough, there's like 3 or 4 kids lined up, drop shotting, like 12, 13 years old, drop shotting Central Park. I'm like, damn. I thought I was dialed, but, like, wow. These kids are ahead of the game. So I start making my way over to them, and I'm like, what's up, guys? Like, any room? And they're giving me this look like, you better back up. Like, you better get off our ice right now. I'm like, respect that. But I saw those kids out. I've had good conversations, man. Those kids are taking a bus from Staten Island to Central Park in the middle of winter, drop shotting for 1 pound smallmouth, and now they're out there catching 800-pound bluefin.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, these kids, they ended up going to the high school, the Marine High School in New York, Harbor School, I think it's called.
Yeah.
And they're out there, they're all working on boats, catching 50-pound slobs, 800-pound bluefin with the Statue of Liberty in the background. Like,
dude, the tuna came closer to the shore than they've been in forever.
Yeah,
That's true.
Forever.
We were seeing that.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
2 miles off the beach.
Right.
Wow.
So as Uncle Larry stuff as we do, man, what these kids are doing, like that's always inspired me to see.
Just goes to show you, man, you could go up in a concrete jungle.
Oh, yeah.
If you got the bug, you got the
Oh,
bug.
yeah.
That's
And
right.
you might not even know that you have it. You got to go try, though. You got to
Yeah.
go experience the world
Yeah.
a little bit because anyone could fall into that.
Yeah.
That's right.
I love that.
I do got to say this, though. Getting back to
But probably just go golf.
golf.
Don't get us started.
Yeah, stay off the lakes in South Jersey.
In general, though,
Yeah.
you guys are living the dream. Would you say that? Would you say because when I look and it's not just me. Like when I talk to Brian and with Dave, we're looking at your stuff. We're like, oh, these guys are living. The dream.
I would say that, but at the same time, I would say it does not come without its fair share of sacrifice.
Nothing's free.
Yeah, at dinner
Not
time,
true.
it looks like a UNICEF commercial. You guys are probably starving, no food.
We got so many days without
You don't know about that little season.
People don't see. People don't
Don't
see.
know about them
I got
seasons.
it.
A fly is crawling on Eric's eye.
I got to decide between a live target mullet and feeding myself for the night. You know, these are real debates that have had to happen in my mind.
Right.
And if you fish the spots that we fish, you would know that the live target mullet wins out every time.
It does.
You got to get the
over
mullet.
food.
Over food.
man.
Yeah, that's way more important.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we've bartered fish.
But that's still simplistic.
Right? No, I did.
That's like very basic.
I did
you
the
know
most.
what I mean?
I did the most Florida thing. It's funny because when I first moved down here, I envisioned doing stuff like this. But I did the most Florida thing I ever done. I bartered a slot snook for goods and services recently.
Wow.
Wait,
Yeah.
what?
How
What?
about that?
What'd you get?
What kind of
Yeah.
goods and services we talk about?
You know, my favorite thing in the world. I got a nice. I got
Salad, Seikos.
I got a
Flammable salad.
pack of 4-inch watermelon bread Senkos.
That would be your second favorite.
Nah. He got one of them Ned rigs, brown ones.
That would be the second favorite thing.
Brown Ned rig.
But I bartered it for a slot snook, and this is the type of stuff that I envisioned doing. I figured I really wouldn't need money when I was in Florida. You know, I just catch snook.
Convert the land.
Yeah.
And it's
So,
But
bounty.
isn't that what this country was founded on?
It was.
Yes.
Was it not?
And
That's
we're in
very
the great
primal.
city of Philadelphia where it all started. You feel
Yeah.
that energy here.
It is. There's brotherly love. City of brotherly love, Pete.
I gotta ask, where's the revenue coming from?
We don't make money on
Oh yeah,
this,
we don't
bro.
make anything.
Revenue.
Yeah,
We
we're
did
broke.
just LLC.
We did.
This week. We
By the way, what's the name of the GoFundMe so I can plug it here?
Uncle Larry's is now Uncle Larry's LLC. So if you would like to hit us up for filming services, for fishing guide services, for,
Absolutely.
you know,
Yeah.
anything services,
Yeah.
Uncle Larry Outdoors.
It's legal.
LLC.
Almost
We'll host your
there.
birthday party, all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll show.
we'll-
But yeah, we'll show up at your party.
Whatever.
Yeah.
It's legal.
You know who's a good model for that is Monster Mike. You got to admit, Mike has done
Oh, yeah.
amazing things.
Oh
you
yeah.
know?
Oh yeah.
Monster
No,
Mike's killing it, man.
Monster Mike's a legend.
He's
He's
in his
a
own.
legend.
He's in
What a
his own
legend.
lane. He really has
He
curated
is.
his whole own thing, and that's
Yeah.
commendable. And at the end of the day, are we trying to do anything different? You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Hey, if we put together Power Bait Paul's air fee, will you guys take him in for a week down there? And
Yeah.
Oh,
So
we
I
can't guarantee he comes back. But
Yeah,
we'll take
I
him
had
in.
this in my notes right here. This to me would be some of the most epic things I would want to see this.
Okay, let's hear it.
Power Bait Paul in Tampa with Uncle Larry guys. Paul,
You ready?
Would you consider this?
Kai, microphone.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, absolutely.
You would consider this, Paul.
PBP visiting ULO? Heck yeah.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Turned in stone.
We'll start him on some 100-level courses.
Yeah.
You know, we have a whole tier list.
Yeah.
We have a whole list of different places. that
You
we can
guys
take
would get
Paul
along
to
really
see.
good because you guys have some differences, but a lot of similarities, especially from a fishing aspect.
Listen, the first 3 months that we had that house down in Florida,
Yeah.
it was the Uncle Larry's hotel.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, it was in and out, and I missed that
Oh, yeah.
era a little
We
bit.
didn't have one night from the night we moved in. Like, there was not one night from the night we started the lease for the first 4 or 5 months where there wasn't at least one guest. And everyone overlapped. We didn't have one night, and it was really cool.
That's
We had
cool.
people rotating in
You
and
guys
out.
had Ant came in. A few
Yeah,
times.
we had Brady.
came in.
We had
Yeah.
a bunch of my
Mark.
friends from Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Mark, who dropped
Yeah, you know,
us
it
off,
was funny.
here for a month.
It was people from all walks of
Yeah.
our friendship
Not just
existence,
fishing.
like
Yeah.
fishing and non-fishing. It was like,
Yeah.
My
especially
boy Brett.
right. No,
Right.
it was like, you know what it was, especially at the time too, with the pandemic and
Yeah.
everything going on. People really did start to see like, oh, see, they're really not following the grain. They're trying to live out their mid-20s to
Yeah.
the fullest, and I want to be a part of that a
Yeah.
little bit, you
Yeah.
know. And it was really cool to see non-fishermen come out with us on what I would consider like 300 level Uncle Larry's courses. You know,
That's
like
awesome.
we were taking
Yeah.
people that never fished in their life out on some stuff that we might not have even done 6 months
Because
ago.
our one
Right.
rule was sort of like, hey, like you could come down, stay for free, do whatever you want, but just don't slow us down.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, I want to see what you're about. It's like, okay, there's 14-foot gators. We're gonna hike 8 miles. So like, if you're cool with that, then like by
Yeah.
all means, man.
Oh man.
And it's cool to put people in those elements too, and just like you see what they're really about. When
Yeah.
you take people out like that. And,
Yeah.
and people really stepped up. It was cool.
That's so cool. So cool. Pete, doesn't this make you feel like you want to go back in time and
Yeah,
have
it does.
engaged in some of this
Yeah.
at that stage? You know?
It was so different. This wasn't really available to us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
But
our,
you grew up with free love, right? In 60s.
like what, needing to work, Pete? Needing to have a paycheck and a 401k?
our only our only path was professional angling.
Right.
or
That
guide, or being a guide, right? Really one of the two.
I guess.
If
But
you
that was
wanted to
foreign to me at
Right.
that time, you know? Like,
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that was a possibility. But it was like, it was pro angling, and that's it.
Yeah.
but
yeah, the digital media part
you know,
of it, the social part
has
of it.
opened things
has.
up.
You know what's
to
funny?
do some really
Pete, you had
fun and cool stuff.
You got an engineering degree.
They build stuff down there.
Well,
you know what's
I mean,
funny?
I didn't want to do that. I didn't realize.
I don't want to
mean,
work either.
You go through that Well, I just talked about this at the deal. It's like I'm working in this cubicle and I'm like, man, I'm going to do this. I got this opportunity to go fishing, and I got to take it. Because I can always go back to engineering.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I can always go back to
Yeah.
the experience and do that thing. And that was 25 years ago. I've been fishing.
Crazy.
And I did it through that channel of professional fishing, and then Bass University, we developed that. But it's so cool because I think about the times when I was young, and I did the same thing. We looked on the topo maps. Yeah. We looked on the street maps.
Wow.
The street maps,
Paper maps.
The
Physical
paper
maps.
street maps had water on them. It had the water was blue.
Yeah.
And we're like,
The water was blue.
Water was blue.
It was a squiggly line.
Can we quote that?
Water was blue.
Water was blue.
Dude,
me and Dave found when we fished Shepherd's Mill the first time. That was paper map.
Paper
yeah,
map.
hell yeah.
And it was a lake that might have had something in front of the road that with a chain on it.
Right.
Somehow we managed to get in there. And
Right.
I tell you what, fish that don't see a lure.
Yeah. Different fish.
Who would've thought? God.
Yeah. Fun fish. Different fish.
I caught one that day on a slider head after the lizard got thrown off.
Just on the
I've
hook.
told that you guys.
I never understood. I never understood why people put chains up and make me have to walk around them.
Yeah.
Hey, so the board really loves the idea of you going down to Florida, Paul. Here's some of the suggestions, though. Some people are concerned with your skin tone in the sun.
Yeah.
One suggested
they have sunblock.
that you wear a wetsuit the entire
sunblock.
time.
Oh, no, Larry's house.
we don't. We
don't do sunblock.
Nah, we're anti-sunblock.
We'll get into that, Dave. Deep reasons.
Well, what about natural mud?
Well, hold on, Kai. You gotta give him. Hook him up with some sound.
Yo, that don't fly with me. I'll be redder than Ike's shirt over there.
Well, Paul, one person suggests in 1 month with those dudes, you'll have long hair, sunburn, and be talking about spiritual shit.
I can see that.
And then he said Paul would be a great wingman at the bar. Just listen to the broads bullshit and then be happy as a pig in shit to take the grenade.
Who was that? Who was that comment?
I've taken some grenades over the years.
That's just being a good friend.
That's being a good friend.
Gotta man up.
No, there's nothing wrong with that.
Paul, learn like
And Paul
five
is a
Spanish
spiritual
words,
guy,
and
by
we'll take
the
you out
way.
to Ybor City, man. We'll have a time. Talk about spiritual.
The only couple Spanish words I know are like bendejo and puto.
Me gusta. That's all you need.
What do
That's
you
all
think
need,
Florida
Paul.
is, Paul? You think you're going into like Little Havana? Like what?
Yes.
What do you think
Yeah,
you're doing?
but where are we talking? Yeah.
I mean, I live in Bridgeton, which is like Little Mexico, so I kind of.
Bridgeton and Havana are very similar.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm the same height as them, so I'll fit right in. So it's great, Dan.
Amigo.
Si, senor.
Wow.
You're ready for Ybor City, man.
This is like one of the. This is like an Ike Live.
Let
in
me tell you
Spanish.
though,
I'm
like
excited
it's
about
gonna,
this.
they're gonna be big, and they're gonna be like jiggly. So just like be ready. Like we're gonna have a great time. Just you might not want to come back.
Oh.
It's gonna be all over you, Paul. They're gonna be all over you.
That's gonna be hard to come back.
You're gonna be a catch, Paul.
If you can't make it, I would go in your place, Paul.
Because everyone needs the old guy with him in the bar to spruce things up.
To make things awkward and weird. And
to make things completely weird.
Put your hands under your armpits and shake back and forth.
That's right.
Always works too.
When I was your age, you were watching Full House live.
I don't even get that joke, but the fucking delivery
Are
is
you kidding
spot
me?
on. Everything Dave says is hilarious.
Full House has been off the air in 25 years. So when
Well,
I
I
was
wouldn't
your
know
age,
that.
20, you were watching live episodes of Full House, meaning the kid was
Your
5.
math's way off. Though.
But you
20
said-
and 25, dude. Like you got.
Dave's
another
not good with
15,
math, but
20
he's
years,
a good
right?
dude.
You're talking more like the Twilight Zone live, I think.
Let's not critique the joke.
That's Pete. Yeah.
You know?
Pete would be more Twilight Zone because he's got us by like almost 10 years.
5 years, man. I just look like 10
I'm the
years.
same age. We went to school together. I sat next to you in biology.
No, you definitely didn't sit next to me in biology.
No, Pete.
Oh, okay.
Dude, Jake just dissected a cow's eye.
What?
In biology.
Really?
What? Oh my gosh. They're cutting it open and he was describing it to me and he's cutting it with the scissors and the black goop starts piling out of the eyeball.
Wait. In front of you?
No, in his biology class.
Oh, okay. All right, yeah.
You know?
Yuck.
Man.
Oh man,
it's crazy.
He loved it.
Desensitization of the youth.
Great.
That's a third segment.
So I gotta.
Third segment.
I do gotta put this one through. I'm just looking real quick, scrolling through. This is from the Ike Live Facebook page, and this is Bruno. I can't make this up. Bruno Duffield chimes in. Do you know him?
No, but
I
I expected more vowels on the end of that.
It's Bruno Duffield
Carry
says, "What I like about the Uncle Larry guys, yous guys are regular dudes. Yous guys.
Yeah, thank you, Bruno.
Yeah, yous guys are regular dudes.
I eat Panda Express just like you, man.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah. But I think honestly, that's a great comment because I think that is something you guys are very successful what you're doing because you are regular dudes, right?
Yeah.
There are a lot of Pete. There's a lot of other social media, digital kids, young adults doing this, but they're like not. They don't feel like regular dudes.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
They're pandering to the camera. They're not.
Yeah,
I'll say this. It's like at the end of the day, and I think that you could tell this about Uncle Larry Outdoors if you watch any of the content. We're doing this without the cameras.
Oh, yeah.
It's like this is just who we are.
Right. Yeah.
You know, it happens that the cameras are on.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, you love
trust
it.
me,
You love it. We love it. Like we went on. It was a cool moment, Brian. We went on our old man trip a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And we got back from an epic day of fishing, and we FaceTime you guys.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And we were just talking about that experience of when you get back from that epic day. And dude, it was you could tell you saw it and what was going on, and I see it in you guys when you have those days, and that's cool, man.
You gave us some dangerous advice that day.
I did, didn't I?
Yeah,
You wanna-
yeah.
you wanna-
He looked right at the camera.
Yeah.
And he was like, "It doesn't matter."
I may have had a couple cocktails too,
He's
so
like,
let me just.
He's like, "It doesn't matter if you got $2 or $2 million. The fishing comes first.
Yeah.
No matter what,
Hey.
the fishing comes first."
I wish Becky was here right now.
That's
Because Mike's not going fishing until all the business is
Dave,
done.
let's get a timestamp on this so we can delete it.
Right after
finished
the
product.
Right after the 4 years completed,
That's
and
right.
then we can go fishing.
All right, so who's ready to play a game? You ready to play a game?
Come on.
I got a little game. It's not really a game, but I got a little thing we're going to do. We're each going to go around, and I want each of us to give an answer.
Okay.
So for Kai,
False.
E, and Johnny, for you guys, I'm going to start. I'm going to go this way. So if E uses one that you were going to use, you have to go to a different one. That's the only thing. Okay. All right. So, and this game, the title of this one, Pete, I got a note about
You
it.
starting
right
with
here.
me?
We're going to start with you. This
Yes.
is for all of
Guinea
us.
pig.
Is your top adventure or fishing moment in 2022? This is the Christmas special. We got New Year's right on the heels of New Year's.
That's bullshit, dude, because now I'm last.
You are last.
Fucking always.
But no. I'll use a.
Wait. So my top adventure can't be what my top adventure is because you're in front of me?
No, because I won't
It's a
use the one I
stupid
know
game,
you're going to
Michael.
use.
Dumbass game.
Be quiet.
All right, fair enough.
All right, Pete, let's go. Top fishing adventure or fishing moment in 2022.
The first one that popped into my head was when I fell in Chesapeake.
Absolutely.
But
I would agree with that.
That's
Yes, I would agree
100%.
with that.
But if I
That's not an adventure.
but that's not a fishing adventure.
It's not.
It's not.
That's an adventure. You're
Well,
Scuba Pete.
Dude, I took out Jake and 3 of his boys, 12 to 13 years old, and I put my motor on spot lock, and we caught 54 bass.
What?
Those boys caught 54
That's
bass
incredible.
Wow.
in about an hour, and they still talk about
That's
it.
every cast.
It was
Yeah.
every other cast. They were
Oh,
competing.
man.
They were fighting with each other. They were arguing about who had the best spot in the boat. Well, he's in the front of the boat. He's getting better, and he's in the back. He's
Yes.
getting access. And they were rotating.
Were you in New York?
Wrestling Chesapeake? It was going down on a corner, little eelgrass edge, and they were stacked. They were 12 to 16-inch bass.
Okay.
Just nice bass, and they caught
So cool.
They caught 54 of them.
Wow.
That, no doubt, my best moment in 2022.
Very cool. That's very cool. E, give it to us. What do you got?
I think I already touched on it, but to me, it would definitely be that moment in October when we were skunking for like 3 weeks straight.
Yeah.
And then Kai and I decided to do something totally out of left field. We're like, let's go infiltrate this water that just looks impenetrable. You know, we don't even know how we're going to get into this spot. And it took us about, say we launched at 7, we didn't get into the spot until noon. And that feeling when I was throwing that spook along that first grass line after not catching fish for a month straight, and that first small snook came up and slapped it, I just remember looking at Kai like, oh, what's going on here?
Oh, yeah.
And then 100 snook later, we were looking at each other like,
Holy smokes.
oh, there's
Now
something
that-
happening.
man. Now this
and
is-
that's what I'm saying. You cannot replace that feeling
Yeah.
because we really did not know, and we've been struggling for so long. And I remember looking at Kai in that moment and being like, yo, take this in because this is a once-in-a-lifetime feeling right now, because from now on, we're going to go into this spot and we're going to know what to expect.
Yeah.
But this was the only moment where we
Right.
truthfully did
Virgin
not know.
spot.
And then
Yeah.
it turns into what it turned into. So
Yeah.
that would be mine, I think.
Yeah,
for
that
sure.
place is unbelievable. By the way, that's the place that you guys filmed a couple of the Ike Live promos you did for us, right?
Mhm.
Correct?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Allegedly.
Because
Allegedly.
here's the thing. In a normal world, Pete knows when you're trying to do a promo, to catch a fish on a cast, it might take you like 10 days to get it. And you guys are like, yeah, let's do an Ike Live promo. So, watch Ike Live this Saturday night. It's going to be, go, come on.
You know what's
you
funny?
did it. Guy did it.
You know what's funny?
That's
shout
amazing.
out
Come
to
on, man.
shout out to Luke Duncan, because Luke Duncan messaged
Duke
the
Lunkin.
Duke Lunkin,
Yeah.
Luka Doncic messaged
Yeah.
the page, and he was like, I'm just here to find out how many tries that took. And I think Johnny messaged back. He's like, "Yeah, bro. Honestly, that took like one try."
Dude, it was a no-look cast.
Yeah.
It's just like,
It was a terrible cast. It wasn't even near anything. It was just out in the
didn't
middle.
matter.
No, I did take some trial and error though to get that. It took a little
We have
trial and
there's
error.
some blooper videos. Yeah,
Oh,
there
man.
just might be.
Oh man, I gotta tell you. All right, I gotta tell you mine real quick. I want to say this real quick, and I won't. I know the one you're gonna stay, but I won't steal it.
Go ahead.
This has been the best and worst fishing year I've ever had in my life. From a competitive standpoint, it was a horrible year for me. But my fishing experiences and trips I took this year, dude, fucking mind-blowing, dude. Mind-blowing. And I took 3 of them in 1 year, which is incredible. Like, life-changing trips, you know. So, Italy for sure was one.
Yeah.
Going to Venice, I'm going to let Brian keep that one, was one. But fishing in the Bahamas and catching snook on a fly is
Bonefish.
Bonefish. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Bonefish on a fly is incredible.
Yeah.
Dude, the fish is that fucking big. That's all he is. Dude, I've never seen runs like that from a fish that weighs less than 3 pounds.
Wow.
Incredible. Just I'll just never forget it the rest of my life. You know? So that's
Very
my
cool.
that's my top fishing moment.
I've never caught a bonefish. Always wanted
Neither
to.
have I. We still haven't
Yeah.
reached that gap either. In
Amazing.
Florida.
Amazing fish. Amazing fish. Johnny?
I think my favorite was because I'm not going to take that snook spot. That's the best fishing we've done, and these guys really grinded for that spot and took me in there. But when I was in Sweden, you know, I'm in this country. I've never been there before. People there, like, they fish, but, like, finding people who fish on our level is difficult. And, like, I wanted to really get out there and figure it out.
Yeah.
So I'm doing the Google Maps thing, and I find this spot where I'm like, you know, theoretically, I feel like salmon would run up and they couldn't get past this wall. So I'm going to go to this wall. So I take a drive, go to this wall, no idea where I am, middle of nowhere, and I hike up and down this mountain by myself. And the one kid who I went out there from the States with is he does everything with me. Like, Kai and I have been on crazy adventures with him, and he's like, you know what, that spot's like looks a little bit much. Like, I don't even think I'm going to come. So I think you should go by yourself. So I do this all by myself, and I get down there, and I fish this spot 3 or 4.
Yeah, that looks dangerous. Why don't you go by yourself?
I go 3 or 4 times before I get anything, and I'm going up and down this mountain. The whole thing takes a long time, and finally, I'm like, you know what, this is it. This is the spot in Sweden.
Yeah.
And finally, on like the last time I'm there, it's just like a National Geographic day. I'm down there by myself in the rain, and I'm hooking into pike after pike. I land my first 40+ inch pike, and I'm like fighting it in the rocks. And that was just such a cool moment for me. I was just holding up this like fish that there is like like that's what people go to Sweden to do is like pike
Right.
fish.
Yeah.
And so I have this trophy fish in my hands, and right when I'm landing it, I see the salmon run in front of my face, just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of wild salmon just jumping. And I go back, tell all my friends from there, I'm like, listen, you got to come down with me and just check it out. So then we go down that week. Don't bring any rods. Don't bring any gear. I'm just like, let's just go watch the salmon. So we go, well,
What the fuck is wrong with you, dude?
Rhino was choked. He just choked.
dude, I mean,
How could you do that?
because when I was there the first time, I tried to catch them, and I was like, I have no idea how to get these things to bite. Like, they're trying to spawn, and I'm like, I'm not going to go
still
down
taking
there
a
with
rod.
trebles and try and snag them. I'm like, that's 2020, Uncle Larry's. We're in 2022.
I'm not ready for
Elevation.
it, man.
Elevation. You had to floss them.
Plus, honestly, I was so broke, and the only thing I had was like a giant spoon. And I'm like, well, I can't really go buy salmon gear. It's gonna be like $50, man. Like, so no. So like,
I mean,
honestly,
I'm
we
turning
sat
a
there-
rock over and finding a salamander or whatever they have over there.
Dude, don't get me wrong. I took a couple casts with the spoon right at him, and like,
All right.
so, like
But it's like, dude, I'm not going to, it's like going to a gunfight without
But
a
yeah,
gun. You got to take a
landing
rod.
that pike and just like you said, like there's nothing that replaces finding it on your own. And that was like not
Nothing's
only
magic.
on my own, but across the ponds. Like had no idea what I was
totally
doing.
foreign
That's
place.
badass.
And I was like, you know what? I guess I'm getting kind of good at this shit. Because like when I feel like between the three of us, these guys are the better fishermen. Eric's taught me everything I know from the ground up, and when I met Kai, I was like, this kid's got it. Like he's just got something that a lot of us don't. So that was a cool moment for me to like reflect. Like I did, like you did that on your own.
Yep.
You're in
Taking
somewhere you
little
never
pieces
been.
of what you learned from these guys.
Yes,
That's very
But you're way
absolutely.
funnier, Johnny.
Thank you, Brian.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Savage wit.
Paul, give it to us. Top. I know you got a lot because you had a really good year, Paul.
amazing
Give
watching
us your top moment of 2022. Hard to select one, but give us one, Paul.
Well, it's not about my biggest fish of the year because I've caught several, at least probably about 4 or 5 bigger than that one. But probably my favorite moment is the first tournament with Brian the Carpenter.
Of course.
That was my first tournament, first time fishing with BTC, and that 4-pound bass I put in the boat, that was my first bass caught in a boat.
Whoa!
Oh,
Whoa!
wow. Yeah.
Your first boat bass
Yep,
ever.
exactly.
Wow.
That was a memorable
Pete,
one.
did you know that?
No.
I enjoyed the hell out
I
of
didn't know
that,
that
Paul.
either.
Nice belly on, hooked him on a Berkeley power worm, what I'm famous for. I'm
Hell
like,
yeah.
I'm like,
Power Bait Paul.
net.
You gotta, yeah. It's
I
trademark.
was stoked, and I
Yo,
was about to get all excited and freak out like you, and Brian's all like, shh.
Yeah, don't.
I'm like,
Yeah, there'll be 20 boats over.
okay.
Yeah.
Is he not the? Is he
yeah.
not like?
Brian, it's a Malaga Lake Thursday nighter. Calm down.
Is he not one of the
It was
purest
Union.
souls? It's like he's been in a coma for 54 years and woke up with like no bad stuff in his life,
not
just pure
tainted.
delivery, man.
Oh well, I haven't known you that much, Dave. So once the longer I know you, the more I'll get filled with.
Oh,
that.
I'll see some salt on you. Come on, man.
Well, Dave, he,
Yo,
listens,
wait.
he listens to
What'd he
metal.
say? Hold on. What'd I miss? Did I get hammered? Stay
Yeah.
pure, Paul.
Stay pure.
Stay pure.
I'll try
Stay
to. You two
pure.
are making it hard, though.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. That could be your tagline.
Stay pure, Paul.
Power bait Paul. Stay
pure.
pure. That's your tagline.
How about just power bait pure?
Quick, text James Riley.
Thanks.
I gotta write this down.
Oh,
Hold on, I need to write this down. Power bait Paul. Stay pure.
You sure it has nothing to do with the fact that I'm the whitest person any of you has ever met?
No, it's like when Brandon Fraser came out of the bomb bunker. He was just this nice guy that no one didn't know nothing about the world because he was down there in a nuclear bomb bunker.
Oh my gosh! Thanks. Oh wow.
That's a movie quote.
I am
right?
complimenting you, dude. This is not a rip.
Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, remember the
I know
movie
that
where he was?
movie. Yeah.
What movie was that?
I forget.
I forget too.
Something.
This is a
Encino
comedy,
Man or
Paul.
something?
No. That was when he was a caveman, dude.
Yeah, that was a
I
caveman.
saw that movie.
I just.
Did you just call me a caveman?
No.
No, movie.
Paul, that that comment was out of sincere adoration for you.
And
okay.
and
It's hard to tell with you.
I
I mean, last week he was hitting you, or last month hitting you pretty hard. So
I saw Brian's face when Paul was telling the story about his most impactful moment.
Yeah.
And Brian was struck by it.
Yeah. No,
you know,
that's
like
cool. Yeah,
he
you were involved
delivered.
in that.
He
Yeah.
delivered Paul's moment of the year and was
That's
part of that.
pretty
That-
cool.
I saw that in his face.
Super cool.
I fathered
And
many,
I fought
many
hard
children.
not to do
You're
it.
welcome. You're welcome, BTC.
All right.
Wait, I got to get a pic after the show with me, Eric, and Paul.
Oh yeah, your two children. Kai, what's top moment?
A top moment
You
this
had a
year?
lot too.
Probably. I'd have to say it was during times of us taking the trips onto the Hilly.
Oh wow.
It was a rough period for BE. This is when Johnny was in Sweden and like we were trying to figure out like what the hell we were about to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Money was tight. I don't think we had AC at the time. I think they might have cut the water off at the crib. We might have had Wi-Fi, maybe, possibly.
Borrowed Wi-Fi.
It was rough. It was a rough time, and we had chalked it up to just like, yo, might as well just go first.
Yeah. Fishing comes
Might as
first.
well
Fishing
send
always
it,
comes
dude.
first.
Son of a
As
bitch.
it should. As it should.
Look at that.
So,
so
yeah,
great.
Yeah, instead of trying to-
You're the worst, dude. That is literally the worst advice ever.
Oh my God. It's the
But
best
you know what?
advice. Dude,
Oh my God.
Life is short, man. Life is short.
You're
You
right.
gotta do
Dude.
those things.
You're
So
right.
that was
We
really
got
our
no
mindset
food,
at
no
the time.
money.
Our pets' heads are falling off.
No
No,
AC.
literally.
We're gonna
no
lose the
Wi-Fi,
house.
for crying out loud.
The car's going away.
No, yo,
Let's go fishing.
Eric's tracker is like on his last. Like this is
Tracker's
the last trip.
We're
Blowing the tracker.
pulling out of the driveway, and my power steering on the Jeep is just going.
Oh yeah. Jeep's got
Bro, the
no
outboard
fluid.
might start up.
Yeah.
Like we're
The bit-
we're
the-
pulling up to the boat
God
ramp,
bless
like
you.
hoping, like please turn over.
Dude, everything's gone to shit. The bitches aren't even coming around anymore.
Oh, we got
What?
no bitches,
Yeah.
Mike. No,
Violent
that's
profane,
not
we
even.
say.
That's not even in the picture. No bitches.
But
Dude,
go fishing.
Wait,
You know?
wait
No,
a minute.
literally.
Wait a minute. Are the bitches coming around?
Well, we ain't had no power, so we can't bring no bitches to the house. with no power.
You can't
We got no power.
That's not a good look. We ain't got no lights.
Dude, you gotta have power.
Candle power, dude. Candles. Pete trying to relate to the youth. You got them bitches.
No, man. Ready to go.
Pete relating to the young men.
Segment,
No, I just.
I mean, how do you tell? How do you tell a
vicariously
girl that?
living here.
How do you tell a girl that for real though? Like, baby, you can come over, but like, it could be a little dark.
Baby,
you
I
know,
got no
if you want-
power.
If you want to check your
You
Instagram,
cannot
you're
flush
probably
the
not going to
toilet.
be able to do that.
Yeah, Mike.
You know, if you need
Dude.
some water,
Mike.
we're gonna have to go to the store.
Yeah, Pete to Kai. Yo, you got them thoughts up in his house? Trying to relate to the youth.
Oh my god.
I don't know what that means.
Like, yes, you do, Peter.
That was what Kai said to you. He's like, I don't even talk like that, Pete. What are you talking about?
Come on, dude. That's kind of stereotypical. I'm not gonna lie.
Hey,
It depends.
I mean,
it depends what kind of mood you get Kai in. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Like,
You gotta catch me on the right. I'm in a good mood today.
he'll
You know what I
break,
mean?
he'll
Yeah.
break it out.
I ain't seen no government tyranny today, so I'm chilling.
Yo, so
But
Dave,
yeah.
Dave called me out on this way back in the day when, like, I had my house by myself
Oh
in
yeah.
Glassboro.
With the white van.
Yeah, no, I had a Ranger.
Oh.
But hanging at the Glassboro bars with the college girls, and Dave would come up from working at I was 24, 25. And Dave was coming up from corrections, so I'd meet him at Main Street or whatever. And, I guess I was pretty hammered one night, but I tried using the line, I got AC. The dragon one out of there. I don't know. I thought you were going to hit me with that. Because Main Street didn't have AC, man. That place was a dive. I'm like, yo, I got AC.
Yo, I gotta see.
That's hilarious.
won't make you comfortable.
I don't think it worked.
So Kai, what was your favorite moment?
We got off on the stand.
Oh man. Yeah, so yeah, like I said, rough times, no power, none of that. We go out to the Hillsboro, right idea.
Allegedly.
Let's just go get dialed on this river, man. Like what else we gonna do? And this was a river we've had like great success at in the past. Like some of the best bass fishing we've done from the tracker
we
in
talked about it,
Florida.
yeah.
And it's such a unique environment. Like it's literally the spot we go up into is like a creek. It's
Yeah.
literally a creek, like skinnier than the Passaic. And it's loaded. But we go in this day, And it's different. Like the water level's lower. It's not moving as much. Super clear. And if we can see the bass, but they're just not. They're not eating. They're not moving the same way. Like Eric said earlier, one of those bites we thought we'd be able to just go back and replicate it, and
Forever
it wasn't.
and ever. Yeah.
And it wasn't quite like that. And we're grinding it out for, I think, a few hours that morning without a bite.
Yeah, mind you, we're seeing so many fish.
And we're seeing the fish. So that's what's really fucking with us.
6, 7, 8
Dude, that's
pounders.
frustrating.
We're seeing
that's the worst
giants,
feeling.
and they're just not wanting
Yeah.
anything to do with anything. And I remember going into one of the tackle boxes Bud Cipoletti gave us, and he had a bunch of random, like, fire-ass mega bass shit.
Damn, Bud's throwing out mega bass?
Oh, well, it technically,
well.
Yeah, that's a long story.
Never mind,
But-
carry on.
Thanks, Bud. Thanks, Bud. It's there.
Shout out to Bud.
Shout out to Bud.
Well, he didn't ask for them back.
Moving on.
Thanks, Bob. Thanks, sir. Yeah, so I'm going through this tackle box, and I see this little, like, it looks like a little lipless kind of sort of little perch bluegill color lipless.
Yeah.
Real small profile. I'm like, yeah, I think this might get big because we're throwing, like, chatter baits and spinner baits.
Oh, the works.
You know,
everything.
Trying to power fish them, and they're just not having it. I'm like, maybe I got to finesse them a little bit. And we're coming down the creek, and I'm throwing this thing around, and I'm liking the movement on it. It's like a little twitch bait, almost like a little suspended twitch bait. Twitch it, and I was using the reel to twitch it. I wasn't even doing it with like my wrist.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, like something should fucking smack this thing. And this happened to be one of like the best like videos on Unks. It freaking blew up. But I cast into this pool. We were seeing some like 2-pounders schooled up, and sure enough, they wanted nothing to do it. And in the video, I'm like, yo, like these things are gonna eat this.
And
eat it. Like, I'm trying to force feed them. And I cast it back in there, and sure enough, twitch, and we just see like Moby Dick, like fucking whale just came up and just swallowed it, dude. And like it was
like a 7-pounder.
It was like a 7-pounder.
No, I remember in the video, I'm watching this bait go by these 2-pounders, like, and I'm looking at it like I say, like, dude, that looks right. And meanwhile, the 2-pounders are looking at it like, you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Are you really going to throw that in there? You know
Like they didn't even move.
And then, like, in the midst of these 2-pounders, it's clear as day, this freaking 7-8-pounder just comes up from beneath them and just fucking destroys it.
That's crazy.
8-pound test, too. Light line.
8-pound test, too.
That's what's
yeah,
up.
it was
Epic.
lit.
Yeah, for sure.
Lit.
Yeah.
That was rewarding.
Life changer.
Awesome.
Dave Brodzik.
I'll go last. Let Brian go.
Okay, Brian Carpenter, top fishing moment with 22.
He had all this time.
I know. He had all this time.
I was enjoying everybody's stories. I mean, it's got to be fishing in Venice.
Yeah.
It's just disgusting.
Disgusting.
Yeah. I don't know. Do I need to go on about it?
No, but it's disgusting.
Yeah.
Give us a quick.
Dave's better.
Yeah, tell us about
storyteller.
that.
Yeah.
That
Dave, tell my
chatterbait.
story.
Yeah.
Could you? This is a good opportunity to talk about your freight bill that you received for your.
Oh
first
no, I
fish.
didn't receive it. Tom did. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So we actually
What?
kept some fish. So we
Okay.
kept
Shipped them
we
back?
kept trout, and we kept some redfish,
Yeah.
a few slot reds, and we had this plan. We were going to ship all this fish back, right? Because and how many times do you get to go somewhere and catch fish to actually keep and bring them home and eat them? So we ship this fish back.
Yeah.
So we were going to go to the place. There's a marina near we stayed, but then the guy the last day talked us into, no, on your way back to the airport, stop at this supermarket.
Yeah, which isn't very super.
Supermarket.
Just market.
They do it there, and it's real good. I know them guys.
They clean your fish.
No, we already had them filleted. They put them. They
Vacuum seal
them and put them in dry ice and ship them.
Okay.
And all right, so yeah, okay, I guess we'll do that. So we get there, and dude, we're exhausted, but we want to get this fish home. We get there, like nobody's helping us. We can't find. We're fucking wheeling it around. We're wheeling 100 pounds of fillets.
Coolers and
Not even coolers. They're just fillets laying in a shopping cart.
What?
No, well,
bags.
yeah, bagged up, frozen.
And we're wheeling it through. Finally, we get, we talk. Enough people are like, oh, you got to go back here. We go back in this room. Nobody's helping us. All of a sudden, this fucking dude that looks like he's, well, how would you describe him, Bri?
Heroin.
Heroin guy.
I think heroin. I would describe.
I would
him
say
as.
it's heroin.
Or
Drug of
something.
choice.
It's like, I'll help you. The guy that's normally doing it
is out sick.
He's got the Narcan needle hanging out of his trap.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So the whole time we were like, we kind of knew right there. Like I looked at Brian, looked at me, I'm like, we're
fucked.
but we're there, and it came recommended. So he
we're gonna
takes
try.
our information down on a notebook, like our addresses, and
There's no way I'm eating that fish.
Yeah, and then so we try to explain it like, okay, here's how we want it shipped. We want half of it shipped to this address. We want the other two split in half and shipped to these two addresses. So simple mathematics here, right? He's looking like couldn't understand the amount we want shipped to where.
It's just yeah.
So anyway, make a long story short, we leave.
The fix was in.
We leave, and just days go by, and days turn into weeks, and weeks turn into more. No fish.
Oh, it's gone.
No fish, dude. Finally, but we keep harassing the guy that recommended this place.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So then, finally, out of the blue, all of a sudden, fish shows up.
At Tom's. First Tom gets a package.
Tom gets a package. Weeks later.
Weeks later.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Tom
no.
gets a package.
Dude, that's crazy.
But he gets like a very minute amount of fish. Like, that's weird. Well, maybe we'll all get.
Yeah, they had like 3 bags or something.
Yeah, and then a couple, 3-4 days later, I get my fish.
Same amount.
Like a small, little amount. Like, damn, well, maybe Brian and John will get the big amount, Brian never got his.
Well, it's because I never gave my address. It was coming to your house.
And then John gets it, but the dry ice is gone. It's not frozen.
It's
room
temperature.
It's called water.
So then Tom gets a bill.
Wait, another week later.
A week later, Tom gets a bill for $500 for all the shipping, and he pays it outright. And I'm like,
What?
why would you do that?
Yeah.
But we got some fish.
Did anybody ever eat
But
that
hold on.
fish, man?
Yeah,
I
Mike.
did.
How was it?
Really good.
Yeah, well, I didn't get any.
Phenomenal. I ate the trout. It was
I'd
phenomenal.
be scared to death.
You
Phenomenal.
smell it. Fish
good.
fish don't lie to you when it's bad.
Yeah.
True.
You know?
I think it sat in a freezer somewhere.
It's at
and
the
they,
freezer.
they forgot. They forgot about us.
Well,
I think
on top of it,
I think
it was
you were
over.
eating carp.
It was over Thanksgiving
From somebody's pond.
holiday. So
It was.
the
It
dude
was.
finally came back from vacation that was supposed to ship it, and then he held off shipping it because of Thanksgiving, and it would get delayed, and this, that, and the third, and I never got any fish. But
All right. So that's your story?
who?
BTC?
Yeah, that was his.
Yeah, my story was not getting fish.
Not
Top
getting-
Oh, wait, it was-
top fishing moment of the year.
Not getting his fish.
Not getting.
Yeah. All right, Dave, give it to us. What do you
Yeah, no, so mine this year involves my personal best.
Oh,
Fishing?
Yes.
What?
You fished?
let's go.
So listen. I was in the town of Limgreen on Lake Larnia.
What?
And it's where I slayed the
Motherfucker.
dragon Agil and got the Dragon Heart incantation spell for Elden Ring on Lake Larnia.
Are you speaking English?
I'm talking Elden Ring.
Is that a video game?
Oh yeah.
Paul, do you know what it is?
It's the best video game on earth, dude.
Oh, that's where you caught your PB?
That's my PB. I slayed a dragon, dude.
I had like this small window yesterday in my entire day to try to talk to Dave about like tonight's show, and I couldn't break through, dude. He was on a quest.
Oh,
He
yeah.
had to find this.
Dude, she got slayed, so I actually found her dad in the Castle of Morn. And by the time I got back to her to give the dad's message, someone fucking killed her, dude.
Well, you know what?
She was in a puddle of
While
blood.
I was worried about your bullshit,
So who done it?
I fucking
don't know. I gotta figure it out.
Should we be worried about Dave?
Yeah. So while I'm trying to get through to him, talk to him, I drive home on my 22nd anniversary and drove right past, flowers and showed up in my driveway. And I was like, fuck. Anyhow, it wasn't good.
It was.
It was not ideal.
Damn
That's
it.
it. That's my story.
That's a good story. Oh, well, there were some good moments. Pete.
Ended that off with a bang for sure.
Yeah.
Did you catch a fish this
fire.
year?
A couple.
Come on, dude.
I did.
Come on.
I did catch a couple. Is that what you're doubting?
Nah, it's just like I feel like you got
The fact that it's just a couple.
You got to fight off the evil. I need you back fishing.
No, that's not evil.
Yeah, no. The forces of evil.
Paul,
you're
you
not
100% caught way more fish than Dave this year.
Oh, he did.
100%. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
No, I don't doubt it either.
amazing.
It's not even a matter of contention. What are you even looking back at me cocky for?
Am I?
Go ahead, Paul.
All right. Yeah, because I'm going to unleash.
Am I not allowed to look at you, Dave?
You are, because we're not within 500 feet of a school zone. So.
Wow.
Oh, we got to go to commercial break.
Wow. It never stops with this guy. It never stops.
Poor guy.
Honestly.
Paul, you got to cut him a break. He's living in a video game.
Elden World.
Elden World.
Elden
All right,
Ring.
Brian, let's take a
Whatever.
break. Brian, let's take another pee break.
Yeah.
We're gonna come back in the third segment. We got some more cool stuff coming up. Maybe
We're gonna give
guest. Right?
Yes.
We might have a mystery
Oh,
guest.
can I? Someone had made a
what do you
great
got?
idea for us for maybe in the future to have like an Ike Live Fantasy Island. Like I guess maybe like
Fuck island?
What would your fantasy island be? You know what I mean? I
That's
don't
a
know how
good
long that would take, but everyone would have to come up with an idea.
like
Fishing
that.
related,
I would be
right?
like- I would be
Fishing
like-
related
Why is it
fantasy
gotta be
island.
fish related? It's my fantasy.
It's my no fishing. Your fantasy.
Carry on.
Okay. We're gonna take a little break. When we come back, we got some special stuff coming up, and we're gonna be doing an unboxing. MTB unboxing. We might actually do 2. We got a lot of people on the set tonight, so we might do 2 unboxings. And also, Dave. Yeah. What do you got?
We got Dave After Dark. Come on,
Dave
Mike.
After Dark.
I'm shutting off all the microphones because you're wrapping up. Now you're throwing it around the room.
Okay, throw it around the room. All right, hang in there. When we come back, more Ike Life.
Remember back in the day, Pete would have then took that.
You know, right now where we're standing, we're in Camden, New Jersey.
Yeah.
Philadelphia is right there. This is the concrete jungle. And, you know, a lot of those kids, as they grow up, they don't fish. It's interesting because they're surrounded by water. You know, the Delaware River, the Schuylkill, ponds, city park lakes. But they don't have the influence to cast, to fish, to have a rod and reel. And that became our focus, you know, is to target kids in what we call non-traditional areas, you know, urban areas, city centers, where the population's high, and let these kids have an experience. You know, it's amazing. I mean, some of the experiences we've had, whether it's Central Park in New York City, here in Camden, other parts of the country, even just casting.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable to see it, isn't it?
Yes.
It's unbelievable.
Yes.
And you know, you see these kids have this experience they've never had, and they light up, you know? The big thing, I think, for the Ike Foundation is we're not saying we want all these kids to become professional anglers.
No.
It'd be great if some of them did, but we want them to have that fishing experience because it ties them to so many other positive things. The outdoors, nature, conservation. Ecology, you know, all these amazing things in life that maybe they wouldn't have been exposed to any other way. We're trying to help with that. So it's important. It's important for us.
Yeah.
We're proud of it.
Four and a half inch drop shot worm, Bama bug. Finesse jig, PB&J, give me something hard. Hey, KVD here. Now, I didn't always know this much about fishing. It's a 4-aught EWG worm hook. In fact, there was a time when I couldn't tell the difference between a jerkbait and a stickbait. But then I signed up for Mystery Tackle Box, the original monthly tackle subscription. And now I know more about fishing than I do about calculus.
And he knows a lot about calculus.
Plus, I get amazing extras like free fishing magazines. October 2016. Featured article, 4 places to throw a frog. Exclusive decals. Zombie bass. And how-to videos for all the great baits I receive. How to tune a crankbait. Is that underwater footage I smell?
I got goosebumps.
So if you're looking to develop enhanced fishing abilities like me, or you just like getting new tackle every month, go to mysterytacklebox.com and get your box today. Ooh, live minnows. Is it lunchtime already? Nature's candy. Oh.
At Founders Brewing, we asked ourselves, what if we brewed a beer perfect for any occasion? A beer that makes a weekday feel more like the weekend. And the weekend feel more like an adventure. What if we brewed a beer that brought us together and allowed us to be ourselves? A beer that is just as much of a companion as it is a reward at the end of the journey. What if we explored the unknown together and found a new way? What if we celebrated taste and flavor and life's simple pleasures? And what if we brewed a beer that could go where you go without slowing you down? What if? Founders All Day IPA. Low ABV and full flavor that goes where you go. Chase your what if.
All right, Brian. Torquedo today. We've got the Ike Live Tiny Boat out. I want to tell you, this is not just for electric-only reservoirs. It's for other things as well. Today is a great example. Where are we? What are we going to take this thing through today?
The Upper Susquehanna.
Upper Susquehanna River.
That's right.
Current, rock,
Lots of
nasty
it.
bottom,
Yep.
and we're going to use Torquedo.
Everybody else running jet drives. We've got the rock guard on the Torquedo. We're going to some small spots. We're
Yep.
gonna get in there. We're going to make it happen.
There you go.
Let's go.
Shallow water, speed, strength, power. Come on. Let's go.
Consistency.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to a brand new Ike Live. I hope you're having a wonderful Saturday. I know we are. We got the Uncle Larry guys in the house tonight.
It's not brand new. We're 2 hours old, dude.
Yeah. Man, we're having a lot of fun tonight, dude.
It's really fun.
This is a good show.
Yeah.
I knew this was going to happen.
Bunch of like-minded people.
Like-minded people. It's good. It's good.
Of all ages.
Of all ages. That's true.
Pete and Eric are like twins separated at birth. Look at them.
Yeah.
What?
20,
hold on.
30. How old are you?
26 now.
26.
Yeah.
30 years apart. Damn. Damn,
Well,
I'm
what,
old.
what would you do with this hair, Pete? Would you hit the town immediately?
Man, I don't know.
I'd probably walk on water
He'd be
with that hair.
confused.
Well,
He'd just be walking around like
he would probably get
dumbfounded.
he would probably get a divorce, turn it into a ponytail, and buy a Corvette.
Wow.
But an old Corvette. not a new Corvette.
I'd like to see Ponytail Pete in a Corvette.
Oh,
Would you not?
I would, with the top down, convertible.
I've never had hair even close. You have, right?
I've had long hair in my early 20s.
When were you rocking the long hair?
Oh, dude, when I was at Rowan.
Early 90s.
Oh, like this?
Yeah, just as long, dude. I have
Oh,
one.
I got a picture of Mike. I got a picture of Mike with a blonde highlight. Like
Oh,
a,
yeah.
like a bleach blonde.
You were putting
highlight.
highlights. Oh, definitely.
No, that was
Oh,
popular.
yeah.
That was
I was
Soundgarden
rocking
was
all that
popular.
shit.
Chris
Dude,
Cornell. Yeah, that was.
I had the long hair when I won my boat, so it had to be like 90, like 94, 95. I had long hair. Because I remember like driving that boat, and that only had a 150 on it. Had Johnson 150 fast strike, 18-footer, but it still went like 60. Like right, it was like
Small boat.
Yeah, high 50, 60 mile an hour boat.
Yep.
That's crazy.
But you'd be going 60 in this boat, and the hair would just be
flowing.
It's just natural, nice wave in the
Yeah.
back. It was great, dude. I loved it.
What do you think? Let it keep going or cut it?
Let
I'm,
it go.
I'm at a crossroads right now. I'm not going to lie to you.
I'll let it go for a little bit more.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
my son had hair like that, and it was so cool because he was getting all kinds of attention, and everybody recognized him. It was like his flag, and then one dude called him a girl. Hair was gone.
Wow.
The hair was gone. 2
Influence.
seconds. Yep.
So you can't. See, I used to wear pink shirts. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to cross that bridge early on. Like, I'm more of a man because I'm wearing this pink shirt.
Damn
motherfucker.
right. Go for it,
You know what
man.
I'm saying?
Let me remind everybody, if you're watching, we want to hear from you. We got a brand new IM expert handling the IMs for us. Johnny the Intern.
Yeah.
Doing IMs for us.
Is that his nickname?
Yeah,
Johnny the Intern.
Doing IMs for us. Yes. Taking Eric's job.
Undoubtedly will do a better job.
Probably, yeah. Also, I want to remind everybody real quick, because I had this in my notes. I forgot to talk about it. The Ike-approved AFCO clothing, the fall launch is out. Go to AFCO.com and just put in Ike in the search bar, and you can find all the new Ike apparel. Get that out of the way. Okay. All right. So
Johnny the Intern's this dude deserves a way cooler name than that.
How about
Johnny? Actually, like, we still got like a prize to give away tonight.
We do.
Yeah, like 20 months of MTV.
20 months.
20 months.
I think we need to really find a proper name for Johnny. Now, Johnny's got a few.
Okay.
Wolfman Moonlight, right?
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
Which
I
is
like that. That's more
badass.
my alter ego, though, than a nickname. So that's like a whole separate personality thing.
All right.
Yeah.
So we want to do a contest for the best name will win this 20 months?
Something.
Okay.
I mean, he was a baseball player, knuckles, screwball, curveball. Like, I don't know. They go with the baseball.
Kurt
route.
Russell.
Snake.
Russell.
Snake Plissken.
Snape.
Yeah.
No.
What movie was that?
That was Escape from New York, because we were talking about Escape from New York.
Oh, that's really clever.
That
I
was
mean,
Snake Plissken.
Wow. All right, cool. I like that.
Yeah,
You might win.
it happened like an hour and a half ago.
Yeah. And then Dave, real quick, we did have a comment come through the YouTube when we were talking about best fishing moments of 2022. This came from Jason Bryant. He said his best moment this year was coming back from deployment, getting to get back in his bass cat and go fishing again.
Right.
Yeah.
So shout out
Right
to
on.
Jason. Thank you for your service.
Awesome.
That's a good one right there.
Sorry, Jason. I meant to
Yeah.
mention you after my story.
That's a good one.
There's something about that wind in your hair. Brazic, do you miss it?
What, the wind in the hair?
Yeah. When you're behind the steering wheel of your boat.
Yeah.
Regardless of catching them.
Yeah. I do.
There's something about, like, you know.
The freedom of it.
Yeah. The stress of the week, just the old lady on your back, you know what I mean?
But, you know, I also miss when I used to ride my BMX bike on ramps. And I don't do that no more.
Smell
Well,
chaser.
you can't do that no more. But you can drive a bass boat.
You would, what would you break?
What?
First bone you would break if you tried doing the BMX stuff?
Probably
Knee?
like my 50-year-old ankles would somehow something that you don't break when you're young and relevant. Like, no, you don't break like
And relevant
you don't
ankle.
break your ankle riding a bike.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I guess unless you're Biden and you
I
fall
just-
off the thing sitting still. That was ridiculous. That was how like so like you have Putin in Russia wearing like a judo gi. Right, flipping dudes in judo, holding pike with his
See it
shirt
happen?
off,
Yeah,
and our
yeah,
guy's
it
sitting
happens.
there with his feet in pedals, just like toppling over sideways, like you ever see like when you scare a goat
Eric,
and the goat.
remember I
just
told you
falls?
how, like, you won't even see it coming?
We're definitely in the third segment.
Dave just did it. We were
You
talking
ever-
about him,
Dave After
Papa
Dark?
Wheelies on a BMX, and we just went into Dave After Dark.
Yeah.
It took us
Dave
there.
After Dark.
That quick.
It's,
I'm sorry to call you out on that, Braz, but you've gotten us there before, and I'm like, fuck, how'd he do it? So I wanted to catch you this time.
The conversion. Like you set up the ghost camera, you know. You got me.
It's like, yeah, Dave, Papa Wheelie. Yeah, it's a Putin.
I love it.
It's so dangerous having Kai and Dave in the same room.
Oh, no. Time bomb.
Yeah.
What interests you, Kai?
Say it again.
What interests you?
What interests me?
Yeah.
Oh man, just freedom of the American people from the tyranny of government. That's all I'm worried about these days. Dave. Just trying to unite all of us. You know what I mean?
Right.
They don't want us in this
Right.
room together talking like this.
So from I'm curious what the perspective of someone in their early 20s, like what do you see as being tyrannical? What define tyranny?
Man, not being able to walk into certain places without certain things being done to my body, wearing certain things on my face, you know what I mean? Just stuff like that. Even at this young age, it's like, damn, that don't seem right. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to do this to my body. I can't go here or do this.
You talking about wearing a mask?
Mask, the other more intrusive thing that we ain't gonna say it, but you know what I'm
I
talking
mean,
about.
I don't think
You know what I'm
YouTube
talking
bans you for that anymore, but
Yeah.
he's talking about the jab.
The
He's talking about
jab?
the mandate. Oh my God, Pete.
Dude, you're not speaking English again.
He's talking about the mandatory jab people had to take in order to keep
The
their jobs.
vaccine?
It's not a vaccine because it doesn't prevent
All right,
anything.
that's your opinion. But that's what you're.
The
I'm
CDC
asking
said
you a
so.
question.
That's not my opinion.
I'm asking
the
you a
CDC
question.
will tell you that it doesn't prevent.
Here it goes,
It
Brian.
doesn't
New
prevent
York-
you from getting it or spreading
Do you,
it.
do
New
you know
York
what a
City.
vaccine is?
New York
Do you
City
even
got
know
to
what it
pay a
is?
lot of money.
When was the last time someone got polio?
That's all I'm saying.
Because the polio vaccine actually prevents you from getting polio. Unless you decide to wear it as a cologne, then you're walking polio.
all I'm saying is
I used to wear polo.
Just go back to school.
Early
Go back to
since.
school.
Yeah,
Go back to
New York City paying out a lot of money right now to a lot of folks. That's all I'm
Oh,
saying.
yeah, that's real too.
Listen,
Oh,
That's
man.
real too.
that's it.
But yeah,
But
man.
we live in Florida, so it don't matter.
You do live in Florida. Do live in Florida. All right. Speaking of Florida, let's change the subject. That's going to be for after when we close the camera off.
For sure. Let's definitely move on.
Brian's like, yes, move along. I did want to talk. We talked a lot about 2022, but I want to talk to you guys about 2023 because it's a new year coming up, right? And I can look ahead and forecast for me, right? Look, I'm looking ahead and I'm saying, all right, I got the elites. I want to fish some more kayak tournaments. I have aspirations and goals for what I want to do in 2022 or 2023. I want to know from you guys because you guys have this set going on now, and it seems like as a guy watching it, I want to see bigger and better from you guys.
Can I spin this? Can I spin this a little bit?
Of course you can.
So, with all of the knowledge that you, and this goes for all of you guys in the room, Dave, Pete, Brian, Paul, you see what we have going on at this point in the game.
Yeah.
If you take all of that into account, what would you do if you were in Uncle Larry Outdoors position at this point? Like, where would you take it? Where's the next
what a
evolution?
great
Because I
question.
know that I potentially have my ideas,
Man.
but I would like to hear from someone
Yeah.
that I consider, you've
Well,
navigated these waters.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I would want to keep doing what you guys are already doing, which are new explorations. But I would want to, my big thing's that bucket list, and I always talk about that. Like, you guys are in a place where you could check that motherfucking bucket list off easily.
Yeah.
Living in South Jersey, it's hard to get a bucket list fish, right? But dude, you guys have them swimming all over the place, and like, if I was there, like I would really try to get those check marks.
And I think you hit it right on the head because we've talked about this before. It's like, we've LLC at this point. We're trying to do different things in the content world. We're trying to do different things in the merch world. But at the end of the day, what's our main goal is to just become the best fisherman that we can be. And check these bucket list fish off and make these things happen for ourselves. So I think there really couldn't be a better answer because at the end of the day, that's always going to be the main goal of what we're trying to do.
It should be. Yeah, and you guys haven't even scraped the surface of what's there, right?
No, that's
no
the
way.
Thing. No, not even close. It's funny because like we're fishing this one spot, right, where we think that like, oh my God, we found Mecca of fishing in Florida, and then you stand up in your kayak and you see that there's miles and miles of backwaters that you haven't even explored yet, and you're like, wait a minute, if this lives in there, what lives in there, and then what lives beyond that, and then what, and it really never ends. Just as you say in fishing, you never stop learning. In Florida, you're never going to stop finding crazier spots with crazier fish, and you just got to go a little bit deeper to get there. So I would say that's the ultimate goal, always.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Now, I do want to talk to you guys about this and be serious, too.
Yeah.
I want to get back to some of the things you're going to be doing, and I'm being honest, Eric, you've always there's this fine line that you guys have had where, I'm trying to think of the right way to say this. You're true to yourself and you're doing it for your own reasons, but there's that fine line where you guys have these opportunities in front of you that you could take or maybe not take, which are business opportunities.
Right. Yep,
How
I
are
know
you
where you're
guys
going
going
with
to
this.
deal with that moving forward? Because that's tricky, right?
Absolutely.
We bust your balls all the time and say, the man. You never want to work for the man. We're just busting your balls. But there is some reality to that, right? How are you guys going to handle that?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing like we're trying to do is, first of all, I think we kind of had this conversation where we all came down to Florida together and we were all living under like one house with like one bill and everything like that. It's like, all right, we have to first So people want to do business with us. They can come to us for the filming stuff that Eric does so well. Kai's so great on camera, awesome fisherman, and really good with the marketing, the social media perspective. I've done like sales professionally, so hopefully we could start figuring out a way to take these skills, make them a little bit more business-like. So we haven't really crossed into how we're going to take this any further and make some money, but like that's sort of where our head is at now, because like you said, there is a reality to that, and we watch guys like Jeremy Wade growing up. That's the dream. That's the absolute dream, but that guy worked 40 different jobs, speaking 8 different languages till he was 55 years old before a network picked him up. And here we are with this unbelievable opportunity to reach out to people all over the globe at 26 years old. Like, he didn't have that. You didn't have that coming up. And like, look at this position we're in. We're so blessed to be in this time to be able to do that. We have this skill set. So we are definitely trying to utilize that in a more like positive way. And I think, like you said, we've always been true to ourselves. We've been very outspoken about that. I think some of the waters and the tides of like some of the things that we really cared about are hopefully starting to kind of settle down, and we could all sort of collectively like move past some of that stuff and just kind of get back to focusing on what really got us here, which is like that collective bond and love for fishing. And I think ultimately that's our most powerful message. And if we can get back to getting that out to everyone, we know that the people, they're going to come to us if we work really hard on our own and we can support ourselves and we don't need anyone for money. We don't need anyone. We'll get the right deals. We'll get the right people and partners. And like just being here, getting to talk to guys like you, like we're already in such an awesome spot.
It's awesome. Good attitude. It's a good attitude.
Yeah,
man. It's
man.
good philosophy.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
I like that philosophy.
Honestly.
But as the brains of the operation, have you also figured out yet?
Wait a minute.
What are you going to do when one of you decide to go get engaged and screw everything up?
I mean, it's all like
that's a real question.
We actually like. I think the last couple of weeks we had some real talks about this, and like
everybody, all three got to agree on it.
Yeah. So like when
all three of you proposed to the.
You got to have a majority.
Yeah, like
vote.
But like whoever the real one is first, and the next two are behind him with like their hand on his shoulder, like in Pandora, like in, you know what I mean? Like when he was getting brought into the Navi, you know, they all their hands on. What were you talking about?
Yeah, well, I think when we LLC, like one of the first things they make you do, like, is actually like figure out like equity dispersion and like actually think about things like this. So I think one thing we were trying to get better at is like, okay, if we're gonna take this to the next step and we're gonna start involving money, we're gonna start involving deals. Like, how can we make sure that we can separate like the years of personal relationship we have from like this business side of things and like have these conversations with no like emotional attachment? It's like let's just establish, okay, this is when we're talking about Uncle Aries as a business. This is when we're talking as Eric, Kai, and Johnny. And like when we like draw those lines, it just helps so much. It's like, dude, I'm not going to take offense if you're saying what I'm saying is unfair or not. Like, that's what we're trying to work out right now through this conversation. And like, hopefully we just get better and better at just like turning on and off all that on that business switch or not. And the better we get at that, and we could focus on the business moves, like we want to make this dream a reality and be able to do this full time. That's the goal. And I think we rushed into that a little bit 2020. We're all just going so hard trying to make Uncle Aries full time, and none of us have any idea what we're doing. So now it's like, all right, let's take that step back. Let's learn how to take care of ourselves first. And once we do that, let's take it back into this world, and like what will come to us as we earn it. We cut off the words "I wish" from our vocabulary, and I think that's like a really key element here. Like if we wish for something enough, then it's gonna happen because we're gonna work hard for it. If it doesn't happen, you didn't really want it bad enough. So just like that kind of little mentality, and like I just trust these guys as men. Like as long as we keep progressing on this road, like I'm confident it'll get where it needs to be, however long that takes.
That's awesome.
Who's closest to marrying Yoko right now?
Yoko?
I ain't messing with none of these hoes.
Oh, that's a deep question.
I was.
Who's closest?
I was, and then I wasn't. You know what I'm saying?
The
You
Yoko
were?
Beatles reference?
Yeah, well, Yoko like
Shit.
split up the Beatles, right? That was the reference there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Lennon.
Anybody close?
Yeah, pussy ain't splitting up Uncle Larry. I'm gonna just say that off the rip.
Until it happens.
Till it happens.
But at that point,
but
Uncle
until
Larry
that day-
Outdoors is crushing it. So like,
That's fucking right.
Oh man.
It's interesting
it's
to
coming.
think about it, though. It can become. But she could become a part of Uncle Larry Outdoors. Like,
No.
what if she fishes?
I mean, like, we don't want that.
No, we don't want that. Listen,
That's a slippery
You don't want
slope.
it? None of the fishing girls?
I thought I did.
It's a slippery slope right
No.
there.
That's right. That's right. I know. You have some
Yeah, but
friends.
you can't judge the next one based off the last one.
Fair enough. There needs to be a
That ain't fair.
There needs to be a separation of church and state, in my opinion. Because
I
I have
get that,
learned this
but if
over
she's
the
a
years.
savage, she's a savage.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's like you really like if I, you know,
You don't know what's coming.
If you fishing with her, you ain't fishing with no one else.
How's she going to make you a sandwich if she's out there fishing?
Yeah. Well, let's throw.
There's that.
Well, let me throw it to Pete. For
Make
this
Daddy
one.
a sandwich.
Pete, I want to throw it to you. If Shelly was hardcore fish head, do you think your relationship would be different all these years? You'd have a different.
Yeah. Well,
in a better way or a worse way?
I don't know. I never met a girl that liked to fish. I never did. You know?
That's what I'm saying.
For me, it was always separate, and it was important. You know.
Yeah.
Like I like to separate that, and that was my thing.
Right.
That wasn't
and I
even a
like to
thing.
keep it that way.
Yeah.
You know.
It wasn't even a thing. Like when we were in high school, there were no girls that fished.
There wasn't guys who fished.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let alone.
It's cool all of a sudden, you know.
It's a new waters that we
I mean that's a weird because you bring it up like there's girls out there that do fish and you're like, oh man, wouldn't that be cool if I could be with somebody that loved to fish, and you like got to be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, because there's a lot of dudes in them DMs.
Well, that's a
There's
whole.
a lot of, there's a lot of heat.
That's a whole. No, see, really, this is you touched on something though. It's like, can you find one that's off the radar? That's where the real issues lie these days. You know, because it's like basically if someone follows you on Instagram, it's like they have your number. It's like they have instant access to just get right in there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You could be secure with that or not, but at the end of the day, it's like definitely an aspect of it.
Right.
So are you dating strictly out of your DMs, or how's that working these days?
Yeah, the IM board was lit up with wanting to hear poon stories from Florida. Dude.
I think we're all really big on no apps, though. Like that's a huge rule.
Like,
What's that
no
mean?
apps.
No apps. You can't use no apps. bro.
Appetizers.
No dating apps?
No, that's for the vile and
He's
profane.
lying. He's lying. He's had like
The
4
vile-
Tinder Jones come through
Well,
over him.
well,
He's
I mean,
lying.
like when you're there for like 2-3 years, like you slip up it's like an addict, you know. But like, dude, that's it's for the vile and
Like an
profane. The
addict.
apps, you can't.
Yeah, you
I
know,
believe
it was
in love
late,
at first
you were
sight.
drunk.
Like you need to be. That needs to be a visual, eye-to-eye contact, and like, boom. I don't even know how I started talking to you. If it's not like that, I don't want it anymore. I need a life.
Hey, young kings, listen up. God puts the
Young
right ones in
kings.
front of you. It's all about if you're able to handle it at the time or not. You might not be. You might miss out on an opportunity, but you got to learn from that, young kings. Listen to me.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen again. You just got to be ready for it.
But let me tell you,
Make sure you're ready.
That is what Johnny was saying, though, is an old school philosophy because, I mean, I've got 2 older daughters. Like, meeting people now through apps is a big thing.
Yeah.
Like, but I agree. I don't think anything replaces physical interaction.
No.
You know,
the
meeting somebody
apps
in
are
person,
it's
you know?
playing God, man. I don't
Yeah.
like that. That
Yeah.
shit's weird. It's
Yeah.
like you could apply that to any aspect of
Kai?
social media and phones, but
How about forward fucking facing sonar? Is that playing God?
We don't like it either.
I
Gross.
could sit here and talk about that for 30 minutes.
We're going to talk. We're going to
Bullshit in the
relate
fishing
dating
industry.
apps to forward-facing.
It's
sonar.
the same thing, though. We
It's
don't
the
like
same
it.
thing.
I want to know because listen up. When I was coming up,
That's so funny.
when I was coming up fishing, and my dad's we were in a 2-man canoe, me and my dad.
It's not fishing, you're hunting.
I will never forget. Like, this is for real though. The number one thing that intrigued me about fishing always was looking out over that reservoir
The
with
unknown.
a 2-man kayak with no electronics, with no fucking
Yeah.
electric motor,
Yeah.
not knowing how deep it is,
Yeah.
not knowing if there's a smallmouth on that branch,
Yeah.
not knowing anything,
That's
and
gone
then
now.
and then
Gone.
extracting
Yeah.
that myself just based upon my knowledge that okay, if I throw this there, this should get this mythical fish that I don't even know if it's there
Yeah,
or
and
not.
your
to come out.
your feel, the
That's,
bait.
to me, that's just as irreplaceable as finding a spot on your own, man.
Ponce
It's
de
just- you
Leon tried
can't.
to find the fountain of youth in a boat in like the 1500s and fought off savages, and we need sonar to catch a fish. Like, that's just ridiculous.
He
to
died.
me,
He
man.
died in the jungles
Yeah.
of Florida.
Like, can we be men for once? Like, please. Like, Oh my gosh!
But by all accounts, he was unsuccessful.
That's true. But he's a legend. They remember his name.
That's why they remember him.
Not according to the X-Files. They did an episode on Ponce de Leon. He actually made it. He didn't age, but he had this like predator type cloaking. It was in the X-Files.
He's like Tupac.
He's still alive.
Oh my god, dude, that reminded me. It's the Boston Be a Man guys. I love their account. So that's one we'll have to send them, see if they'll do something like kick your forward-facing sonar off the front deck. Be a man.
Well, we've talked about making a tournament series, but it's no electronics, and you don't know what fish you're going to have to catch until you get. We're going to spin a wheel. So everyone who shows up to the tournament is going to be like rainbow trout,
awesome,
bass,
bluegill,
pike, bluegill.
Awesome.
Like, let's spin it and see what these guys got.
Sign me up for
Would
that
you
one.
enter? Would you
I'm in. I want.
There we go. I mean, big spot.
Don't host those tournaments in South
could
Jersey
also
because you
do-
got a choice between a
Pickerel.
bass or a 12-inch pickerel.
Perch.
But
Yeah.
you
Oh.
could also, the same thing would correlate to a Tinder competition where you could lay out the groundwork of the type of desperate woman you're going to find off that site.
Or you could just go into Philly, like Old Town or something. Like
I don't know. I just think the two things merge well: forward-facing sonar and Tinder.
Oh no, it's definitely correspondence.
If you're a fan of catching fish that you can see in front of you, you'd probably like Tinder as well.
Yeah.
I agree.
How about that? Interesting.
Wisdom.
It is interesting.
Easy.
I heard out at the clubs, the girls are just looking at their phones, scanning their apps about the guys that they're trying to talk to, and they're not communicating with each other like we did back in the day. That's what
They're looking at the apps in the clubs.
In the clubs,
They're all talking to each other on the app.
All on
but
the
they're
app.
in the same building together.
That's
No, you're saying they're doing recon on the dudes. Is that what you're saying?
Like I guess they're on the apps live, and they're meeting people that they select, or they're scanning. They're maybe trying to.
Where did
maybe
you,
they
where'd
have
you-
something scheduled.
what were you watching?
Well, TikTok.
Oh, motherfucker.
No, but that's a real element of chicks these days, though. Because I think what did that one chick in the city tell you? Didn't she say like,
Oh, that was crazy.
I wouldn't
That was
even.
crazy.
I wouldn't even meet up with a guy if I
So,
didn't like scan his social profiles
Well,
first. You know.
I went to I was living in New York City, and I was a total black sheep in Manhattan. Like I just did not fit in with the people I was with there, which is cool. It is what it is. But I went to my first party where people were willing to get together after the whole COVID thing, and I meet these girls there, and I go up to them. I was genuinely curious at this point because of the changing social dynamic in the city. And I was like, listen, if I'm in Central Park, or if I'm just walking around the city, and I think you're very attractive, there's something about you, I want to get to know you better. How would you, as a woman, want me to approach you as a man, for a first interaction? Honest, in 2020, how would you want me to do that?
Pete?
What?
And
answer the question.
Let him finish.
So, but
I'm not a woman, but
the weird thing about this was
I'm sorry, I missed it.
You're not?
I thought you were throwing this out to the room.
No. So I asked them this question. I thought it was a decent hypothetical, and they unanimously said to me, well, I would never date a guy who I didn't meet over the internet because I couldn't vet him first.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? I was like,
God.
well, I'm fucked.
Well, that's true. That's true. But so many people have met this way. They say that when they actually connect and get together for the first time, they know they have so much dialogue because they're only interested in the same things. That's why they're together, and they have so much to talk about. Everybody that I've I take a lot of people fishing, and weirdly, we always get into this conversation how'd you meet your wife?
You get in this conversation.
Well, you
supposed to be talking about Senkos.
You got 8 hours. They're talking about their wife. I'm like, how'd you meet your wife?
Yeah.
Any pictures of your wife?
So often they say that they use the dating app.
Really?
I mean, I tell you.
All right, so guys that hire
80%
guides
of the-
also use a dating app.
It's
I gotcha.
80% of the time, man. It's
Well, John and G met on dating app.
That's
Our
right.
friend John and G met.
Scott,
on an app.
the guy who works for Bass U, met on a dating app.
Probably uses a guide.
James Riley met on a dating app.
Uber's everywhere.
Uber's everywhere.
And listen, I
Grubhub does.
Eric, the intern's about to meet someone on a dating app.
man, you got to get it how you live. I'm not knocking anyone on this earth that meets their significant other through a dating app.
I know.
I'm just telling you, I don't want my phone playing God for me. That's all I'm gonna say.
You're out. So how are you making it happen?
Oh, I just don't have sex. You know what I'm saying? I don't really.
It's one way to go.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I just meet them as they come, and I meet way less women that way, but I meet way more important women in my life that way.
But how do they often come? Like, how do you meet them?
Life.
Just at the grocery store and.
Life happenings. Yeah, that's it. Seriously.
At the soup kitchen.
That's how we.
Yeah, when I volunteer.
At the soup kitchen.
When I volunteer on Wednesdays.
We got a important loop in. Eric alluded to it earlier, just comparing Ike as like our idol to our to Brady. So we actually were able to get a hold of Brady himself.
No!
Hold on.
We got sound. We need sound here.
Hit it, Brady. Hit it.
No sound.
No sound.
Brian.
It's on him.
It's on him.
Yeah, trust me.
Hey.
Dial him up on the phone. Tell him to turn his shit on.
Brady.
He got us muted. Brady got us muted.
Dude,
Oh,
Brady,
man.
unmute yourself, Brady. This is. Yep. Brady, you're on mute. Okay, now you're off mute.
Is he off mute?
Yeah, right.
Ouch.
Say it, Brady.
Let's hear it.
This is like the old days of Like Live.
I know. We need like a little piece of cardboard.
Right now, you need my
He can
dialogue.
write on the cardboard.
Here's
and hold
one-
the cardboard up to the screen.
So here's one thing I was talking to my wife about with, like, if you were just suddenly lurched back into this dating scene, right? Not being able to recognize a matching frequency is what I would find odd. You can only communicate so much when you're in front of someone. That's when you determine whether your frequencies are all on the same line.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine, like, 1 or 2 days off you get a week. You got to go and, like, suffer through something that would have been purged out almost instantly at a bar encounter.
Oh, yeah.
That was the thing about meeting someone
Yeah.
live.
Well-
You got to purge out once
Yeah.
you're like, oh, my God. Like, you know?
Mm-hmm. Well, I can't imagine how much less expensive it would be through a dating app, though, because like you're
Less expensive.
Less expensive.
Yeah.
Because like, oh my gosh, how many times you're out buying drinks or trying
Drinks,
to
dinner.
meet, or like just going out? It's like
For something
$100.
that's not going to work.
Back then it was $100. Tonight it's like $300 to get through the same night of just going out and like buying appetizer, like just being out is expensive.
3 Grey Goose and tonics and an order of mozzarella sticks. $350.
$350.
Let me tell you
Dude,
something.
to talk to a girl that's
Stop
just
it.
gonna.
If I met a girl, we went out to eat, and she had mozzarella sticks with Grey Goose vodka, I'd be like,
That's my kind of
Next.
girl.
no, I don't want
Yes, it is.
I want you faking
That's
a
the
little
one
bit.
I want.
You need to fake a little bit in the beginning. You can't just automatically
I
come
want
right out the door
mozzarella sticks and Grey
eating
Goose.
jalapeno poppers and shit. Right in
Nah, I don't want no order that nasty shit in front of me. You know what I'm saying? I don't
You like
fuck.
that?
That's how I know.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Pete, you like that?
Yeah.
Well, I'm with
They
you.
don't call him the dean for nothing. He's digging deep.
I'm just asking questions.
Brady, we got you.
Go for it.
Brady.
Yeah, Brady.
Yo, be Matt.
We need to buy
Yeah,
him.
he's talking with no sound.
Yeah,
What up,
Brady.
Yeah,
We need to
Brady.
buy him.
You
It
can't
might
hear
be
you.
us. Is it us?
Is it us? His thing's going up and down a little bit.
Uh-oh, Brian's getting that
Look,
look.
Look, he looks paranoid.
Kai and Brian, you're about to yell at.
No, I mean, I'll be honest. I haven't been here in a month. I don't know what the hell. What's best you using? You guys still on Wirecast or the other shit?
The other shit.
Other shit with 2 room shots?
No, well, we
All right.
go it out.
Anyhow, we'll talk about that.
Okay.
Okay.
What's
know
what's
what
the
the
other
freak's
one?
going on.
You want to
It's
just
not
bring Brady on
Wirecast.
the phone?
It's
StreamYard.
StreamYard.
StreamYard. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so Eric, should we tease a little bit about what might
right
go
here.
down in the next couple days? Do you want to tease that at all to some people? Should we tease a little something?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Oh.
Now that you,
We're going fishing. Leave it at
We
that.
could just be generic about it, you know?
Extracting glorious copper specimens
Yeah.
from cold northern running waters.
that sounds like a Susquehanna River trip.
Something like it's not far off.
What how about the tick hole?
Tick hole.
Wow.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Tick hole, right? That's not a thing anymore.
Tick hole.
Yeah.
0-0, none, nada.
I never heard that
0-0,
story about
done.
it.
You want to talk about me being Thanos?
Dude,
you know what I'm saying?
Dude, tick hole.
This is the original
You all right?
Thanos.
Ike burned
Brady.
that one down.
Yeah.
Well, I burned it, but then
Brady.
invasive vegetation actually burned it to the ground.
Wow.
Brady.
So
So it wasn't you.
chestnuts got in there.
Oh.
Water chestnuts got in.
That's your excuse?
Yeah. This is a real excuse. So water chestnuts got in and, got worse and worse and worse and worse till it literally was a carpet of water chestnuts.
And Russians.
And the state came and a few Russians. And the state came in and literally the only way to eradicate it is to remove the water.
Wow.
So they drained the tick hole. They had a
Would've
shock
loved
boat, so
to
they
have
took all the
seen-
fish. I don't know where the fish went.
Yeah, I
but
would love to have seen
Wow.
that shock boat.
Yeah.
I would have given anything
Oh,
to see
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
You fished the tick hole good
Yeah.
amount of times?
Got
in the
him.
past? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we got him?
Is that a baby?
Yeah, it's not like a child.
I think we got him.
Carol Ann.
Is Brady taking care of a child?
Oh, I hear something.
There he is.
Where'd you find a baby, Brady?
Wait, is that audio coming?
I don't know
We
where
can
it's
hear
going.
you. We
brother.
can hear you.
I don't know.
That sounds weird.
It sounds like he's
Yeah, it's not
Happy
coming
holidays.
through the right way.
right.
Yo, Brady, what
It's
do you
coming through,
Brady, yo, Brady, can you hear me? What do you got to say? Give us your 2 cents on Uncle Larry Outdoors and the movement.
Put
What do you
more
got
of
to
your
say about
put
it?
more of your head in the shot.
Yeah.
Woo! Brady Mac. I love you, Brady. I love you.
I love this guy.
I'm very happy to be a part of this group because I'll tell you one thing: we all do our own thing. We go out and fish, we send it, and we don't care what people think. We don't care what people say. Like we just do our own thing, and that's what Uncle Larry's is all about.
Yeah.
Brady, that's one of my oldest friends in South Jersey. You know, when I first moved down here, I really, and we talked about keeping your circle tight.
Yeah.
You know, I don't just fish with anyone, and Brady was someone that, like, right off the bat, I just could tell, like, I could bring this guy out for a full day of fishing on the tracker, and he's going to contribute positively to the experience.
Yeah.
You know, and that's hard to find, man.
Yeah.
And, see, he knows all about Ike Live. See, hey, is that the wobble?
Oh, Cabo Wabo.
But yo, I don't know, Mike. I don't know if you're a tequila guy yourself or.
I love tequila.
Okay, so one of my favorite tequilas that I've recently discovered is called Corazon. It's a reposado. It's a single barrel reposado.
Oh!
That's how you pump a sponsor right there.
Very tasty. It's good, and on a weekend like this, you know, or any day.
Yeah.
It's a nice choice.
Damn! Thank you for the tip. I'm gonna tell Becky about that, Pete. We gotta get some here at the bar.
It looks good.
It looks good. I like to have some.
We need some.
Yeah.
While these guys are down here, I'm looking forward to doing some fishing. You know, I think they all know that.
Hell yeah.
No, and Brady really is the type of dude, too, that we last time I was staying with him a couple of years ago, we were going fishing, and we had to scrape 2 feet of snow off his tracker before we went. You know, he doesn't care.
Yeah.
Like, we'll go out and whatever, and I
Yeah.
appreciate people like that.
Yeah, that's
because
badass.
that's hard to find as well, you
Yeah.
know. It doesn't matter. Like,
Hardcore.
as long as we're out there going for it,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's it. You got to be out there doing it.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, so I'm proud of you guys, man. You guys really represented what Uncle Larry's is all about, and like this is one of the better podcasts I think Mike has had. I mean, he's had a lot of good podcasts, but I think Uncle Larry's, you guys really represent what this type of generation is all about, man. Putting out those good videos, and I hope people subscribe. And you know, I'm proud of you guys, man, for real.
Hell yeah.
Brady,
We love
we love
you,
you,
Brady.
Brady.
We love you, Brady.
You're the man, Brady. It's awesome.
Sorry to cut you short, Brady, but your audio is really low. I think it's something on my end. Yeah, I don't know. was Dave or Rich. Blame somebody else.
Brian's one of the gifts he's asking for Christmas this year is the producer's handbook. Just like the Bible, the blueprint.
Producing for dummies.
Producing for dummies.
After 10 years.
Yeah, you're finally going to get your first copy.
Yeah, retain some knowledge, dumbass. You know what I mean? Fucking stupid bastard. What are you going to do, man?
Yeah. Big bass. I think Paul. I'm going to say you locally. You got the biggest bass recently.
Yeah, he's on the biggins.
Yeah.
For sure. Power Bay Paul.
Paul's the man right now. Paul's the man to beat.
He'll take it.
Paul, Mike, you're gonna.
Yeah, Paul, you're the man right now.
Mike, you're gonna know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Paul. Brady kind of seems a little bit like Prince Paul, right? Looks like him, sounds like Prince Paul.
Yeah, the old school Prince Paul from the rap.
Yeah, MC searching Prince
Paul, dude. Third base. Yeah. Chris Paul. Chris Paul. Chris Paul. Prince Paul.
That's his real name. Prince Paul.
Paul Wall,
a.k.a. Prince Paul.
Yeah.
But yeah, about the big bass, I got about 4 or 5 5-pound fish this year.
Yeah, that's good for South Jersey. They're
South
giants.
Jersey, just from the bank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, they're big ones.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. I love it.
Brady, any parting words?
Any parting words? To be honest, man, just happy holidays. Hope everyone has a good holiday and doesn't spend too much on people that really don't give a crap about them.
It's probably one of the best pieces of advice we've had all night. Yeah.
Yeah, spend wisely.
Yeah, because honestly, like, people try to act like, like this is a holiday where they're giving to people, but like, lo and behold, these people that they're giving to really just do not care.
Damn. It happens a lot. It happens a lot over the holidays.
This is getting to the point of the gang of Lethal Weapon when Mel Gibson was contemplating suicide.
Yeah.
The silly season.
It's a good time, like Thanksgiving. It's a good time of year to be around family. I'm glad that like Uncle Larry's and everyone's around, in town and stuff like that. And yeah, I just seriously want to wish everyone a happy holidays and hope everyone has a good Christmas. And a New Year's.
You too, Brady. Happy
Love you,
holidays.
Brady.
Love you, Brady.
Happy holidays.
We'll see you tomorrow, Brady.
You
Fly,
will?
Eagles, fly.
Blue Hole.
Bright and early.
Oh, Blue Hole. Blue Hole. You hear that? It's a good place to go.
Yo, check out Car Hogs too.
Card hogs.
What's next, Bri? The guy working the counter, Marino's Pizza.
I mean, yeah, if it's audio.
Marinos.
Brady, thanks, buddy.
Thanks, Brady.
Yeah, the audio was fucked. It's not on you,
was
though.
amazing.
Yeah.
That was great.
That's 50.
Is that Valdez's place?
Nah.
Oh man, dude! One time I went in there and I didn't know who Valdez was, and he asked
Oh,
if
no, that was his place.
That was, but like Brian ordered a pizza for us there, and
okay.
I go in to pick it up for him, and I didn't know who Valdez was, and like we had went fishing over at like your guys' spot around here, and he's like, oh, you go fishing today? I guess I was like muddy or something. I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh, where'd you go? Like, do you go to this spot? And I'm like, dude, I don't know what you're talking about. He's like, you went with Brian? I'm like, don't know who that is. Like, bro, tell him I'm John Valdez. He ordered this pizza. Like, I know exactly who you are. I know exactly where you went. I'm trying to keep it all secret inside.
That's amazing.
I still do, dude. Eric and I one time at our favorite spot in North Jersey, we see this fucking powder blue car driving around the edge, and this guy's calling Eric, like asking like where to like launch and park. Like, don't pick up. Let him figure it out.
You hear that, Johnny?
So mad he drove 2 hours.
He's in like
north,
like
dude.
we see him driving around with his rig by like the kids' playground and shit, like far away from the boat ramp, right? But just a little blue speck out in the distance, and like I see that he's calling me. I'm like, yo, Johnny, what should we do about this? He's like, I really think you should just probably put the phone back down and pass it. And that's probably what we did.
Yeah.
Dirty.
I love you, John. He's a good guy.
Great guy. John Valdez, great guy.
And he hasn't been back north since.
See?
Yeah.
Oh, so he goes to John Valdez. I didn't follow that part of the story. Yeah.
Maybe.
One time, Brian ordered us a pizza, and I was staying over at the place across the street, and it's like it's like 2 a.m. by the time this guy actually brings it over to us. Like we were starving. Like this guy was just trying to be solid. But like it's 2 a.m. At this point, I gave up on food. I'm like asleep. That house is so haunted too. So I'm like half awake, half asleep, just scared out of my mind. And all of a sudden, right when I'm about to fall asleep, I just hear like Metallica blasting. It's like this, like it was like one. It was like really dark Metallica song, and I hear someone come in through the back door and drop a pizza and like a $20 bill on the ground and walk out. And I was like, "What the hell just happened?" This is the scariest thing that's ever happened in my life. It was just Brian creeping around.
Possessed pizza.
I brought pizza over.
No, you know what it was? It was you told us to buy a pizza, but you would pay us back. And so we went and bought the pizza earlier in the night, and you hadn't given us the money. And like your conscience must have been like, wow, I promised these guys $20 and they need that to get home. And so you came and dropped off the cash, but it was at like 2 a.m. and you're like cranking Metallica. It was so scary. I
do not remember any of that. But it may have happened.
Dave wants to hear about the haunted house story.
Oh. Where do you want to
That's
start?
all Eric.
Other than haunted house for 3 years, thanks to this guy. Or no, it wasn't 3 years, probably 2.
Let's just start with the best case so far. What happened?
Oh man, the best case. So when I first moved into that house, I was living with 5 dudes that were all from Burlington. You remember that crew? You remember,
yeah.
You remember the Burlington crew?
Yeah.
So the Burlington crew was telling me about this entity, Janet, that lived in the house. And, Janet was a real person that actually Brian knew from the past that ended up passing away in the house. And they all told me about these encounters that they would have with her. And I'm like, all right, you guys are all smoking crack.
How'd they know her name was Janet?
That was her name. I mean, was that not her name?
Yeah, I know her.
Her name. Like, he literally, Brian
Bought the
knew
house.
that she
It's
was a
my
real
neighbor.
lady.
Oh.
She passed away in the house.
Oh,
So,
okay. I didn't know that.
And I bought her house.
So then one day, I'm sitting there. This is the first summer that I'm living there. And over the summer, all these kids would go back to Burlington because it's only like 45 minutes away. But I'm from North Jersey, and I was working at Dick's at the time down here in Deptford.
Yeah.
So I was staying at the house. I was the only one at the house. And then I'll never forget it. I was there one June night, and, I'm on the top floor, and there's a staircase leading to the top floor. And I just hear fucking clear as day someone walking up the stairs. Slow. Doom.
Brady?
All right, I'm done. Is that Brady? I didn't do anything.
What the hell is this, Jimmy Houston? Talk about a haunting. Holy hell.
Right?
The haunting of Brady Mac.
The podcast.
The spirits are among us.
The podcast is haunted.
Holy hell.
So.
No, so I didn't do
we're
anything.
gonna have them talking about
No, it was just bullshit.
Come on,
No, I'm lying.
Finish.
No, but I'm lying though.
It's bullshit. But
I ain't said nothing. No, yeah.
Come on.
Did you ever see anything? Like, did you ever see any?
I saw her walk by from the kitchen to the hallway one time.
So what?
Like
describe like the shape, the color, like what?
No, it was nothing distinct. It's like when I'm sitting on the couch here, and it's like you see it out of your peripherals.
Yeah.
So I didn't, but I literally was sitting on the couch one day, and I seen someone walk from the kitchen to down the hallway. Brian knows what I'm talking about, but out of my peripherals, like 100,000%.
Was it like white, like a white?
No, dark.
Oh, like a
Dark.
shadow.
Yeah, dark.
Ooh,
but
shadow
a
and
figure.
petite.
A figure, for sure.
Man.
But no, we had some of those Burlington kids had like seen her, like full body apparition.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But then, the story that actually resonates with me the most didn't even happen to me. So after those Burlington kids moved out, a couple of kids from another town had moved in, and we're hanging out, getting to know each other for a few weeks, and finally I break it out to them. I kind of do what the Burlington kids did with me, and I broke the story to them, like, hey, this is like there's like something going on in this house.
Yeah.
These kids are looking at me like, I don't know if we can even like talk to this guy anymore. Like they're looking at me like I'm such a crazy motherfucker. They're like, I can't even like associate with him. And then about a week later, one of the two came up to me, fucking so serious. He's like, man, we gotta have a talk. I'm like, yeah. If we sit down, and mind you, this is someone that about a week ago was as skeptical as you could be to all of this stuff.
Yeah.
And he just sits down and he's like, looks like he's about to cry. He's like, bro, so I was sitting here last night, couch just like this, with like 2 people could fit on it.
Oh,
he was
God.
like, I was sitting just like this at like 1:30 in the morning, and Mako's on the sleep over there. I'm already upstairs asleep, and he goes, I just feel someone sit down next to me, and then I look over, and there's a fucking indent on the couch, of like someone sitting
Oh,
next to
I
me.
got goosebumps.
And he was literally like, from that day on,
God.
I saw someone that like looked at me like a fucking lunatic for even bringing it up with him to being like he was a believer.
True believer.
After that, so that was actually the most profound thing that I would say happened. It wasn't even anything that happened to me, but yeah, I was in the house one night by myself. I heard someone walking up the stairs. I literally jumped out the top story window, and then I walked around the side.
Ran away from it.
Oh yeah, I jumped out of my window, and then I went around the side to see if like, okay, there's got to be like some car, and it was just my. I'll never forget turning around and seeing in the garage it was just my Jeep sitting there, and no one else was home, and I didn't stay in my house that night.
Man, that's wild.
Shit.
Yeah.
Bryce, is it still active?
The haunting.
Your ghost house?
I don't know. I don't have this that type of relationship with the.
Well,
crew.
we were opening a lot of portals at the time, so I think that probably contributed.
That's the house right next to Brian's house?
Yeah,
Across
it's
the
the one that
street.
he owns.
You were opening portals?
What do you mean by
Yeah,
that?
absolutely.
Define.
Through a Ouija board?
No. Experimentation through natural means of consuming things from the earth.
Yeah.
You know, and I do believe that is a portal to the other side in a sense. And I
Dave,
think
if
that
you want to see
contributes
some
of
real
that.
paranormal stuff, you got to come check out the UFOs by us in Tampa.
I've never seen a UFO.
Oh, man.
Dave!
It's a bi-weekly activity
I
for
hadn't
us.
seen one either,
It's
Dave, till I
absolutely
moved to
nuts.
Florida.
No.
You've seen
It's
it?
first
Not even
one.
kidding.
Is
Oh,
that
I've
true?
seen one.
Well,
like
we
every
live
other
right by
month,
the Air
bro.
Force Base. We live right by MacDill Air Force Base
Yeah.
in South Tampa. And there is some stuff, man. Like you go to St. Pete and you're just hanging out fishing all night. You look southeast and over towards the air, dude. Oh my gosh, man! Like the stuff they got going on over there is just unbelievable. It's so in your face too. Like the first couple times, like maybe it's me, and then you bring other people out there, and you're like, dude, that is just
Well,
unbelievable.
describe some of the movements you're seeing.
Well, first one I ever seen down there. This is my first UFO I've ever seen. I've been in Jersey my whole life. Never seen no shit in the sky. I couldn't explain. Like second month in Florida, we're at a fucking Shell Key. It's like 2 a.m. We're delirious out there trying to catch reds and snook. And I remember we had a bonfire set up, and I remember walking back to the bonfire facing the Gulf of Mexico, like facing the Gulf. And I remember at the corner of my eye, like down there, you can see the stars a lot better. It's not as much light pollution and whatnot. And I remember seeing this one star, like kind of like he said, out of my peripheral that was like super bright. Like could have been like a mini planet. And as soon as I focused on it, like, damn, that's a bright ass star. It was like somebody cut a string, and that thing went down into the Gulf and just disappeared.
Oh,
whoa,
dude!
Yeah. It was retarded. It was retarded, and I was screaming. And Johnny's like, yeah, that's my second one I've seen.
Yeah, I was like looking at my guy. Yeah, you see it? Like, yeah.
It got to the point where Johnny and I were watching a UFO, literally laughing like school children.
Yeah.
Like, look at that one, dude.
I've had
They
to
really-
pull people away. Like they'll be like watching one for like a minute or two. I'm like, yo, we got to go to the next spot, dude. Like, come on. Like, yeah, it's a UFO. Let's
Just
check
another
on. Like,
UFO,
I don't know
dude.
what like you want us to say.
Common sighting.
I wish we were joking.
Yeah,
I really do.
I wish
it's
we were
nuts.
too.
It's nuts.
They make me like dumb it down because they're so used to it because they've seen shit in like the skills and stuff. So it's just like
I've been waiting for
another
that my
UFO.
whole life. And
Crazy.
you guys just treat it like, rich
crazy.
kids
Yeah.
treating a $100 bill. You know?
I'm still processing.
You won't
How about-
see them playing
how about
video
the green?
games.
How about the green ball of light?
Oh yeah, I seen the Green Lantern, like the real Green Lantern out there too.
What do you mean?
Like,
All right.
like the Green Lantern, like you see that ball with like the green tail.
Yeah.
I literally seen that.
Like a comet.
Like a comet, but it
Yeah.
wasn't a comet. Like I don't know what it was. It wasn't a comet, and that bitch was fast. It was just like
Entering the atmosphere.
it came in and went out quick.
That whole area is nuts. We've seen some nuts stuff in nature too. Like we saw a shark come out of the water and eat on land, and then slither back into the water like a snake.
Chase something
yeah,
up on the beach.
It literally pinned it down like it was in WWE. Like I think it was like a School of Jacks or something. And this like 6-7 foot bull shark comes leaping out of the water onto a sandbar, pins down one of the jacks, munches it down, and then it just slithered back in the water like a snake. We're like, oh, we were just waiting over there. That's cool. Like, I should probably, yeah.
Yo, bull sharks got the highest
T levels.
testosterone level
Yeah.
in the
It's,
animal kingdom.
That's also the shark that set the movie Jaws.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bull sharks don't
Mattawan
fuck
Creek.
around.
You're right.
It's a crazy moment when you realize that the things that you actually physically exist in this world and you can go see tomorrow are crazier than any fiction they could make in any movie.
It's crazy.
And that I promise you.
Yeah.
The things that I've seen in real life are crazier than anything I could see in any sci-fi movie imaginable.
What's the craziest thing you've
Yo,
seen?
tell him about the turtle, E.
They
Tell him
got a
about the
dead
turtle.
guy as president.
Tell him about the giant turtle.
So we were
and everybody, and that we elected him. and we're still pretending that he's not dead.
Zombie.
Tell me that's not crazy.
They're gonna talk. They're gonna say this some bullshit too. But I saw what I saw. Remember that? All right? I was stone cold. I was out there with another dude that he never smoked a joint in his life. You know what I'm saying? So like this man was on point. He saw the same thing that I saw. Right? Listen. So we're out on a glacier lake in North Jersey, and we're in my tracker, and we're in the back of the lake, and we both see it clear as day. This giant fucking mass floats to the surface out of nowhere. And the initial thing that I thought in my mind was, whoa, dude, look, and I said it out loud. I was like, a tree trunk just floated to the surface.
Yeah,
like a entire trunk of a tree just floated. Look at that. It's crazy, dude. And meanwhile, John, he's in the back freaking out. He's like, dude, that's a turtle. I'm like, fuck. I'm like going forward with my trolling motor to try to get closer, and going up. I'm looking at it like, bro, what are you, dude? You ate one too many Adderalls today. And he's like, dude, that's a turtle. It's a turtle. And as I'm going towards it, this mass that's literally as big as my tracker. I mean, like, I'm not exaggerating a bit. You know that real old school picture of the Loch Ness Monster, the black and white one that they debunked as being fake, but like with the head and shit?
Yeah.
So as I'm going towards this shit with my trolling motor, I'll never forget, all of a sudden this thing fucking turns its head, like, whoosh, and then fucking sinks back beneath the surface.
Whoa.
To this day, I absolutely
So
could
you're
not tell
putting
you
this
what
mass
that was.
at 12 feet?
More. 14, 12 to 14.
Bro.
Almost as big as my tracker. And to this day, I literally could.
Look at Ike.
Can we call John Horvat?
We might need to go
No.
back there.
Dead Zoom's
We gotta go on a hunt, Ike.
We might need to go back there.
Gotta go find that thing.
I'll up you on too. It's like that lake. Me and my buddy were doing some research on that lake, and it's a lake with these glacier caverns that like they don't even know how deep they go.
Oh, for real?
Whoa.
Yeah.
Now it's starting to make sense.
The plot thickens.
We Eric and I over COVID, we went to this. We were just going around Long Island. There's nothing to do, and we found this spot where there's a trout river that runs under the highway. And if you go in at low tide, because it's tidal at this point, there used to be like 10-pound brook trout caught out of this river. So we found out about this spot where if you crawl through a tube under the highway, like a drainage pipe, it opens up into this room that's probably about the size of this studio, and it's like 10 feet deep, and there's water coming in from all of the drainage pipes all over the LIE. And apparently it's just loaded with trout. So for like a week straight, we were going in there, just low tide, hoping that it's not going to rise on us, waiting. We call it the room. And there's like there's a chair hanging from the ceiling, like a chair and the biggest spiders you've ever seen, just all over the place. It's one of the creepiest places. And we're going back there with everything, trying to catch a trout. And like, I'll let Eric take it over what he saw in there, but this place
You didn't catch any?
Dude,
No.
no, but like literally, I remember we had a light, right? Someone had a light.
Yeah,
So
we
I
had
I
a
hope
light.
so. You're not even going there dark.
May or may
I mean,
not
with
have
us,
light.
with us, you don't know. With us, you simply do not know. But we were in the room one day, and I remember, I think it was the dude we were with. He shined his light, like he turned, and his light like shined down on the room, so I could actually see with my eyes physically what was in the water in front of us. And I just saw this giant fucking silver mass, dude. Like, I have no idea how it looked like either a big striper or a big rainbow. I remember I screamed. I was like, oh!
Yeah, you screamed like it was gross, like it was scary.
Yeah, because it was. We were in literally pitch black. We're in this, like, under the highway.
Whoa.
You know, we're in this room. Johnny's feeling shit go by
Yeah.
his legs, like hitting his
There's
legs.
like eels going by you and stuff. It's nuts. Yeah. It's
So this
crazy.
is-
The
I
LIE
mean-
is wide. That's a long.
It's like
Oh.
it's like 100. It's probably like an 80 yards
Almost
crawl.
a football field.
Yeah,
Yeah.
long.
We're almost doing a full football field uphill crawl through this tube.
What do you
in
mean
pitch
crawl?
black.
Like what's the crawl?
Like straight, like you're hunched like
Army
this.
crawl?
Like
Not army, but half your body's in the water. Meanwhile, we're in leaky Dick's Waders. You know, we weren't able to exercise the free Dick's Wader program because it was COVID and all the Dicks were closed, so they weren't taking our ripped waders back. So we're out there, you know, we're leaking. It's pitch black. And we're seeing giant silver masses in front of us, man.
Whoa.
But like I said, that really just goes back to tell you that you can make up anything you want in a fantasy movie, but like the shit that's actually out there is crazier. I promise you.
That is crazy.
Next time I'm in Florida, I don't want to go to your stupid secret fishing spots. I want to go to your UFO place you're sick of going to.
Yeah, I mean the UFO place is really cool. It's like it's a nice. We take everyone there because it's like a nice hike. It's like anyone can handle it. It's like a mile along the beach. It makes you feel adventurous if you don't know what we really do, you know. So it's like you can handle it, Dave. Like I feel like you'd be fine out there. But like we get out there, dude. We chill out. We have a fire, and you just look up in the sky and like just wait for the
UFOs?
Just try not to get abducted or something.
He's not kidding too. Like they're really. I mean, if we're being honest, I think each of us have probably had over 5 encounters with things in the sky.
Wow. I would do anything for just one in my life.
All in Florida too. Like
All
I mean,
in Florida.
a few not.
That's not actually true because
Virginia.
you and me had some encounters before that.
Right. Well, there was we saw the falling star in Virginia, which was like what Kai described. That was the first time we ever saw that, where like something just caught our attention in the sky, just so bright. And you're looking at it, just get brighter, and you're for some reason like you just have to look at it. You're like, what is that? And then just drops like
somebody cut a
like a
string.
cartoon.
Literally,
it was really cartoonish.
Fell out the sky.
It was like someone was holding a ball of light in the sky and just dropped it.
It was so dramatic. I'm driving and Eric's in the passenger seat, and we screamed at the same time because like what? Like it almost looked like this is gonna hit the earth or something. We both screamed. I'm like, okay, so we both saw the same thing because there's nothing else that would give us that reaction.
The MMA fighter George St. Pierre, you can find this online. Had something in New Mexico.
He didn't scream though.
Where one was like, whoop, came right in and was just like, zoop, and they all saw. They were all a bunch of fighters on their way from one place to another.
Yeah,
it was like him, Rashad Evans, and they tell us the story, man. Wow. Told it on Rogan. Told it on Rogan's podcast like probably 10 years ago.
Now it's just fun though. Like we acknowledge it, so it's like, oh, okay, cool.
And it's like, who knows what it is, right? At the end of the day, who knows what any of this stuff we're talking about is? But it's just the notion of like, are you going to accept that things may not be entirely what they seem, or are you just going to chalk that up to, oh, you guys were just baked? You know?
Where are you at?
Probably somewhere in the middle.
Somewhere in the middle. Guess what? It's somewhere in the middle. It's great, like everything else in life.
How baked were you?
Do you remember when you had to define the word lit? And you said Eric was baking all day, so he must be lit. It's probably somewhere in that range.
Oh my gosh, I did that, didn't I?
You did do that.
Yeah, that happened. Paul, where are you at with this stuff?
Paul, where are you at with UFOs, Paul? Let's hear a good.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing one, but honestly, what I'm more interested in is Eric's story about that long, that big, huge neck or head or
man.
whatever.
I wish I could get John
Loch
Horvat
Ness
on the
monster,
phone.
man.
No. I really wish I could get him on the phone because I feel like that's the one that I tell, and even like people really look at me like, "Yo, dude, you're really on some shit, huh? Like, what are you talking about?"
Anyone who looks at you like that has never experienced something they can't explain.
We saw it, man, and I can't explain. There's nothing in my being but it was like the size of that fucking table over there.
That's
and
crazy.
It was a mass, and I thought it was a tree trunk, and then this fucking thing's head turned, and it sank back beneath the surface. And I have no reason to lie to you about that.
All you need to do is see one thing you can't explain, and everything else is possible.
Yeah.
There's something similar to that was cited many years ago in Lake Champlain. I know you've fished there before.
Yeah.
Lake Champlain monster.
The
champ monster.
You don't know, man. You don't know. We don't know. What? Listen, I'll quote the last edit I put up for Uncle Larry's was the beginning. I used a quote from Action Bronson, and he said he started off. He's like, "Man, you got to appreciate every last fucking second on this earth." Because we don't know what the fuck is going on. And at the end of the day, we don't, man.
Yeah.
We really don't. And you just got to take every moment for what it is and appreciate everything and just be grateful, man. And I learned that lesson a lot this year. I really did.
Yeah.
You know, whether it was out in Arizona or just doing things with Uncle Larry's. It's like I've
people
learned
wanted
to
to hear about you almost getting killed in Arizona. That was a very popular request when I was doing IMs.
It was.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that was a strange thing. You told me all about it. That was weird.
It's cool because at the end of the day, it taught me a very important lesson, which is, again, kind of what I was going back to. But, dude, with any of us, and I hate to say it like this, but it could be any place, anytime, for any reason. And that's why you always just have to have the same mentality of just being grateful and taking things 1 second at a time.
Maybe have some situational awareness of where you're at.
Yeah, so I'll just tell the story. I mean, I think it's important to tell because it does go back to situational awareness and just kind of following your sixth sense too, I would say. And I would credit fishing and being in the outdoors for so long for kind of having that idea of when things just might not be right.
Yeah.
So, you know, for work, one of the things I do is I film a baseball team. Shout out to the East Coast Lumberjacks, man. Dan, Ryan, you guys run an amazing organization.
Lumberjacks, yo.
I love you guys, man. And it's basically a national showcase team for seniors in high school that want to get into college.
That's neat.
And listen, and it's like it ain't just high schoolers, man. Like these kids are nasty. Like I was filming this one kid last 2 years, Josh Noth. He just turned 16 years old. He's throwing 95. So like these kids are fucking awesome, and they travel across the country. And it just so happened that this recent stop put me in Arizona. I filmed the whole week. It was awesome. This is the last day we were out there, right? So I'm out there on the curb, and mind you, we're living in a community. You know, like, so Florida has a lot of these too. There's these communities that are popping up that are a lot of seemingly nice houses, but people just rent them out for Airbnbs. So we're in one of those communities, and I'm out there the last night. It's basically our house. There's the street. There's a light across the street, and then there's a little park with no lights. So I'm sitting under the light across the street, you know, doing what I do, twisting and turning, you know, just getting my situation ready for the end of the night. And all of a sudden, out my
twisting and turning,
out of my left side peripherals, I see two dudes coming up on bikes.
Yeah.
And it was funny because bicycles.
Okay.
And it was funny because before I even really saw them, I instantly had that feeling of, I describe it as like square peg in a round hole. Like these two just doesn't fucking belong, right? And then I look up, and all of that is kind of confirmed when I see these two have masks over their faces. They're wearing, they had masks, they had baseball caps on, and they literally looked like the Columbine shooters.
Whoa.
I swear to God, that was the vibes I got. So, you know, Florida's kind of taught me this, and I'm really this anyway. It's like I'm live and let live, man. It's like you could be on your way to go fucking rob a convenience store right now. If you're not bothering me, I'm not bothering you, and that's just how I've learned to maneuver throughout this world, right? So I'm sitting there doing my thing. I'm looking up like, okay, this is just not great what these two are up to, but they don't really see me. I don't see them, whatever. So next thing I know, I look up again, and they're gone. They're out of my sight. So I'm like, okay. I've been hanging out in this park all week across the street from our house. This is where I go to decompress at the end of the night. And I go down to this spot. Mind you, it's pitch black down there. There's no lights down there. I'm only standing under the light because I need to see what I'm doing. So I go down into this park, and I have headphones on like this. I have Beats headphones on, and I'm listening to my music. I'm about a quarter way through this situation, and I just felt it before I even heard anything through my headphones, and I'm listening to music loud. I felt it, man, and I know we've all felt that situation. We've spent a lot of time out in the woods, and you can kind of feel like when you're being watched or when like just something is off. I had that same feeling come over me, and then through the right side of my headphones, I heard something, which in hindsight was these two pulling up on me on their bikes. So, and then everything I'm about to tell you happened in like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting here, I hear that, I turn to my right, and I see these two silhouettes, probably about where that door is, maybe 10, 15 feet away.
Yeah.
And in these 2 seconds, I register, it's the two dudes I saw on the bikes.
Yeah.
This is not good.
They still have the masks on.
They're about to fucking rob me for my gram of weed and $20, you know? Like, this is ridiculous. And no sooner than I could register all that, I see the shorter one of the two aiming like this, right? Like just right at me. And I'm still, like I said, 2 seconds. So I'm registering all this. And when I turned, I feel like what happened was he was still trying to get aim on me, and he wasn't quite there yet, but he saw me turn, and he knew that I saw him, so he reacted. And then when I turned, first shot goes off. Pop. Right at me, fucking flash, loud as fuck, everything. Pop. And then that next 10 seconds, man, was just pure blackout, running through this field.
You just started running.
Oh man, as I'm getting shot at, dude. And I remember that it's crazy because that whole ordeal was probably 10 seconds long. Next thing I know, I'm like in the house again. But I remember in that 10 seconds, man, I was like, I thought about everything, dude. I thought about all of your faces. I thought about everything that I would leave behind and how much it would fucking suck if it all was going to end by me just like bleeding out in this field. And, it's like, wasn't my time, man.
Yeah.
And I ended up back in the house. And
it's like Pulp Fiction.
Scary. It was crazy. The one dude, Brett, he was like one of the kids' dads, was an ex-cop from Long Island. He runs in. He's like, "What the fuck is going on?" The pitching coach runs. So mind you, the house was like 100 yards away from where it was going down. The pitching coach runs. He was in the back of the house listening to TV on loud. He runs in like, "What the fuck? I just heard fucking gunshots. What the fuck?" The cop gets on the phone. There's already houses reporting gunshots and shit.
Whoa.
And it was crazy because the cops came and they had ended up telling us that, so the cop from Long Island was like, I just don't fucking understand. Like, it seems like it's like a nice neighborhood. Like, how the fuck could something like this happen? And a cop from Arizona was explaining, well, the thing about it is a lot of these newer Airbnb situations in the contracts, they write in that about 20% of it has to be allocated for affordable housing. So he's like, about, like 2 blocks down from all these nice houses are like the projects, basically, where a lot of gang activity goes on. And, yeah, dude, it's like, what do you even say about something like that,
man.
Because I had nothing to do with those two existence in any way, shape, or form, whether it was a gang initiation thing, whether it was 2 crazy motherfuckers just trying to kill some people, which we know happens, in this day and age that we're living in. You see it every other day on the news, and I hate to say it like that, but that's really what it is, like I remember just seeing in North Carolina, a 15-year-old kid walks behind a walking trail and just is killing moms walking their dogs, like that's the shit that's happening in this world that we're in. So whatever it was, man, it just you have something like that happen to you and you realize that maybe this is not all determined by me. There really might be it could be dumb luck, or there could be some other forces at play, and it really wasn't my time. But,
wasn't your time, bro.
That's scary, man.
Yeah. But I have cheers to
Come
that.
on, man.
And a silver lining, though, and I want to end it on a positive note. I really do, because it's a positive story at the end of the day. I look down after I ran in, and this goes back to something Brian used to say about me. He's like, "Bro, you could be fucking on your last dollar, and somehow you still have a joint to smoke." and I look down, bro. Shit. Not only do I got the blunt still in my hands, I got that shit at attention, ready to smoke. And you know what the fuck I did after the cops left? I sat there and I smoked that whole thing to the face. And I was like, you know what?
It's a perfect ending to
wasn't
it.
my time, motherfuckers.
Yeah, it wasn't.
There's one more real positive on this too. I promise. Like, Eric, I don't mean to like take away from everything you said, but like there was a real positive too, like a real one that we could learn from.
Go ahead.
Oh, but it was like. Which was so Eric's explaining this story to me. I was in Sweden still when this happened to him. He's telling me the story on FaceTime the next day, and he's walking me through like not only the story that he just walked you guys through, but like the scene. Like he's walking me through like all the spots on the camera, and he goes to the spot where right when he's like, and this is where they shot at me. He like takes a seat like right where it happened, and on camera this like 7-year-old kid just comes sprinting up to Eric from out of nowhere and just like rubs his head a couple times and like smiles at him and then runs away. And we're both just like silent. I was like, dude, like that kid, like, cause like I could see it in Eric's face. Like he was like really going through it. Like this shit really happened to him. Like I could really tell. And this kid just came over, was like, it's gonna be fine, man. And then just ran away, totally disappeared. And I was like, yo, like, hey, like there's some dark stuff that comes out of nowhere, and then there's some real light stuff that comes out of nowhere. And that was like, that's the stuff I saw coming out of it, and I thought that was this like cool little thing.
Walk amongst us.
Listen,
right,
man,
they really do.
So
you can't have the light without the dark.
And you got and we know now you have really good speed.
Yeah.
I ran cross country
Obviously.
in high school.
Yes.
And track.
Dude,
They weren't catching me.
I've raced them.
Can't outrun a bullet.
Yeah.
Apparently you can.
Well,
you know?
Right. He's
Oh yeah, and don't
faster than a speeding bullet.
If anyone tells you like, yeah, man, I was zigzagging, like you don't know what
Serpentine.
You don't know what the fuck you're doing when that's going on. You have, dude, I couldn't tell you.
Zigzag pattern.
All I know was I was going that way.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. As fast as humanly possible.
and away.
What movie was that from, Pete? Serpentine.
Oh, run Serpentine, and he
They
goes
started
back
Serpentine.
and
It was
runs
Starsky and
Serpentine.
Hutch, I think, or something like that. It was with Ben Stiller.
which brings up our mystery tackle box
Yeah.
which is a great,
Open
great
that shit
segue
up.
This
to.
was a great segue.
Yeah, Brady was so compelling. You can't make fun of nobody.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying, from Eric's story to
Yeah.
great segue
to Mr. Tackle Box. You know this part, guys. We're going to do a MTB unboxing. Tonight we're going to unbox 2 boxes. Pete.
2?
Yes, we're going to do a pro box and
I'd
we're
say
gonna
we do
an elite
3. Everybody on. Just
How are we going to do this?
do 7. Everybody just on box 1. And yeah.
box.
Send me
let's
a box.
No, let's do 2.
it's
Here,
midnight.
so we'll do. Here, Paul, catch
Midnight.
us
All
one.
You better break
All
the
right.
seal.
You guys do. You 4 do that one,
Dave,
and us
you need
4 will
another
do
drink?
this one.
Breaking the seal right
We're gonna
here.
break the
This is
seal.
an important moment.
This is one of the best parts. Listen to this, guys. You know how much I like the sound of this. Listen, ready? That's right. You heard that. Look at that. There's the pop. All right, Pete. Start with you. We'll pass it down from you.
All right.
And the way this works, guys, is
first look.
pick something in that box that is compelling to you, that you look at it, you're like,
man.
oh, this is something I want to try,
Well,
something I might use.
I'm going to grab one right off the top.
Okay, there you go.
Are you ready?
Paul, grab one. Yep. Pete?
I got this jig. It's a very light jig. It's a green pumpkin looking jig, but look at the weight.
Big mop jig.
It's a tiny jig with a big profile. Super slow fall. Very interesting.
It is interesting.
You know?
Yeah, you don't see that a lot with a big profile with a small head.
No,
like
I remember we had the slow fall jigs where they were trying to make those jigs fall at an uber slow speed.
Reminiscent of Arky's head.
Yeah, it
yeah,
is.
Arky
It is.
style.
It's a
Oaky
tiny.
light.
It's a tiny Arky head. Yeah.
Oaky light.
All right, E,
Look at
what
that.
you got?
So I got something here, man. This caught my Johnny and Kai. You know what I'm saying?
Is that a bull shad?
It's a buka. This is
Oh.
a Mike Buka bull shad. And all I'm going to say about this bait is this was, in a sense, given away to me by someone that didn't believe in its powers.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've ever seen someone regret something more than after giving me that bull shad with the amount of fish I've caught on it
Wow.
in Florida.
On
I'm not
that
even
particular
kidding.
bait?
Yeah, largemouth, tarpon, snook, and reds have all fallen to
Say
this
his
little
name.
The
swim
same bait.
And I have experience fishing
You
it. So
say
I
his
could-
name.
I could say that Trevor. I could
Yeah, Trev.
love you, Trev. What I could say though is that when you work this thing through the water,
Yeah.
what I'll do a lot of times is I'll rip it and then stop it. When you're ripping it, it makes a really interesting sound beneath the surface, like a certain clacking sound
Yeah.
that I have not heard with quite
From
any
like
other.
It's like a
bait.
all
chitty
the
chitty
joints.
bang
It's-
bang.
I really do appreciate it, especially if you step up the hook game a little bit on it. If you put some heavier duty split rings and heavier duty saltwater hooks on this could be a viable saltwater option for tarpon, redfish, and snook. So yeah, this buka shad, man, and the largemouth love it too, obviously.
Yeah, and the bigger size.
Yeah, they make a 5-inch too, 5.5, something like that. But the bigger one, this little one just gets bit universally by everything, and I really do. It's a legitimate bait.
Wawa Hoagie Lady suggested that in the reenactment of your story, you picture PBP as the thug.
Power bait Paul as the thug.
As the thug.
Why? Is it because of the short height? Is that what's going on?
It was
the short dude.
The shorter one.
Always the short dude.
The shorter one of the two was holding the strap. Yeah, you're right. Wow.
Paul, you
Dude.
packing tonight by any chance?
No.
You're not packing. Okay.
Power bait
Check.
Paul's not going to shoot at you. With his intellect, he's going to hit you with like a blow dart.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
He's going to
kill
be
you
he's gonna be
slow.
hiding in the shrubs, and he's going to snipe you
In
with
the
a blow dart.
shrubs.
Well, you
In the
least
tall
expect
grass.
it.
All right. Brian DeCarver, look at this thing. I selected this one. It's by 10,000 Fish. This is Yodo Worm. This is the Irresistible Tickle Tail.
What?
Tickle tail.
That reminds me a lot of, what was that John you were throwing, Bri? That
I
had
have
all
no
the
idea.
ribs and the
G-crab.
ridges,
What,
the
a
bellows.
Bellows kid.
bellows gill. has that same look and feel to it. But look at that thin taper right there, which I like. And look at this.
How it tastes.
Look, just holding it. Look at I ain't got to do shit.
How
Look
it
at that.
tastes.
I like that. I could see you Texas rigging that.
Yeah.
I could see you Carolina rigging that. I could see that as a bladed jig trailer.
Is
Look
it
at that.
salted?
Yeah, I
Can you imagine that? Look at that. I don't think it's salted. I smell a little.
Taste it.
Something on there.
Taste it.
Taste
Something
it.
on
Taste
there.
it.
I
Lick
don't know.
Lick it.
Kind of a cool bait. All right, Dave, what do you got there?
I got like a 4.5-inch finesse bait by Netbait.
Hey, net bait.
Is that a reap? Is that a reaper?
Shout out.
Contour worm. Nah, there's little. Just little,
contour worm.
yeah, just little
If you were ever to fish, would you throw that?
I think so. Like, I think everyone pretty much knows that I don't fish. So
I'm not. I haven't given up on you,
It's got to be a new line
Dave.
of insult to make it fun.
I haven't given up on you, man.
You can do it.
Keep the
But
fade.
you can't shame a dyslexic into speaking correctly.
You know what?
Imagine
No matter,
the
he wins.
UFOs you will see.
That's the reason to get back.
That'll be the hook. That'll be the hook.
Yeah, not to catch fish. Kai, what do you got over there? Let's see what you're
I'm
holding.
looking at a little rattlebot. You know what I mean? Little biospawn rattlebot. It's at first glance it looks a little odd. You know what I mean?
It's a lipless vibrating bait.
It's a robot.
A
Lipless.
robot.
It's that's what it looks like.
Ah.
But I like the sound. It's got a
like a one
nice little high pitch, and I've
was
seen
louder than Brady's
I've seen
audio.
some TikToks of some guys catching them on this thing. So I think it gets big.
Right. So it is proven. There's some video.
It's red crawl too.
It's a good
color.
color.
Good color.
TikTok said so.
Yeah, TikTok says it works. It
Pete's
works.
buying.
Yeah, I'm in.
All right, Paul.
I like this.
What do you got? Let's see.
Oh,
Got
look.
the Cal.
By the way,
Yo, can we put in our
can
budget
never
a new
do this
headphones?
the chat board already set up a GoFundMe for it.
Yeah, let's get a GoFundMe for new headphones.
Oh boy. Yeah. Got the Callan's Flippin' Stalker 3/8 ounce jig.
Kalins?
Oh, I didn't know they made jigs.
I didn't know that either.
Wow.
They're like a
Yep.
soft plastics company.
Pond
forever.
scum color. It's a pretty cool color, really. It's like
Pond scum?
pond scum. Yeah, it's like a light green, almost green pumpkin with like black spots and then like red, a little bit of red in there.
Ooh.
Smoke grub.
Like that.
Kalins.
Tilly says smoke grub.
Smoke grub.
Pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Johnny, what do you got?
Yeah,
Johnny
so
on the
I'm
spot.
working with a reaction strike. It's like a 5 to 8 foot diving jerk bait, but it's like a small profile, like a really big lip. And like I think like now that we're in Florida, I think we do a lot of creative stuff with like using freshwater baits in the salt.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of these baits that we're seeing come out, you could use in both. And we see a lot of glass minnows getting eaten down there.
Oh, yeah.
And we fish a lot of like small inlets where incoming tide, you get a ton of these small baits coming in, and it's literally like 5 to 8 feet. Like that's a pretty typical depth for some of these like smaller saltwater inlets that we're fishing in Tampa. And so what I could definitely see doing with this is like jerking this with this big bait, the big lip on it, and jerking it hard off the bottom and having to like kick up sand and on that incoming tide and getting that kind of glass minnow, but like have like a reaction strike. So they pick this one out of the whole big school. So, I mean, this thing could catch obviously anything from bass, but also like we could catch a lot of slot size snook on this too, I think, and like those little reds too.
I like
Pretty
that,
cool little bait.
I like that bait because the body is not giant. It's got a small, normal-sized body with the bigger bill, which I like. Because a lot of big bill jerk baits, the freaking body's giant. That's got a normal-sized body. I like that.
And you still get that kick off the sand and everything. So it's pretty cool.
Very cool. Brian Carpenter, what do you got?
I've got a collection of leftovers that nobody else wanted. as usual, you know, bat and cleanup over here.
Always doing this.
Bat and cleanup. We're going on 10 years, folks.
Poor guy.
10 years of bat and cleanup. I got a big baits bite baits, something or other. Johnny, what the fuck is that?
What is that?
It's a trailer, but I don't know.
It's a sperm.
It's a spermazoa protozoa.
Wow, it is.
Oh, all right.
That's freaky.
That actually would be a dope little trailer.
I feel like you throw this on like a little Ned rig hook or something.
Ned
and,
rig,
like,
chatterbait, maybe?
Chatterbait.
Yeah, that's their chatterbait trailer,
That's
the
a
mini version.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be a.
See that working?
Okay.
And I apologize because I haven't
Maybe
thrown
a
it.
bed
but-
fishing bait, too.
Yeah.
I
That's
see that
freaky.
working on a bed.
Oh,
Dave? Dave?
we
Throw
lost
another
that
one
one.
over here, Brian. Throw another one over here.
Here.
Johnny, you got the arm.
Yeah, well, I tore my rotator cuffs.
He
and now
had-
it's off.
he had the arm.
Had it.
Yeah. See that working on a bed? Little in the back.
Ned rig head for sure. That's
What?
my initial reaction.
Sure.
Could you put that on a drop shot?
A little thick for a drop
Is
shot.
that the fighting frog? Like
what?
That's not.
No,
the
it's
fighting
not a
frog.
fighting frog. I don't know what that's called.
It's like a fighting shad or something.
No, this is Ned rig all the way. I mean, a lot of the inshore Tampa fish we're finding will eat those little Ned rig profiles off the bottom.
Florida, they'll
especially,
eat anything.
Especially reds and black trout.
Yeah.
That is not true.
All right.
Fake news. Florida's not an easy fishery.
Fake news.
That's
Check it out, dude.
Yeah, tomorrow you guys will be like, oh my God, I miss Florida.
No, that's today.
I get it.
Blue hole, 8 hours.
And I got a
one bite.
Sematis Baits little crawl here.
Tink, and then it's a perch.
Oh man, that's how you.
Not only
your
you
heart
get one
right
bite,
there.
but one bite and it's a perch.
Some spear point hooks that
What else you
seem to
got,
be very
Brian?
sharp. And this A10 crankbait by Thunderhawk that's got the bill on the top of its head.
Oh, that's kinda
like
cool.
I don't know. Eric?
Pterodactyl.
It's like
Looks
the
a
old. It's
pterodactyl.
like the old Normans.
Like the
Big
old-
N.
Who?
The Normans Big
Yeah,
N.
The Big N had that
Yeah.
very inline bill like that.
Yep.
Nah, not like that.
Yeah, very much
I'll
like
fight
that.
both of you right now.
Okay.
It wasn't not like that.
All right, let me remind everybody, this is just an example of what you can get your mystery tackle box. It's not too late. Order it right now, and you could still get the certificate and put it in a stocking. Great Christmas gift. Use the promo code Ike Live. Get 30% off your first Elite box and 50% off your first Pro box.
50.
That's pretty
Yeah.
amazing.
That's a
eh?
good amount.
And
That's amazing.
we got to give away. We got to give away
That's
that.
half, right?
I think so.
Johnny, you
Yeah, that's half off.
go through there and pick a winner.
All right.
What
There's
am
a-
I picking a winner of?
Yeah.
Of nicknames?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
All right.
There was
so
a lot of names came through that we weren't paying attention to for
Okay.
a while. We were
And
very-
and once again, Brian, the winner's going to get 20 months of mystery tackle box.
just a bunch.
Okay.
A lot. We got a lot. We got a lot of boxes.
We got to
over the last year.
clean
So
out the
some of the better
armoire.
comments.
Whatever, Eric, don't take it.
We're going to let these guys sift through everything first.
And we're going to throw some of these new Bass U exclusive
Yo,
Tackle
D-bomb.
Direct.
Yeah,
Rusty,
D-bombs.
Yeah.
Rusty Craw.
Yo,
Rusty
Craw.
Rusty
Yeah.
Crow.
Tomato.
Tomato.
Tomato tits.
Yo, tomato tits.
Oh, so we got Johnny Bravo. I don't read IM's Johnny. We only catch crabs and syphilis in New Jersey, Johnny. Someone tells me, hey, how about you switch to a flat earther story, bro? I don't really get this one, but Johnny No Hands Needed. Johnny He-Man, Captain Johnny Sparrow.
Johnny
My
Sparrow.
favorite one, though, is Fabio. And someone said, I bet he gets a lot of the 45-year-olds in Florida wet Fabio. That's my favorite.
Who's your winner?
Anthony G's. Anthony
that guy
G's
deserves it.
is winning
Geis?
for
That
Fabio.
guy has been
Huh?
dropping
Anthony
heat.
Geis?
Anthony
Yo,
Geis is winning.
Geis has been dropping heat all
Geis
night.
dropping bombs.
For
You
years,
got to give
dude.
it to
Thank
him,
you, man. That's
Yeah.
exactly how I spent my Thanksgiving Eve. I didn't go to home.
I think earlier, Geis, I saw a Geis comment where he was like, I feel like I'm sitting around a campfire with a bunch of high schoolers talking about life, man.
Yeah, Geis is the man. Like we need Geis is very Uncle Larry's. We need Geis in the rotation.
Anthony Geis.
Guys, head on up to Ronnie. Hit up Ronnie Dirts. We'll be there. We'll be there Saturday.
There you have it. Great winner right there. I would think that was a great winner.
Geis deserves it.
Yeah, he deserves it.
You were
he
also
deserves it.
giving him something from a comment earlier, so he's getting, I guess,
That
two
guy,
things.
dude, he's been fucking
He's the
in the
clear
trenches
winner.
for years.
He's the clear winner.
Yeah.
I was just making it clear that
Nah.
he has two presents
All right.
coming. That's
Yeah.
all.
It just also means that I don't have to look up another address.
Yeah.
But if anybody else has something cool to say it now, and we'll throw you. Pete will mail you some bags of these things.
Pete, you're going to personally mail
pick
them?
us like a second or third.
We can do it. We can make it happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know.
Got any other good comments, Johnny? Mike, fill the air. Pete, what do you got? Paul?
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yeah, this was the Christmas special. And we should say that before we sign off here. We should say Happy holidays, everybody, and hope everybody has a great holiday.
Wishing everybody all the best.
I do too.
Hopefully, you have a great fishing 2023. Maybe we'll get Dave out on the water this year.
Yes, and turn off your TVs. Everything they're telling you is a lie.
It is. But here's what isn't a lie.
Oh.
Is that the Uncle Larry guys are legit. And I
Legit.
can't thank you guys enough for coming in.
Dude, this has got to end?
Dude, it's
No,
not
it's
going
not
to
gonna end.
It's going to end for the camera, but it's not going to end for us. But let everybody know there are some people watching that are like, man, these dudes are cool.
Yeah.
Where can I follow them? Give them the idea where they can follow what you guys are doing.
Real simple for you guys for now. Uncle Larry Outdoors, straight up, space between each three. You know what I mean? It's real simple. YouTube and Instagram. Those are the only two we're running on right now.
Yep.
We'd like to get the other platform, the Facebook, the Twitter, things of that nature.
You want the old guys on Facebook?
Not the TikTok. Not the TikTok. I ain't ever going on TikTok.
Oh, Pete! Pete's disappointed.
You could just. That's a pipe dream right there.
I might never see your stuff.
You're a TikTok.
That's
exclusive?
all I watch.
That's the only platform.
I eliminated everything else.
Just proves that none of this is real.
It's the Matrix.
Dude, he is like
all right, this
all
is
in, dude.
This
He's
is
all
the
in.
Matrix. None of it's
It's
real, but
crazy.
Uncle Larry
TikTok's
Outdoors,
where it's
Instagram,
at.
and
the Earth
YouTube.
is flat. You know.
It could be.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the
Watch
way,
TikTok.
Wawa Hoagie Lady says, Paul, he loved your father, Rick Moranis' work in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. That's fucking cool.
Wow, you really are Rick Moranis' son, though. That's crazy.
The same guy said he enjoyed you in the movie Willow too. I didn't. Think that
Oh,
man.
that's fucked up.
That's great. That's great.
He won himself some D-Bot, and then he lost himself. Just that quick.
Won then lost.
So Uncle Larry Outdoors, YouTube, Instagram, man, check it out. It's only going to be growing from here. 2023 is going to be a big year, and mind you, the classic coming up.
You're gonna
March,
be there.
Knoxville, Tennessee. This is what is it? 4 years in a row for us. I think this will be our fourth classic in a row. If any of you are familiar,
if we're allowed back.
If we're listen.
Yeah, they changed the sign to Ass Master last classic.
that may allegedly that happened. Allegedly, there were some after-hours altercations. But Uncle Larry Outdoors will be back. Knoxville, 2023. Interviews better than ever.
Heck yeah.
Done.
That'll be good. That'll be good. Guys, thank you for coming in. Dude, I had so much fun. This was awesome. And the show's going to go on, except, there's Paul. The show's going to keep going on even after the camera ends. So I appreciate you guys coming on. This has been awesome.
Thank you,
dude,
guys.
Such a blast, man.
Yeah.
Full circle.
Full circle,
This is the
man.
full circle like
Full
live,
circle.
man.
It happened. I hope you enjoyed watching. Uncle Larry, Pete, Dave Brodzik, Brian the Carpenter, Powerbait Paul, Johnny, Kai. Thank you guys for coming
Thanks
on
for tuning in
tonight.
to Like Live for all these years, guys.
Yes, thank you for tuning in, and I hope everyone has a happy holiday. Bye, everybody. Good night.
Merry
Good night.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Ho, 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 ho.
Very nice feature.
Oh, look, Pete's falling in again.
Mercy. Come on, man.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness!
wait, he's getting back in.
Welcome to the Chesapeake.
Like that video is gonna haunt
Yes.
the Glusek lineage. Damn. Fucking family's been haunted by their video. You know what I mean?
He broke his
He
cord.
broke his cord. That's why he's not just clumsy. He pulled his trolling motor cord, which is made of rope. Most of the time,
Yeah.
sometimes it's
Cable.
It's got some cable coating. Yeah, metal.
I got things back.
And now it snapped. He has to now somehow find a way to release that the rest of the day to be able to pull his trolling motor up.
Backing up and just tumbled. I've seen Ike do that.
It's really hard not to fall or at least fall in the water when that happens.
Oh, no doubt. It's the last thing you expect. Hey, and I came to Pete Klusik saying he was familiar with the Chesapeake. I didn't know he was this familiar with it.
Here it
Seeing
is.
up close.
Bang.
I'm
Oh,
just
no.
glad he didn't get hurt. That's a